The year is 2167, May 16th, a grim date etched into history as the demon race completes its conquest, seizing the very last inch of human territory. The human world crumbles under their monstrous might, a desolate landscape of fire and destruction. Amidst the smoldering ruins and countless fallen, the demon king Lan Yue stands triumphant. He is the architect of this devastation, leading the demon race with overwhelming power, swiftly trampling the realm of man into dust. Demon King Lan Yue's menacing visage fills the frame, his eyes glowing with malevolent satisfaction. He scoffs, sneering at humanity's last hope. To think you were called humanity's last hope. Your entire race is nothing but pathetic, fragile trash. A dark, ominous energy emanates from Demon King Lan Yue's arm, transforming it into a grotesque, glowing red claw. He declares his intent. Now, it's time to fulfill your only remaining purpose. Red energy surges violently, twisting into sharp, chaotic forms, signifying a powerful and destructive force being unleashed. Demon King Lan Yue's face, wreathed in dark power, issues a chilling command: become my food. The red energy continues to swirl and coalesce, taking on a more defined, claw-like appearance. The Demon King's intent is clear: become my power. Chen is enveloped in a maelstrom of violent red energy and crackling lightning, his body seemingly consumed by the overwhelming demonic force. Despite the agony, Chen's resolve burns. He struggles against the absorption, his thoughts turning to his loved ones. No, he internally cries, my sister. Memories flash through Chen's mind: his sister, his comrades, his master. He remembers every single person closest to me. Their faces, though shadowed, fuel his desperate resistance. Chen's jaw clenches, blood staining his lips as golden lightning erupts around him. His struggle is immense, a final, desperate surge of will. With a scream of defiance, Chen's body crackles with vibrant golden and pink lightning. His thoughts are clear: for their sake, even if it's the last thing I do. Chen transforms into an abstract golden humanoid, radiating immense power. The system registers his ultimate technique, SSS ultimate skill, Terminus Arc. Below him, the Demon King Lan Yue is overwhelmed by the blinding energy. Demon King Lan Yue, caught in the radiant skill, struggles to comprehend the sudden reversal. What is this? He roars, I can't move. Blinding flash of golden light engulfs everything, the sheer force of the ultimate skill obliterating all in its path. Chen's golden form shatters like glass, revealing a heartbreaking memory: his younger self cradling his injured sister. His internal voice whispers, sister. Another shard of memory shows the back of his master, a figure of guidance and strength. Master, Chen's thoughts echo. Final fragment displays a cherished memory of his family, his mom, his dad, and his younger sister, all smiling. Mom, Dad. He recalls, clinging to these precious moments. Demon King Lan Yue's monstrous form begins to crack and disintegrate under the immense power. Even in defeat, his arrogance persists: you lowly, inferior race. To think you could AC. A blinding white light washes over the devastated cityscape. Chen's final thoughts are of regret and a longing for a different past. If only I could have stopped the very first Demon King. A broken chain, symbolizing shattered fate or freedom, floats in the ethereal light. Chen's regret continues: then I wouldn't have. Suddenly, the unidentified protagonist's eye snaps open, glowing red, as if waking from a vivid, terrifying nightmare. The unidentified protagonist finds himself lying in a simple hospital bed, the soft light of a room replacing the apocalyptic landscape of his dream. He pushes himself up, dazed and confused, bandages wrapped around his arm. The first words that escape his lips are a bewildered question: I'm not dead. The unidentified protagonist looks around the unfamiliar room, his mind racing. Where is this? He wonders aloud, trying to piece together his surroundings. He approaches the window, his expression a mixture of surprise and disbelief as he peers outside. Outside, a bustling scene of students and a school infirmary hospital building greets him. The sight is utterly baffling, eliciting a silent exclamation of from the unidentified protagonist. His confusion deepens as he takes in the peaceful, normal world. Wasn't the world already destroyed? He asks himself, utterly bewildered. All these people, where did they all come from? He gazes at his own reflection, a young man with dark hair and confused eyes, as if searching for answers in his own image, unable to reconcile his nightmare with this new reality. Chen's reflection stares back, his eyes now burning with an unnatural crimson glow, a stark contrast to the confusion etched on his bandaged face. A strange, ethereal hum resonates, manifesting in glitching soundwave patterns that ripple around Chen's neck, as if an unknown system is calibrating within him. Suddenly, a system notification flashes into existence: power of gluttony, integration complete. Finished. Chen stands before a glowing interface, a shocking realization dawning on him. He has traveled back in time, exactly 10 years, to May 16, 2157. Chen's crimson eyes widen with alarm as he grasps the true significance of the date. This is 3 years before the catastrophic descent of the Demon Kings. The ominous vision of the Demon King's impending descent fills Chen's mind, their monstrous forms looming over a devastated cityscape. Chen remembers it was the Demon King known as Wrath who first tore open the gates of hell, unleashing a torrent of other Demon Kings upon the human world, marking the beginning of humanity's downfall. This was the genesis of total destruction, the very moment Chen lost everything he held dear. Chen's hands clench, glowing with newfound power, and a resolute declaration echoes in his mind: I'm back. With fierce determination in his crimson eyes, Chen realizes that by defeating Wrath, the first demon king to appear, he can prevent the gates of hell from ever opening, seizing this chance to change everything. The power of gluttony integration complete notification reappears, prompting Chen to question the mysterious interface that has been floating before him since he awoke. As Chen stares at a holographic screen displaying game-like data, an exclamation mark appears, with every attribute inexplicably set to 001. The screen updates, displaying his name as Xiaozhua, level 01, with all core attributes like strength, speed, and elemental power at 100. Chen wonders if these are his current attributes, questioning the nature of this game-like data. The furrowed brow, Chen admits he has never encountered anything like this before, recalling how he always relied on his awakened power in his previous life. Chen reflects on the rarity of awakeners, noting that only 1 in 10,000 people can manifest such powers, as various class types and elemental symbols are displayed on the interface. Chen recalls his past, attending the National Awakener University, a place dedicated to recruiting potential awakeners, yet lamenting his failure to awaken any powers during his university years in his previous life. Chen ponders if his awakening failure is the reason he woke up in the infirmary, expressing a slight annoyance. Chen observes a glitching holographic image of a figure wreathed in lightning, a curious escaping his lips. A detailed system card appears, revealing the Lightning Assassin class, complete with skills like Lightning God for immense speed and Lightning Blade for critical, paralyzing strikes. Chen questions if this is a lightning-type assassin. A powerful image of Chen, crackling with golden lightning and wielding a lightning blade, appears. He recognizes it instantly. Isn't this my class from my previous life? He wonders. Chen's eyes glow as he examines a new class card, Devourer, boasting formidable stats. A surge of realization hits him. Did I awaken early? As lightning crackles around Chen, the system displays loading, switching class, indicating a profound change is underway. A young man with glasses and a bandaged face, identified as Ma Long, an E-rank flower chanter, exclaims it. Ma Long rushes over to Chen, asking eagerly, "Are you awake? Is your body alright?" Chen confirms he is fine, observing that no one else seems to perceive the system interface. Ma Long and his friends are utterly baffled. All Chen's injuries from the heavy beating yesterday have vanished, they exclaim, wondering if he's recovering faster than an awakener. Chen's university roommate, Ma Long, sputters in utter bewilderment, unable to process Chen's rapid recovery. Chen observes Ma Long, remembering that in his past life, despite awakening in college, Ma Long was a bottom-tier awakener tragically killed on the third day of the Demon King's descent. Yet now, he stands alive, right before Chen's eyes. Ma Long, meanwhile, wonders if Chen has grown stronger. A profound realization washes over Chen. He truly feels it now. The impossible has happened. He has genuinely returned to the past. Ma Long, meanwhile, excitedly reminds Chen that the crucial rank test is tomorrow, urging them to prepare now that Chen is well. Ma Long insists on the test's importance for graduation evaluation, even for unawakened students, pulling Chen along with an urgent, "Let's go, let's go." Campus stretches out under a vibrant sunset, bustling with students enjoying various activities, a scene of peaceful normalcy. Students are engaged in sports, with one vigorously kicking a soccer ball, completely unaware of the looming threats Chen knows are coming. As they walk, Chen muses internally about how long it's been since he saw so many living people, a comment that unnerves a confused Ma Long. Ma Long, visibly anxious, suggests they simply walk around the playground, trying to lighten the heavy atmosphere Chen's words created. Chen's mind drifts, recalling the devastating past where he lost absolutely everything, a stark contrast to the peaceful campus around him. A grim vision of a ruined city appears, as Chen reflects that inaction will only lead to that desperate future arriving once more. His eyes burn with renewed resolve. Chen declares his immediate need for action, vowing to increase his level as swiftly as possible. He knows the path, killing monsters in demon lairs. Yet, a system notification highlights the harsh reality that great guilds monopolize these vital leveling grounds. Yellow caution tape surrounds a volatile, glowing energy rift, symbolizing the inaccessible demon lairs where outsiders are left with zero chance to power up. The grim truth is revealed: most university students remain stuck at E rank, with only a few geniuses or guild-backed individuals ever reaching D rank. A holographic display flashes LVED1. Chen, drawing on his past life's experience, ponders what rank he would achieve if he took the test now. Chen's eyes narrow with an intense, knowing gaze as he internally confirms his superior strength compared to Ma Long, who looks on with a puzzled expression. Suddenly, a basketball slams directly into Ma Long's face with a bright, forceful impact, sending his glasses flying. Ma Long collapses to the ground, clutching his face in agony, letting out a pained ugh as his glasses lay shattered nearby. From the stadium steps, a group of students spots the commotion, one exclaiming in surprise, "Yo, isn't that Chen and Ma Long?" Muscular leader of the group smirks, remarking on how quickly Chen and Ma Long recovered from their previous encounter. Ma Long, visibly bruised and terrified, laments their real bad luck at running into the bullies again, while Chen remains stoic. The muscular student grins, boasting to his cronies that he knew these two kids were tough, implying they could handle a beating. He then menacingly questions Ma Long, demanding to know why he didn't bring 2 crates of drinks despite knowing they were playing ball. Panicked, Ma Long stammers an apology, promising to go buy the drinks immediately, bowing profusely as he scrambles away. The group of students on the steps once again spots Si Chen and Ma Long, one of them exclaiming, "Yo, isn't that Si Chen and Ma Long?" The muscular student with a confident smirk observes Si Chen and Ma Long, noting their quick recovery. Ma Long, still visibly shaken, curses his "just my luck" at encountering the bullies yet again, while Si Chen remains composed. The muscular student with a confident smirk reiterates that these 2 kids can truly take a beating, undeterred by their prior encounters. Si Chen's gaze hardens, his red eyes reflecting a surge of memories from his past life as he recognizes the familiar bully. The past life memories surge, overwhelming Si Chen with a suffocating sensation of drowning, a chilling echo of past traumas. Brutal reality of the past unfolds as a group of bullies corners a smaller figure in a bathroom, relentlessly kicking water onto him, accompanied by the chilling sounds of "WUWU, Goo-Loo-Loo." A terrified, bespectacled boy rushes forward, desperately pleading with the bullies to stop their relentless assault. The main bully, a cruel smirk twisting his lips, dismisses the plea, claiming he is merely helping the victim while forcing his head further into the water. He continues his sadistic taunt, questioning why the victim hasn't awakened yet and suggesting further stimulation is needed. The bullies erupt in mocking laughter, their faces contorted in grotesque enjoyment of the suffering they inflict. Observing the unconscious victim, the bullies declare the fun over, with one remarking, "He fainted just like that," before they decide to leave, finding the scene boring now. The bespectacled boy rushes to Si Chen's side, shaking him gently and asking if he is alright, his voice filled with genuine concern. Si Chen's eyes well up with tears as he questions the relentless cruelty, wondering why they are never allowed to escape their tormentors. One of the departing bullies pauses, turning his head slightly as he wonders if he just heard Si Chen speak. The main bully's eyes gleam with a renewed, sinister interest as he suggests they go back and mess with him some more. The bully, now identified as Gong Chang, confronts the bespectacled boy, demanding to know why he failed to bring 2 crates of drinks despite knowing Gong Chang was playing ball. Bespectacled boy, trembling with fear, profusely apologizes and promises to buy the drinks immediately. Si Chen steps forward, his voice firm and resolute, declaring that his friend is not in the wrong and that the bullies are the ones who should apologize. Gong Chang's expression shifts from smugness to surprise, a single word escaping his lips, "Huh?" The bespectacled boy looks utterly bewildered and terrified, questioning Si Chen's sudden defiance. Gong Chang, now with his name and E-Flower Warrior class revealed, stands ready for a confrontation, his hands crackling with green energy as 2 other bullies loom in the background, one emanating a faint purple aura. Si Chen's eyes burn red as the narrator reveals Gong Chang's true nature, a bully who only preys on the weak, relying on his powerful student council president brother as his own abilities are mediocre. Onlookers from the crowd whisper amongst themselves, one student remarking that Gong Chang is about to beat them up again. Another student scoffs, reminding everyone that one of the victims is the weakest awakener and the other hasn't even awakened, labeling them the 2 most useless guys in the whole school. Gong Chang glares down at Si Chen, his green-glowing fists clenched, demanding to know what Si Chen just said. With a cold, unwavering gaze, Si Chen warns Gong Chang to never bother them again. Enraged, Gong Chang lunges forward, declaring that Si Chen clearly needs another beating. Gong Chang's powerful fist rockets towards Si Chen, but in a blur, Si Chen raises his arm, meeting the blow with an unexpected block. The impact sends a shockwave through Gong Chang, who recoils in disbelief, a sharp SSS escaping his lips as his attack is effortlessly nullified. The onlookers are stunned, questioning what just happened and expressing their shock that Si Chen could actually block Gong Chang's powerful fist. Gong Chang's fury escalates, his eyes wide with disbelief as he rages, questioning how an unawakened weakling dares to challenge him. Si Chen's hand begins to crackle with vibrant yellow lightning as a job-switching system notification appears, and he calmly states he will test it out on Gong Chang. Si Chen is enveloped in a powerful aura of yellow lightning, revealing his new class, Electric Assassin. The system displays his enhanced stats in speed, stamina, and luck, along with his new abilities. A student with glasses stares in utter shock, his eyes wide with disbelief as he stammers, questioning when Si Chen could have possibly awakened such power. Si Chen stands poised, a confident smirk playing on his lips as vibrant yellow lightning crackles around his fingertips, showcasing his newfound Electric Assassin class. Gong Chang, a massive figure, flexes his spiky, armored arm, declaring his indestructible demon armor and reminding Si Chen of his formidable strength. Gong Chang's colossal, armored fist lunges forward, boasting about the devastating taste of his killer jab as Si Chen remains a small, distant figure. In a blur of motion, Si Chen, enveloped in crackling lightning, swiftly evades Gong Chang's massive punch, his speed a stark contrast to the brute force. Si Chen's lightning-infused fist connects with explosive force directly to Gong Chang's face, sending a shockwave of energy outward. Gong Chang is sent spiraling through the air from the sheer impact, crashing violently against the ground in a whirlwind of dust and debris. Onlookers, including the student with glasses, gasp in collective horror, questioning what just happened and how Si Chen could have sent Gong Chang flying with a single punch. Dongchang lies defeated on the ground, furious, cursing his opponent while the stunned crowd questions if the powerful figure before them is truly Chen. Dongchang screams at the terrified students, demanding to know if they will merely stand by and watch, but their fear paralyzes them. Chen stands tall, his form a menacing silhouette with eyes glowing a fierce yellow and lightning crackling around him, radiating an aura of absolute power. Enraged, Dongchang lunges at Chen once more, screaming threats of vengeance, determined to kill his opponent despite his previous defeat. Chen effortlessly blocks Dongchang's desperate attack with a lightning-charged forearm, the impact sending sparks and energy rippling through the air. With a swift, devastating uppercut, Chen's electrified fist connects with Dongchang's chin, sending him reeling and screaming in pain. Chen's eyes glow with cold intensity as he delivers a chilling declaration, stating that his opponent is simply too weak to challenge him. Chen unleashes a rapid flurry of lightning-fast blows, overwhelming Dongchang with a relentless and brutal assault. Dongchang collapses to the ground, utterly defeated and broken, as Chen stands victorious, his lightning aura still crackling. From an aerial perspective, Dongchang lies motionless on the ground, a device lying nearby, as the lingering energy from Chen's attacks dissipates. Dongchang is left a bloody mess, his face battered and his body bruised, a grim testament to Chen's overwhelming power. Chen stands calmly amidst the chaos while other students flee in terror or kneel in fear, completely overwhelmed by his display of power. The student with glasses, still visibly shaken, struggles to comprehend the events, murmuring in disbelief about Chen's sudden transformation. Chen's intense, glowing eyes are highlighted, a few drops of blood on his hand as the question echoes become so strong. Chen thoughtfully observes his system interface, which displays his fully maxed out stats at level 1 as he begins to draw conclusions about his new abilities. Chen confirms his ability to switch into the electric assassin state at will, noting that despite his incredible power, his system level remains at level 1. Bright flash highlights Chen's focused eye as he realizes a critical flaw or one more problem within his current situation. Chen questions the system, puzzled why his stats haven't changed despite his clear victory over Dongchang, whose defeated form lies in the background. Chen's lightning-charged fist hovers menacingly over the defeated Dongchang, a chilling could it be, hinting at a dark solution to his problem. The terrified students cry out in alarm, desperately asking Chen to stop, sensing his dangerous intent towards the already defeated Dongchang. Chen's electrified fist descends upon Dongchang's terrified face once more, the brutal act about to unfold as his opponent's eyes widen in horror. Chen's cold, glowing eyes reflect a grim determination as he ponders a dark question: is the way to gain experience also the same as in the past? Chen's cold, glowing eyes reflect a grim determination as he plunges a knife, crackling with yellow lightning, into another man's chest. The victim writhes in agony as electric energy courses through him. Just as Chen subdues his opponent, a voice cuts through the tension, reminding him, "Fellow student, this is a school, you know." Lan Yue, the vice president of the student council, stands composed, stating, even if he was the one in the wrong first, this level of punishment is sufficient. With a serene smile, Lan Yue assures Chen he won't dare lay a finger on you again. Chen stands over the defeated student, who lies motionless on the ground, as Lan Yue observes from a short distance. Chen, his eyes burning red, internally questions, "I asked the student council that eager To step in and protect him?" He then adds, "I wasn't actually planning To do anything to him." As Chen surveys the onlookers, his thoughts turn grim, but if people like him aren't completely deterred, they'll just keep bothering us forever. From a hidden vantage point, two terrified students whisper, that guy's expression just now was terrifying, and vow, let's never provoke him again." One adds in disbelief, "Is that guy really a Chen? Those two, aren't they the weakest and poorest losers in the whole school?" Lan Yue, with a knowing look and a subtle smirk, declares, "Let's go." An excited student, glasses askew, frantically tries to convince his dorm mates, "Why won't you believe me? Chen has truly awakened, and he's a super strong lightning assassin." The excited student continues, recounting, "He literally rubbed Dongchang into the dirt. Now that gang doesn't even dare look us in the eye." A skeptical dorm mate, Xiangzhua, an ear-ranked nucleus mage, scratches his head and challenges, Where is he then?" Xiangzhua aggressively pokes the excited student, demanding, "If he's that strong, does he really still need To go running? Does an awakener even need such basic fitness training? Does that even make sense?" Another dorm mate, Xiang Yu, an ear-ranked flower chanter, casually remarks from his computer, "Seems like Ma Long's head was really beaten into a pulp," as Xiangzhuan in the background urges, "Exactly, snap out of it." Excited student gestures around the dorm room, explaining, "The four of us were put in the same dorm, only because our ranks are the bottom four of the entire year. That is an unchangeable fact." Xiangzhua, manifesting a glowing red orb of power, proudly declares, "And I am the fourth from the bottom, which means I'm the one in this dormitory." He continues, "A person can only awaken one class in their life. You two are just support chanters. I am the only combat class in this entire room, a nucleus mage. That is a super fact that can't be changed." Xiangzhua flexes, scoffing, "That kid Chen looks like such a weakling. How could he possibly be a lightning assassin?" He then boasts, "On the other hand, I feel like I've been getting stronger lately. I might even be able to squeeze into a club." Xianghua reminds his dorm mates tomorrow is the final rank test before the graduation evaluation. Xiang Yu, at his computer, calmly states everything will be clear then. The scene shifts to an imposing E-rank training demon lair where a towering pillar of raw, fiery energy pulses guarded by 4 mysterious, cloaked figures. A figure cloaked in a trench coat and emanating a golden aura stands amidst a splattering of blood hinting at recent intense combat. Student Council President Gong Ting, his trench coat stained with blood, calmly walks away from the fiery portal followed by Ling Yu. Gong Ting declares, "Let's end today's training here," as he and Ling Yu depart, leaving 3 bowing figures behind and a bandaged man in the foreground. Gong Ting, with a sharp gaze, addresses the bandaged figure, Gong Chang, noting his continued presence. "You're still waiting here, Gong Chang?" The bandaged Gong Chang, his green eyes burning with fury, implores his brother, "Brother, if you don't take care of this, I won't be able to sleep." He adds, "He bullied your own brother in front of so many people. He clearly has no respect for you." Gong Ting, with a subtle shift in expression, simply states, "Understood." Gong Ting, his yellow eyes glinting with resolve, promises, "I'll handle it for you." Ling Yu, seated across from Gong Ting at a lavish table, asks, "How do you plan to handle this?" Gong Ting calmly replies, "He was simply outmatched by the other guy." Gong Ting, still composed, muses aloud, questioning the true strength of the man in question. Ling Yu, with a subtle smirk, reminds Gong Ting of his intimate knowledge of the school's power hierarchy, noting that fewer than 10 D-rank individuals exist and all are under his influence. She further emphasizes Gong Ting's unique advantage, pointing out that others lack his exclusive access to lucrative demon lairs. Under a relentless downpour, a lone figure pushes himself, seemingly unmatched in his relentless pursuit of power. Chen endures a grueling 20-kilometer run burdened by 100 kilograms of weights, his body drenched in rain and sweat. Fundamental principle of awakening is revealed. Basic training directly enhances physical quality, which dictates an awakener's ultimate potential. Only a sufficiently strong body can truly wield extreme class powers. Yet despite his punishing regimen, Chen's internal monologue reveals a deep dissatisfaction, believing his efforts are still woefully inadequate. A devastating flashback begins. In 2160, the Demon King Wrath emerged from his lair, unleashing a cataclysm upon the world and instantly slaughtering countless humans. Chen's heart shatters as he cradles his sister in his arms, screaming internally, "And oh, no, she died by Wrath's hands." Wrath's malevolence extended beyond his initial rampage, as he was also responsible for tearing open the gates of hell, allowing other demon kings to flood into the human realm. Chen's eyes blaze with a fierce, crimson resolve, his ultimate objective crystallizing, therefore, the goal for the first stage. His unwavering focus locks onto the shadowy, demonic visage of his ultimate enemy, is to kill Wrath. 3 years remain until Wrath's full descent, a critical window that fuels Chen's urgency. He knows Wrath is growing rapidly, and he must surpass him in power, faster than ever before. The torrential rain continues as Chen's phone suddenly lights up with an incoming call from Yun, jolting him from his deep contemplation. The screen displays an incoming call from Yun, confirming she is called back. With a hint of surprise, Chen inserts his earbud and cautiously answers, "Hello." From the other end, Chen's sister's cheerful voice rings out, "Hello, brother. Why did you call me so many times today? I was at a competition, my phone died, and I just got back to the dorm to charge it." Chen's sister continues excitedly, "Brother, let me tell you, if I win a prize this time, our rent problems will finally be solved. Ha ha ha." Noticing his silence, Chen's sister asks, "Huh, brother, is it raining on your side? Why aren't you saying anything?" A pained smile graces Chen's lips as he silently reaffirms his resolve, "Even if I have to pay with everything I have, it's nothing." Tears stream down Chen's face, merging with the rain, as he thinks, "Even if I have to fall into an endless hell, it's been too long since I heard your voice." Unaware of his internal turmoil, Chen's sister cheerfully continues, "What are you talking about? Didn't we just talk the day before yesterday? We'll see each other once my competition is over. Just wait for my good news. Bye." Chen's expression hardens, his red eyes burning with renewed determination as the rain continues to fall around him. With fierce resolve, Chen pushes himself harder, declaring, 3 more laps, as he accelerates through the downpour. 8 hours have passed since Chen's return to this era, as he enters a dimly lit dormitory room. In the shower, Chen observes his body, noting his gradual adaptation to this younger form. Though his physical strength is still low, the youthfulness is a significant advantage. With a towel draped over his shoulder, Chen's gaze sharpens as he turns his thoughts to the most critical issue at hand. Seated on his bed, Chen ponders the fundamental requirement for leveling up, entering demon lairs. However, he recognizes the significant hurdle that these valuable zones are monopolized by powerful guilds. Lying on his bed, Chen's red eyes reflect his frustration. He acknowledges that only the powerful and wealthy have a chance to level up, leaving most without opportunity. He questions how he can even come into contact with monsters under such a monopolized system. A vibrant system interface flashes to life, announcing loading complete and finished. Below it, the words gluttony system appear, with a start prompt hinting at a new, powerful ability. As the gluttony system activates, Chen's form blurs, enveloped by chaotic pink energy rings. He plunges into a swirling vortex of crimson, a shadowy silhouette above him hinting at a profound, rapid transformation. He finds himself in a surreal, blood-red landscape, a towering, grotesque structure piercing the purple sky. Chen stands bewildered in the shallow crimson waters, letting out a single exclamation of shock at this new, terrifying reality. Chen, now with piercing red eyes and a disheveled look, questions his surroundings. He wonders aloud, disoriented, what is this place? Wasn't I just sleeping? The chaotic descent replays, Chen's body blurring into motion as he sinks further into the vibrant red abyss, surrounded by concentric rings of raw, surging power. Again, the alien world unfolds, dominated by the colossal, jagged tower rising from the crimson sea. Chen, a lone figure, gazes up in disbelief, his mind reeling from the sudden shift in reality. Chen's intense red eyes betray his confusion as he repeats his bewildered questions. What is this place? Wasn't I just sleeping? His bare chest and open robe reveal a new, raw vulnerability. His gaze now fixates on the ominous, spiky tower, its monstrous form dominating the horizon. Chen's thoughts echo, and what is that tower? From the blood-red waters, skeletal, dog-like creatures with glowing blue eyes and sharp fangs emerge. These deathhounds rise, their bony forms dripping with the crimson liquid as Chen observes them from a distance. A system interface flashes, announcing loading. Switching class. As Chen's hand crackles with vibrant yellow lightning, he reacts with alarm, realizing, a monster? Don't tell me I'm inside a demon lair? Chen's eyes glow with electric yellow energy as his new class, Lightning Assassin, is revealed. He declares his immediate intent to deal with the threat before him, while a detailed stat card displays his abilities, infuses the whole body with electricity, instantly increasing movement speed by 10x. With blinding speed, Chen, now a conduit of crackling lightning, launches himself into the fray. He moves too fast for the deathhounds to react, a blur of pure kinetic energy. A devastating kick, infused with lightning, connects with a deathhound, tearing through its skeletal form. Blood and gore erupt in a crimson spray, testament to Chen's raw power. The skull of a defeated deathhound lies shattered, bloodied. A system notification confirms the kill, obtained, Death Forest X3. Chen continues his relentless assault, a whirlwind of lightning and fury. Multiple deathhounds fall before him, each defeat triggering another, obtained, Death Forest X3 notification. Mid-combat, Chen confidently assesses his prowess against the monsters, declaring, dealing with these E-rank monsters is child's play. His lightning-infused attacks continue to devastate. As Chen carves through the monsters, multiple EXP plus 52 notifications rapidly accumulate. He notes the visceral reality of his situation, confirming, this all feels so real, it's definitely not a dream. A golden aura erupts around Chen as a level-up notification appears, promoting him to O2 Chen Lightning Assassin. He realizes the profound implication, most importantly, I can gain experience and level up here. His stat screen updates, revealing LV02 and a significant boost, every stat increased by 5 points. Strength now stands at 210, speed at 315, and all other core stats at 105. Chen's eyes widen in a mixture of shock and exhilaration. He grasps the full scope of his situation, realizing, I've actually gained a demon lair that I can solo raid. A much larger, more formidable deathhound and E-rank warrior boss looms over Chen. He looks up, a new resolve hardening his expression as he begins to formulate his next move, then I'll use. The monstrous boss's fanged mouth dominates the frame as Chen's thought continues, this place. The boss's maw glows with ominous yellow energy as Chen completes his declaration, to properly test my limits. He is ready to push his newfound powers to their absolute peak. Chen's lightning attacks tear through the boss monster, causing massive damage and a torrent of blood. A triumphant EXP plus 320 flashes, followed by another level-up notification. Standing victorious over the defeated boss, Chen, now LV03 Lightning Assassin, is showered with rewards, Death Forest Fang X18 and a Death Forest Crystal X1. His updated stat screen shows LV03 with strength at 220 and speed at 330. Chen notes the efficiency. The experience from a boss is several times higher than common mobs of the same level. I've already leveled up twice in such a short time. Above the defeated skull of a deathhound, a new, ominous red system box appears, displaying the word Devourable, hinting at an unknown new mechanic. Chen's red eyes widen in surprise, his confusion at the sudden appearance of the new system prompt clearly evident. The defeated deathhound lies in the red liquid as Chen vocalizes his puzzlement. What does devourable mean? The mysterious red system box continues to hover above the corpse. Chen's hand begins to glow intensely, a brilliant light emanating from his palm as a profound realization crosses his mind, asking if this could truly be possible. Chen's eyes blaze with a fierce red glow as the potent energy continues to surge through his outstretched hand, accompanied by crackling sounds. The vibrant energy coalesces as Chen clenches his hand into a tight fist, the light intensifying within his grasp, surrounded by flowing pink energy. A system notification flashes, declaring the process finished as a new class card materializes. It details the Frost Physique ability, granting immunity to cold and increased resistances in low-temperature environments, stemming from the devoured Deathhound. Staring at the newly acquired class card, Chen comprehends the immense power he now wields, realizing he can devour fallen enemies after killing them and convert them into his own unique classes. His red eyes widen, reflecting the profound shock and awe of his newfound, unprecedented ability. The sheer power radiates from Chen, his red eyes burning with determination as the vibrant energy pulses around his outstretched hand. A terrifying monstrous entity, wreathed in dark, shadowy energy, manifests as a visual representation of the formidable power Chen now possesses. A chaotic vortex of crimson and pink energy engulfs a small, glowing humanoid figure as a dark, monstrous silhouette looms above, signifying a profound absorption and transformation process. Primal, monstrous silhouette of Chen's transformed state emerges against a blood-red backdrop as he asserts his claim over the immense power, declaring he has seized it for himself. Chen's intense red gaze remains fixed, a powerful surge resonating through his very core as the new abilities integrate. The system reveals the fundamental truth of this world: classes are inherently defined by their strengths and weaknesses, and by an unchangeable law, an individual can only possess a single class. Yet two distinct class cards appear before Chen: the Cloud Warrior from the Devoured Deathhound and a new Electric Assassin class represented by a golden, lightning-infused humanoid figure. A chilling panorama unfolds, revealing a world teeming with menacing monstrous silhouettes and shadowy creatures under a foreboding pink and purple sky, hinting at the vast potential and dangers ahead. The determined glint in his fiery red eyes, Chen declares his ultimate ambition: to defy the laws of this world and possess infinite classes. A moment of introspection washes over Chen as he questions the very reason he was granted such an extraordinary and rule-breaking power. Turning his back to the viewer, Chen gazes upon a colossal, intricately carved demonic tower looming in the distance, pondering its mysterious origins and purpose. Suddenly, a crushing, unseen force slams into Chen, distorting his perception as a sharp exclamation mark appears, signaling an unexpected and powerful impact. Chen's face contorts with alarm and confusion as he struggles under an overwhelming, intense pressure, desperately questioning the sudden, inexplicable event. The source of the crushing pressure is revealed: a terrifying hooded figure, its skeletal face illuminated by piercing blue eyes, wielding a massive, glowing purple weapon. This is the Abyssal Fiend. The ominous hooded figure, the Abyssal Fiend, speaks with a chilling voice, uttering a single, resonant name: Chen. A bold title card flashes across the screen, proclaiming the Glutton in striking red and purple hues, hinting at the true nature of Chen's unique power. The narrative shifts to explain the world's power structure. The government categorizes both awakened individuals and monsters by their combat power, ranking them from the lowest E grade to the highest S grade. The narrative shifts to explain the world's power structure. The government categorizes both awakened individuals and monsters by their combat power, ranking them from the lowest E grade to the highest S grade. Yet, the entity standing before the unidentified protagonist is an S-rank boss, and the sheer gap in levels is completely crushing his stats. Battered and bewildered, the unidentified protagonist questions the nature of this demonic lair, wondering why an S-rank monster is present, and more alarmingly, how it knows his name. Her intense battle has already seen dozens of exchanges, yet the unidentified protagonist observes that the S-rank boss has intentionally held back, possessing countless opportunities to end his life. With a powerful blow, the S-rank boss sends the unidentified protagonist flying, a pained UGH, escaping him as he's struck. Lying defeated on the ground, the unidentified protagonist realizes each strike from the S-rank boss deliberately avoided his vitals, merely toying with him, knocking him down repeatedly. The S-rank boss looms over the fallen unidentified protagonist, its glowing eyes fixated, as it mockingly asks if he is still struggling. S-rank boss, standing before the ominous demonic tower, extends a chilling offer, urging the unidentified protagonist to reconsider. Will you stay here and guard this demonic tower with me? This is a rare opportunity. With burning red eyes filled with defiance, the unidentified protagonist fiercely rejects the S-rank boss's offer, declaring, "And no matter what, I will never stay in this hellhole." In a flash of purple energy, the unidentified protagonist is impaled through the chest by the S-rank boss's blade, blood erupting around him as his own yellow energy still crackles. Blood drips from the unidentified protagonist's body as his eyes widen in a silent scream of shock and agony, his life force rapidly draining. The S-rank boss, blade still glowing, reveals its true impatience, menacingly asking the unidentified protagonist, "Do you truly think I won't kill you? It's only because you are the only one capable of coming here that I have been this patient with you." As the S-rank boss's aura intensifies, displaying system notifications for a strength up and stamina up, it issues a final, chilling ultimatum: "I'll ask you one last time." The S-rank boss unleashes its full power, levitating amidst colossal rocks, and demands the unidentified protagonist make a choice: stay or be crushed into a pulp. Defiance ignites in Chen's eyes as intense yellow lightning crackles around him, signaling a powerful awakening. With a surge of yellow lightning, Chen lunges forward, his declaration echoing, "To kill you." The S-rank boss, surrounded by swirling purple energy, scoffs from above, dismissing Chen's bold declaration as ridiculous. Chen, wreathed in crackling yellow lightning, meets the S-rank boss's purple energy attack head-on, creating a violent explosion of power. The fierce battle rages as Chen, empowered by yellow lightning, relentlessly engages the S-rank boss and its formidable purple blade. Chen, in a moment of critical analysis, observes the S-rank boss's technique, noting that before every swing, he has a 0.4-second wind-up. I can use that moment to observe the angle of his wrist. Utilizing his keen observation, Chen expertly dodges the S-rank boss's sweeping purple blade, moving with lightning-fast precision. Chen's internal monologue guides his actions, predict the path, and dodge the blade. Chen's eyes burn with fierce resolve, his mind already formulating the next critical move, knowing that more importantly after his dodge, he will unleash a devastating counter, declaring, "I'll pierce his heart in an instant," as he strikes the S-rank boss with a concentrated burst of lightning. Chen's lightning blade skill activates, condensing electricity into a potent attack with a critical bonus, striking the S-rank boss's vital points and inflicting status paralyzed. He internally confirms that while a D rank cannot kill an S rank, the paralysis from my full power burst should hold him for a few seconds. The S-rank boss, momentarily stunned, acknowledges Chen's incredible speed, thinking, "He's too fast. I didn't have enough time to pull away before." Chen activates Lightning God, infusing his entire body with electricity to instantly increase his movement speed by 10 times. Empowered by Lightning God, Chen perceives the S-rank boss's momentary stun as his crucial window, confident that these few seconds are all he needs to escape the perilous situation. As he dashes, Chen rapidly processes his observations from the intense fight, realizing that the distant, glowing light is the only potential exit from this oppressive realm. With a desperate lunge, Chen extends his lightning-infused hand towards the shimmering, pixelated barrier, hoping to breach the elusive light source. His hopes are abruptly shattered as the light source vanishes without a trace, leaving Chen plummeting through a crimson void, questioning the impossible disappearance. The abyssal fiend's chilling voice echoes, revealing the light was merely an illusion, a cruel trick. The exit Chen sought never truly existed, and this place is no ordinary demon lair. Monstrous Purgatory Rakshasa, an S-rank 1-star warrior, regards Chen with an unsettling gaze, proclaiming him the true harbinger of hope. Chen's eyes burn with a mixture of shock and fierce determination as the weight of the boss's unexpected words settles upon him. His expression remains locked in intense focus, grappling with the profound and unexpected revelation from the powerful entity. The battle rages on, Chen clashing against the formidable Purgatory Rakshasa amidst a maelstrom of crackling energy and destructive force. A chilling, draconic visage emerges, its glowing red eyes fixed on Chen as shards of icy energy swirl around its menacing form. Chen is dwarfed by the colossal ice dragon, its massive wings spread wide as crystalline shards explode outwards from its immense power, dominating the battlefield. The battlefield shifts again as Chen skillfully evades a monstrous, thorny entity wreathed in vibrant green and pink energies, its glowing red eyes fixated on him. Blinding golden sphere of energy erupts, revealing a stylized dragon-like silhouette at its core, radiating immense power that warps and devastates the surrounding environment. Golden lightning crackles around Chen's outstretched hand, his face etched with fierce resolve as he unleashes his newly awakened, formidable power. Chen's eyes glow with an intense golden light, reflecting the profound transformation occurring within him, bathed in an ethereal purple hue. Purgatory Rakshasa stands tall, its demonic form wreathed in an intimidating aura of vibrant purple and pink energy, radiating immense, unholy power. The Purgatory Rakshasa reveals that its current, terrifying form is precisely how it appeared in a past era, hinting at a deeper, ancient history. Chen ponders the boss's words, a dawning realization crossing his face as he connects the integration of this immense power into his own body. The shocking truth hits Chen: this entire fantastical realm, with its towering structures and ominous atmosphere, is not an external dungeon, but a world contained within himself. The abyssal fiend scoffs, impressed by Chen's formidable mental fortitude and razor-sharp intellect in deciphering the profound truth. The monstrous entity declares Chen worthy, deeming him deserving of everything this inner world possesses, a testament to his strength. Chen's eyes widen in disbelief, questioning the immense scope of the inheritance the boss is offering, a treasure beyond his wildest imagination. The abyssal fiend presents the key of the void, an SS-rank artifact and the sole gateway to the demonic tower, placing it before Chen's monstrous hand. The Purgatory Rakshasa reveals the tower's grim history, stating that Lan Yue once devoured countless ferocious demons, sealing the strongest among them within this very structure. The Purgatory Rakshasa commands Chen to devour the sealed demons, to use them as fuel to grow stronger, urging him to claim his inheritance and ascend. Chen clutches the glowing key, his face a mix of bewilderment and pain as he questions the Purgatory Raksasa's unexpected benevolence, asking why it would help him like this. The Purgatory Raksasa's shadowy, clawed hand extends, purple energy flickering around it as it reveals its true nature. It explains that even among demons, a line exists between good and evil, and the Demon King slaughtered its entire kin out of pure greed. The Purgatory Rakshasa, a monstrous figure wreathed in spectral flames and chains, declares its eternal wait for revenge against the Demon Kings, stating that its chance has finally arrived with Chen. Chen's eyes widen slightly in realization, a thought echoing in his mind: that guy was right. The Purgatory Raksasa's voice resonates, declaring Chen as the sole hope, the only one who can succeed. Chen, his brow furrowed and eyes sharp, demands to know who that guy is. The Purgatory Rakshasa's voice directs Chen towards a colossal, foreboding tower, stating that all answers are hidden within its depths. It commands him to find them for himself, leaving Chen in stunned silence. The Purgatory Rakshasa's head glows with blinding purple and blue energy as it implores Chen to take its power and make its enemies pay. Chen's eyes widen in utter shock, repeating the Purgatory Rakshasa's offer, take your power? The Purgatory Rakshasa's demonic face contorts, enveloped in a furious purple aura as it commands Chen to become unstoppable, to open the tower gates and devour everything within. The Purgatory Rakshasa's glowing blue eye flickers as cracks spiderweb across its form, warning Chen that the demons within the tower will be far more ruthless, the most cunning and vicious entities in existence. The Purgatory Rakshasa's final command echoes, urging Chen to ascend to the very peak of this world as Chen's eye burns with a fierce, unwavering resolve. The Purgatory Rakshasa's voice trails off until finally, as shadowy, monstrous forms of its kin appear, wreathed in menacing red energy. Purgatory Rakshasa's head shatters into glowing blue fragments, its voice fading as it states that only a man with such unwavering resolve. Chen stands alone on a vast, crimson sea, a purple energy trail dissolving into a splash of blood beside him, marking the Purgatory Rakshasa's final sacrifice. A surge of purple energy coalesces in Chen's outstretched hand, a system loading bar appearing beneath it as the power transfer completes. Bathed in a brilliant golden light, Chen stands transformed, the system proudly displaying LV-10 Chen in victory, signifying his new ascended state. Chen's eyes, now burning with a fierce red glow, narrow in understanding, a grim resolve settling on his face as he utters, I understand. The system confirms Devouring complete, revealing Chen's new class, Purgatory Rakshasa, a star warrior with maxed out stats in strength, speed, stamina, elemental power, luck, and spirit. He gains the skills Bone Grip Ruin, which absorbs stamina and strength from corpses, and Triple Gravity Strike, manipulating gravity in 3 forms, light, heavy, and overload. Chen's eyes flutter open, adjusting to the light as an unseen voice shouts, wake up, everyone, get up. Chen sits up in his bunk, a soft awe escaping his lips as he takes in his familiar surroundings, back in what appears to be a dorm room. Other students rush around, one urging everyone to hurry and put on their school uniforms. Chen, still disoriented, questions internally if he's truly back in the dorm. Chen pulls open his shirt, revealing a perfectly healed, unblemished physique. He wonders if his grievous wounds are gone, questioning if everything he experienced was merely a dream. A holographic system screen materializes before Chen, showcasing his level 10 status, maxed stats, and the Purgatory Rakshasa class card. He realizes his system proves it was all real, even the loot from his dream has returned with him. Chen's internal monologue reveals his astonishment at jumping to level 10 in a single night, pondering what formidable rank he would now be classified as. A fellow student with long dark hair approaches Chen's bunk, calling out to him, hey, Chen. The student grins slyly, informing Chen that someone was talking big about him last night, spreading rumors that he'd suddenly become a powerhouse. An indignant voice booms, expressing shock and outrage, you're actually looking to topple my reign as the top in this dorm? Chen maintains a calm, composed expression, his red eyes unwavering, as the challenger declares, let's go. The rank test is about to start. Let me see what you're really made of. A person takes a vigorous bite into a steaming bun, juice and steam bursting forth, signaling the mundane return to daily life before the impending challenge. A student, still savoring a steaming bun, confidently declares that while their dorm may seem full of E-ranks, each rank is meticulously divided into 3 distinct tiers. He boasts about his own status, asserting that while others are merely low E rank, he proudly stands as a mid E rank. A system display illustrates the strict hierarchy of ranks and tiers, with D-mid tier highlighted as the peak among current students. The student's voice echoes, emphasizing that the chasm between each tier is vast, claiming he could effortlessly defeat 10 low rankers simultaneously. Another student leans in close to Chen, urging him to unleash his full power. He encourages Chen to aim for D rank, suggesting it would thoroughly shock their peers. The campus bustles with students, the atmosphere charged with anticipation as a distant figure walks purposefully towards the main event. Suddenly, the long-haired student from earlier lets out a surprised exclamation, his eyes wide at an unexpected sight. A vast crowd has already gathered for the National Awakener University's official rank test ceremony, a massive screen dominating the outdoor arena. A student observes that everyone has arrived remarkably early. A spiky white-haired student, his face etched with a dark, intense expression, suggests to his companion that they should maintain their distance. The long-haired student's eyes widen in disbelief, realizing that the attention of the crowd is now fixed directly on them. Chen stands composed, his profile revealing a calm, almost enigmatic expression, his red eyes holding a subtle intensity. The spiky white-haired student and his companion are struck with utter terror, their faces contorted in wide-eyed shock as they barely manage to utter Chen's name. Long-haired student is left bewildered, questioning why everyone is suddenly showing such profound respect to Chen. Meanwhile, the student with glasses smirks, as if his earlier predictions about Chen's potential are proving true. Chen walks with an air of quiet confidence, passing by several students who are bowing deeply in his presence, their deference a stark contrast to the earlier casual atmosphere. A sharp, commanding interjection cuts through the air, drawing immediate attention. Zhang Jian, the student council officer, appears with a confident, almost arrogant smirk, casually mentioning an incident involving Gong Cheng from the previous day. Students in the foreground gasp, recognizing the imposing figure confronting Chen as Zhang Jian, a prominent member of the student council. The long-haired student and the student with glasses exchange worried glances, realizing Zhang Jian is the president's personal D-rank powerhouse. They question why such a formidable figure is now targeting Chen. Zhang Jian's voice rings out, boasting about his ability to discern a true powerhouse from a considerable distance. Leaning in uncomfortably close to Chen, Zhang Jian's smirk widens as he declares that from Chen he only detects the pathetic stench of a permanent bottom feeder. Zhang Jian continues, emphasizing his keen sense of smell, asserting that he can detect the true scent of strength. With a condescending gaze, Zhang Jian reiterates his insult, stating that on Chen there is only the sour smell of a bottom feeder destined for a life of mediocrity. Zhang Jian looms over Chen, his foot raised in an intimidating gesture, demanding to know if Chen is merely a dog. Chen's face contorts in a rare display of raw fury, his eyes burning red as he demands to know what Zhang Jian just said. New figure steps forward, placing himself between the enraged Chen and Zhang Jian, calmly instructing Zhang Jian to stop. Gong Ting, with a serious expression, reveals that he has already investigated the matter, concluding that Gong Cheng was the one at fault in the incident. Following his stern declaration about Gong Cheng's fault, Gong Ting asserts that it is only right to pay the price for doing something wrong. His subordinate immediately acknowledges, "Yes, President." A stern-faced man with piercing yellow eyes remains silent, his expression unreadable as the consequences unfold. Testing ceremony begins as an official announces, "Attention students, the grade test will begin shortly." A glowing portal stands ready on the stage. The announcer continues, detailing the procedure. "We will conduct the test in order of student number. Please come up to the stage in an orderly manner when you hear your name." Zhang Jian, observing the unfolding events, thinks to himself that Chen doesn't seem like much of a threat. Meanwhile, another student eagerly states, "Let's go. We should go prepare for the grade test," and confirms, "Got it." From a high vantage point, the vast crowd of students gathers for the grade test ceremony, a solemn event about to commence on the brightly lit stage. Lan Yue, a mysterious smile playing on her lips, muses to herself, might be quite interesting as she watches the preparations. A star title card flashes across the screen, declaring the Glutton. The system screen illuminates, displaying the categories, name, grade, and potential. The announcer's voice booms, "Next up for the grade test, Xiangzhua." Xiangzhua, his hand glowing with nascent power, declares with fervor, "Let me see my true strength." Xiangzhua steps into the testing chamber, his form rendered in a shimmering blue silhouette as he passes through the entrance. The student advances further into the dimly lit chamber, faint energy crackling around his ethereal blue form. Inside the training demon lair, a pulsating demon heart capable of absorbing immense energy hangs suspended, its numerous cables reaching out like veins. The test requires the awakener to release all their energy in front of the demon heart. Xiangzhua screams, unleashing a torrent of fiery red-orange power from his hands. The raw energy surges forward, a blinding wave of power emanating from Xiangzhua. The demon heart pulses violently, glowing a furious red as it rapidly absorbs the massive influx of energy, its connected cables glowing with the transferred power. The narrator explains that the demon heart will then transmit the sensed energy to external equipment via its intricate network of cables. The external equipment buzzes loudly, a vibrant orange glow indicating the successful transmission of energy from the demon heart. The system screen updates, revealing Xiangzhua's current grade, E-grade, mid-tier. The potential section crackles with static, hinting at more to come. The student with glasses clenches his fists in excitement, exclaiming, "Here it comes. This is the main event," as the crowd anticipates the next revelation. The screen focuses on potential, clarified as the highest achievable grade for that profession in the future, as static continues to build. The static clears, dramatically revealing Xiangzhua's max potential, C grade. Xiangzhua slumps against the wall, clearly dejected. His results display current grade E grade mid-tier, max potential C. He laments, "Looks like my grade hasn't improved at all in these 2 years. I was hoping to push for D grade." Xiangzhua sits dejectedly on the stairs. A sympathetic student tries to comfort him, saying, "Relax, brother Xiangzhua, we're even weaker." The system declares, "Test complete." A new set of results appears. Current grade D grade low tier, max potential B. The frame cuts to the spiky red hair and glowing blue eyes of Chen, hinting at his own impending results or a transformation. The surrounding students erupt in a chaotic chorus of gasps and shouts, their faces contorted in utter disbelief at the unexpected assessment results. The system prominently displays the assessment, current grade D grade low tier, with a max potential of B. A voice booms, declaring this individual as the first E grade talent to emerge this year. Female student celebrates triumphantly within the glowing assessment portal, her arms raised in victory, as a male student nearby reacts with an astonished whoa. Another confident figure, radiating charisma, steps out of the portal, his assessment clearly stated, current grade D grade low tier, with an impressive max potential of A. A student buries his face in his hands, overwhelmed, as another observes the unfolding results with a silent ellipsis, realizing this is already the 8th D grade assessment. The stout scientist muses on the surprising number of D-grade talents appearing this year, noting the rarity of such results from students without combat experience. The lean scientist concurs, adding that typically only 2 or 3 graduates achieve D-grade annually. Polished formal shoes step confidently onto the assessment platform, signaling the arrival of the next participant. Gongting, impeccably dressed in a trench coat, adjusts his tie with a calm, assured demeanor, ready for his turn. The surrounding students murmur excitedly, realizing it is finally Gongting's turn. Whispers identify him as the president and the young master of the Imperial Guild, a chosen one with countless prestigious titles. The unidentified protagonist observes Gongting with a focused gaze, his red eyes reflecting the anticipation of the crowd. Students in the crowd discuss the current record, noting that D-grade low tier is the highest measured so far this year and D-grade mid tier is the school's historical best. They wonder aloud about the unprecedented level Gongting might achieve. A complex, glowing mechanical heart, adorned with a single eye and entangled in a web of wires, pulses with an unknown energy, representing the core of the assessment. The mechanical eye on the heart-like device opens, glowing with an intense, piercing light, signaling the activation of its full analytical power. Gongting stands, his back to the viewer, connected by numerous wires to the pulsating mechanical heart, undergoing the rigorous assessment process. Gongting's determined gaze meets the viewer as he internally resolves to hold back his full strength for the graduation combat assessment, aiming to create the biggest sensation at the opportune moment. Gongting's eye flares with an inner light, his conviction unwavering as he declares his intent to still achieve the number 1 rank in school history, even while suppressing his power. The assessment screen flickers violently, displaying only chaotic static for both grade and potential, accompanied by unsettling Z sounds, as if the system struggles to process the immense energy. The lean scientist's eyes widen in utter shock, his mouth agape as he begins to utter a stunned exclamation. That the system finally stabilizes, revealing an astonishing assessment, current grade D-grade high tier, with an unprecedented S-rank potential. The purple-haired evaluator, utterly stunned, exclaims in disbelief, D-grade high tier, as the incredible S-rank potential shines on the screen. The crowd erupts into a frenzied uproar, students screaming in shock and disbelief, an S-rank top-tier potential, followed by an incredulous WTF. The previously confident student now screams with exhilaration, joining the chorus of students shouting, the first person in school history, and as expected of the president, long live the president. Amidst the pandemonium, the unidentified protagonist remains stoic, observing the chaos as a nearby student expresses envy. The crowd continues to exclaim, our school actually produced an S-rank potential user, realizing they have witnessed history. An evaluator confirms the astonishing result. The result is correct. D-grade high tier, S-rank potential. The lean scientist asks if they should report directly to superiors, to which the stout scientist emphatically replies, of course. The students continue to buzz, declaring that an awakener with S-rank potential is a global treasure who will undoubtedly be protected and focused on by the state. They add that his status as the noble son of the Imperial Guild further elevates his importance. The excitement is palpable as a voice declares that Gongting's achievement will undoubtedly make national headlines, cementing his legendary status. Gongting stands composed, his profile reflecting quiet satisfaction as a system display confirms his official test result, grade D grade high tier, with an astounding S-rank potential. 2 silhouetted figures stand before a panoramic city view, one observing that this year's assessment has truly seen an unprecedented number of talents emerge. The elderly advisor, observing the unfolding assessment, questions if his colleague already knew Gongting possessed S-rank potential. The National Awakener University principal, Yuan Long, replies with a knowing smirk, acknowledging that his presence to watch the show today was no surprise. Lan Yue, however, interjects, stating she didn't come just for Gongting, prompting a curious "oh" from Yuan Long. Lan Yue maintains a subtle smile, her gaze hinting at a deeper interest as she begins to compare Gongting to someone else. The scene shifts to a group of students, with the system announcing the next participant to be assessed is about to be revealed. The name flashes across the screen, revealing the next participant, Chen. A student with a wide, mocking grin confronts Chen, telling him he'd better bring some honor to his dorm. The student's face contorts into a maniacal laugh as he warns Chen not to show them another low A rank, threatening disgrace if his entire dorm turns out to be bottom-tier trash. He continues his taunts, declaring they'll be the biggest laughingstock in the university, calling them a bunch of weaklings. The system reveals Xiang's was rank as mid-ear rank with C potential. The taunting student declares that their participation in the graduation combat assessment will be nothing but a disgrace. The system displays Xiang Yu as a low A rank with C potential and Ma Long also as a low A rank with C potential. One of Chen's dorm mates, visibly agitated, shouts back a defiant "you just wait." Chen steps into the glowing portal, ready to begin his assessment as his profile appears on the system screen, awaiting his rank and potential. As Chen enters the assessment, the spectacled student watches, murmuring Chen's name with a hint of concern, while the mocking student continues to laugh in the background. Chen's sister, filled with apprehension, wonders if he can truly succeed as Chen descends into the depths of the assessment chamber, connected by numerous wires to a central glowing orb. A singular, glowing eye, surrounded by a network of wires, observes Si Chen's entry with an intense, unblinking gaze. Inside the assessment, Si Chen's eyes burn with an ominous red glow as he extends his hand, a surge of power emanating from him. For most, this brutal combat assessment represents their sole chance to prove their worth to the powerful guilds. Monstrous threats lurk within, ready to challenge every participant in this perilous combat assessment. Candidates are free to choose their own teammates, adding a strategic layer to the perilous assessment. The Grand University stands as a beacon of power, its ornate halls awaiting the results of the rigorous assessment. The assessment is a crucible, where a select few rise above the masses, symbolizing the unprecedented number of talents emerging this year. The narrator explains the assessment holds a far more crucial purpose as the mocking student enthusiastically introduces their new teammate, Yan Lin, a low D-rank. The student proudly declares their 10-man squad is finally complete, boasting that all 9 D-ranks of the year are on their team. With Gong Cheng joining, he confidently states that first place is practically theirs. The celebrating students cheer, assuring Gong Ting that the final MVP title will undoubtedly be his. In stark contrast, Si Chen's dorm mates look on with worried expressions as a single leaf drifts by, emphasizing their anxiety. Spectacled student adjusts his glasses, his face etched with deep concern, wondering aloud how long Si Chen has been inside the assessment. The system screen remains blank for Si Chen, showing no rank or potential, prompting a worried query about the complete lack of progress or activity being registered for his assessment. Despite the uncertainty surrounding Si Chen, the general assessment for the other students concludes, with many already heading back to their dorms, signaling the end of the day's evaluations. One male student dismisses the remaining test takers as trash, asserting there's no need to wait for the president, and suggests their squad go for karaoke since the evaluations are effectively over. The light brown-haired student, seemingly the president, calmly agrees to leave and instructs his companion to call the rest of their team. Suddenly, a system screen flickers into existence, displaying rank at the top, but the data below remains a chaotic mess of static lines, accompanied by a faint Z sound. The system stabilizes, revealing Si Chen's name and an unexpected high D rank as Zhang Jian and other observers watch the display in the background. A wave of surprise ripples through the observing students, their faces contorted in wide-eyed shock and confusion at the D rank result, with Gong Ting visibly stunned in the foreground. One male student shouts in utter disbelief, questioning how a D rank could possibly be considered high tier, his expression a mask of extreme shock. The blue-haired male student exclaims in confusion, while the light brown-haired student stutters in shock, barely able to articulate his disbelief at the high D rank assessment. The system reaffirms the current rank result, high D rank, as an unidentified protagonist's hand connected to a strange, pulsating organic device hovers beside the display. System prompts appear, stating that system detected instability in the demon heart and a potential deviation in results, urging the candidate to please retest. Si Chen observes his holographic stats, noting that his level 10 base form, with all stats at 150, already registers as a high D rank, having only used his basic, unswitched physical form. With a surge of glowing blue energy, Si Chen initiates a class switching sequence as the system displays a loading prompt. Si Chen's true form manifests the Infernal Death King class, a cloud warrior with terrifying skeletal features, glowing red eyes, and a monstrous claw, surrounded by a chilling blue aura. The system initiates a rapid re-evaluation, the rank display glitching violently with a Z sound as it struggles to process Si Chen's sudden class change, showing a distorted rank symbol. The system stabilizes once more, revealing Si Chen's updated rank, a formidable MIDC rank, accompanied by another Z sound. A collective cry of what erupts from the stunned students, their faces contorted in utter disbelief at Si Chen's sudden and unexpected rank increase. The students exclaim in confusion, asking what is happening as Si Chen's rank has unexpectedly jumped again, their expressions filled with bewilderment. The blue-haired male student yells that a C rank is total BS, while the light brown-haired student insists that something is gravely wrong with the assessment machine. Lean scientist questions why the rank keeps changing, admitting he has never witnessed such an anomaly, while the stout scientist wonders if the entire system is malfunctioning. The system again flashes its critical warning, system detected instability in the demon heart, demanding a retest due to potential deviation in results. The demon heart device strains under an unseen pressure, its surface appearing to sweat as its central eye pulses intensely, accompanied by a frantic Z sound. Si Chen thinks to himself that if his current rank is C, his other two classes should be far superior as he initiates another class switching sequence enveloped in crackling purple energy. System declares class switch complete as Si Chen fully transforms into his ultimate form, the Purgatory Rakshasa, crackling with potent pink and purple lightning, his eyes glowing in intense blue. Si Chen declares his intent to unleash the full extent of his true power as his system panel displays his maxed out stats as a Star Warrior and the devastating skills of his Purgatory Rakshasa class, Bone Grip Ruin and Triple Gravity Strike. The demon heart device screams under an unbearable load, its central eye bulging as cracks begin to form, radiating intense lines and sweat like droplets, accompanied by a violent Z sound. A massive vortex of swirling purple and white energy erupts, tearing through the air and sending debris scattering, signaling an immense release of power. Above, a colossal, dark purple void tears open in the sky, crackling with destructive lightning as the students below gaze up in terror at the cataclysmic event. The blue-haired male student cries out in utter panic, demanding to know what catastrophic event is unfolding before their eyes as the other students stare up in horror and confusion. The students reel in utter panic, convinced they are witnessing a literal celestial omen as one declares that history itself is being rewritten before their very eyes. The system display glitches violently, struggling to process the overwhelming data of the students' rank and potential. The screen distorts further, a colossal, pixelated S materializing with intense energy, signaling an unprecedented level of power. One of the lean scientists stares in wide-eyed horror, sweat pouring down his face, exclaiming in disbelief that this phenomenon is happening again. Zhang Jian, aghast, questions if they are truly witnessing another S-rank potential, his face a mask of shock and bewilderment. The system confirms the S potential, but a red hexagonal warning box flashes, indicating an imminent critical error. The warning intensifies, declaring the potential value undetectable and that it has exceeded the system's maximum load as the display erupts in a chaotic blend of pink and orange. A male student screams in sheer terror, his face contorted in an extreme expression of panic, blood streaming from his nose. The immense energy causes a violent explosion, shattering the surrounding structure as fiery blasts erupt from the core of the evaluation device. The lean scientist and stout scientist flee in a panic, the lean scientist shouting that the demon heart is overloading and demanding someone ensures the student's safety. Tendrils of crackling blue energy surge from the device, ensnaring and pulling two figures upwards into the pulsating light amidst a swirling vortex of dark energy. Close-up reveals the demon heart, now withered and lifeless, its grotesque form seemingly dead, prompting a stunned query about its demise. Chen calmly walks away from the wreckage of the demon heart while the lean scientist and stout scientist examine its remains, questioning if it burned out from overusage. Chen, his eyes now glowing red, reveals he accidentally pushed too hard, causing the demon heart's destruction, but hints at a new surprise gained from the event. A system notification confirms Devouring complete finished, followed by the acquisition of an A-rank exquisite demon heart skill, granting perception of power ranks within a 100-meter radius and danger warnings. Chen stands beneath the now restored evaluation device, which glows with a serene blue light, surrounded by crackling energy tendrils. His eyes blaze with an intense blue light as a system prompt confirms that exquisite demon heart activated. Chen stands within the glowing device, his newly activated skill revealing multiple high E-rank hexagonal notifications floating above the observing students. A close-up view shows a prominent high E-rank notification hovering above a student's shoulder, confirming the low power levels of his peers. Chen's eyes continue to glow with an ethereal blue, intently scanning his surroundings as his enhanced perception remains active. Gongting stands with a calm demeanor, his rank revealed as mid-C rank by a pink hexagonal notification hovering above him. An official announcement dismisses Chen's previous data as a likely error, stating it will be reported to higher-ups and instructs untested students to return tomorrow. Chen's friends excitedly praise him as a genius, asking what the Great One desires to eat, while Chen, looking exasperated, suggests they simply return to the dorm. Purple-haired evaluator scoffs, openly mocking Chen, declaring it impossible for a loser to reach C rank, let alone S rank potential, and dismissing his results as a mere glitch. The dark-haired student furiously confronts Chen, demanding accountability for breaking the demon heart and questioning his sense of responsibility for attempting to walk away. He continues his enraged tirade, blaming Chen for causing the entire student council to delay their proceedings until tomorrow. Chen's hand clenches, crackling with suppressed yellow energy, a clear sign of his growing frustration and rising power. Chen's eyes glow ominously with yellow light as he internally considers the relentless badgering, contemplating whether to simply cripple his tormentor. A new voice cuts through the tension as Gongting commands Zhang Jian to stand down, reminding him not to disrespect their teammate. Dark-haired student, taken aback, stutters in disbelief at the idea of Chen being called a teammate. Gongting, with a confident smirk, extends an invitation to Chen, proposing they tackle the graduation combat assessment together. Gongting's hand extends, promising Chen that together they will achieve the highest score in history for the combat assessment. Chen, maintaining a stoic expression, looks down at Gongting's inviting hand, silently acknowledging the offer. The dark-haired student stares in utter shock, realizing that Gongting has personally invited Chen to join his team. The dark-haired student's face contorts in panic, agonizing over how he will explain this unexpected development to his allies, knowing that joining Gongting's team guarantees first place in the assessment. Chen silently reflects on the unfairness, recalling how many others couldn't secure a spot even with bribes, questioning what right the dark-haired student has to complain. Despite his internal outrage, the dark-haired student's hand trembles, acknowledging that Gongting's personal intervention demands a certain respect. Dark-haired student forces a grotesque smile, his face betraying his suppressed displeasure as he reluctantly welcomes Chen to the team. Chen coolly rebuffs the offer, declaring he is not interested in joining the team, leaving the dark-haired student's hand hanging. The dark-haired student recoils in utter shock, while Gongting's eyes narrow, a flicker of surprise crossing his usually calm expression. As the dark-haired student loudly boasts about the team's top-tier strength, Chen dismissively states that it has nothing to do with him. Chen, seemingly annoyed, curtly declares that the dark-haired student is too noisy. With a final, chilling warning, Chen tells them not to bother him from now on, his eyes glowing with a faint, dangerous red. The dark-haired student is left fuming, practically spitting fire in his rage, as Chen calmly walks away, instructing someone to return. Onlookers gasp in disbelief, questioning Chen's audacity to refuse Gongting, the revered student council president. An observer speculates that Chen must intend to claim first place by himself despite his previous C-grade mid-tier test results. Two students share a laugh, finding the expressions of the recently arrogant individuals hilarious while acknowledging Chen's surprising bravery. Gongting calmly reassures the stunned dark-haired student, remarking that Chen seems to have his own distinct ideas. The school grounds are bathed in sunlight as students disperse across the sprawling campus, their figures casting long shadows. The elderly advisor expresses regret that the two couldn't team up, while Lan Yue laments the missed opportunity for a new school history record to be set this year. Lan Yue, with a subtle, knowing smile, suggests that the current, unpredictable turn of events might actually be more interesting this way. With a subtle, knowing smile, Lan Yue considers Gongting, a man born into immense privilege, understanding that any refusal of his will is perceived by him as a blatant declaration of war. Lan Yue's thoughts continue, focusing on the formidable presence of their president. She concludes that Gongting is certainly not an individual who is easily managed or appeased. Behind Gongting, an unidentified male exclaims in disbelief, questioning if the target truly believes himself to be merely C-grade. Gongting's eyes glow with a fierce, yellow light as he considers a critical possibility. What if the test results were accurate, even if it meant a single hunter could possess such power? The unidentified male, with a wide, unsettling grin, reminds Gongting of their shared elite status and numerous battles in the demon lair, then eagerly offers to teach the target a lesson on Gongting's behalf. Gongting calmly questions the unidentified male if he perceives him as petty, causing the subordinate to instantly retract his words, stammering that he misspoke. Gongting, uninterested in trivial entertainment, dismissively states he's not in the mood for karaoke and instructs his team to handle their own arrangements. His eyes burn with a fierce, yellow glow as he issues a final, chilling directive regarding their actions. The unidentified male stares blankly, absorbing Gongting's unspoken command. With a chilling, wide grin, the unidentified male confirms his understanding, acknowledging that his subsequent actions will be entirely his own, without Gongting's direct involvement. 10 minutes later, a student on the school stairs expresses surprise upon hearing that Chen is not at school. Another random student, with a wide grin, excitedly reports overhearing Chen say he was heading home, having left school without even eating. The unidentified male, with a malicious stomp that crushes a soda can, declares that fate itself is aligning to assist his scheme. His sinister grin widens as he realizes the perfect opportunity has presented itself now that Chen is outside the school premises. He gleefully declares that Chen's absence from school makes it far more convenient to deal with him ruthlessly. Unaware of the danger lurking, the unidentified protagonist walks alone down a street outside the school, lost in thought. Deep within a demon lair, an unfortunate team of adventurers encountered a catastrophic accident, facing a powerful, unprecedented demon. A blinding surge of vibrant pink and purple energy erupts, signifying an overwhelming magical force. The adventurers are utterly engulfed by the overwhelming pink energy, their forms silhouetted against the destructive power. The narrator reveals the horrific fate of the P-Guild team, utterly annihilated, their demise marking the moment when the monstrous entity known as Wrath emerged from the demon lair and descended upon the human world. The narrator asserts a crucial piece of knowledge has been acquired. Standing before a magnificent classical building, the unidentified protagonist realizes his desperate need for a substantial sum of money. Narrator explains that the Mithril Monster Exchange, operating under the Mithril Guild, is destined to become the nation's largest material exchange in the future. The narrator emphasizes that an awakener's strength is heavily reliant on their weapons and equipment, making the Monster Exchange a vital transit station for all such transactions. Scattered on a textured surface are several sharp, bone-like claws, remnants of a formidable creature. A surprised shopkeeper, holding up a glowing bone claw, incredulously questions the student, demanding to know where he acquired such a rare item. The shopkeeper's incredulity grows as Chen calmly explains that the glowing bone claw was simply dropped by a monster. The shopkeeper, however, silently doubts, wondering why he has never encountered such an item himself. A female assistant, her eyes widening in recognition, interjects, recalling that this must be a rare drop. She specifically identifies it as Songsen's Fawn, from an E-grade cloud-type monster beast. She continues, explaining that according to records, Songsen's Fawn can either be crafted into an E-grade cloud-type scepter or ground into a potent powder. The shopkeeper, clearly unimpressed by the details of an E-grade item, dismissively cuts her off, questioning what significant utility such a low-grade item could possibly hold. He scoffs, a clear sign of his disdain for anything below his perceived standard. With an air of arrogance, the shopkeeper proudly declares that his establishment operates on a VIP system, exclusively dealing with D-grade goods and above for awakeners of status. He asserts it's perfectly normal for him not to recognize such a small E-grade item. Despite his outward bravado, the shopkeeper privately frets, lamenting the recent scarcity of high-grade customers and wondering when he will finally be promoted to supervisor. Meanwhile, Chen, observing the shopkeeper's dismissive attitude, mentally notes his misfortune of always encountering such troublesome and unrewarding individuals. The shopkeeper, still annoyed, instructs the female assistant, whom he calls Little Lee, to handle the remaining procedures for Chen, urging her to work hard as he has high hopes for her. The assistant promptly acknowledges. Chen, with a calm demeanor, asks if there's anything else needed, while a system notification confirms the sale of 18 Sungson's fangs, netting him a tidy 18,000 credits. With his immediate financial worries addressed, Chen prepares for his next task, his hand beginning to glow with ethereal purple energy and pixelated light. Energy coalesces, revealing a transformed Chen holding a magnificent, glowing purple greatsword. He commands the staff to evaluate this new item. The female assistant, utterly stunned by the appearance of the weapon, exclaims in awe at the incredibly cool greatsword. Despite never having seen such an item, she instinctively feels its immense power, estimating it to be at least B grade, then quickly revising her assessment to a potential A grade. A new, sharp-eyed individual, Xiaoli, steps forward, confirming the weapon is indeed beyond B or A grade, hinting at an even higher rarity. The shopkeeper, misunderstanding the new assessment, beams with pride, boasting about his own discerning eye and dismissing Chen as someone incapable of producing anything truly valuable. Xiaoli, with a confident smirk, adjusts his glasses and delivers the bombshell. The weapon is S-grade equipment. The revelation shatters the shopkeeper's composure, his face contorting in utter disbelief as he stutters out the grade in shock, the female assistant equally stunned in the background. His jaw drops open in a silent scream of pure astonishment, the weight of Xiaoli's words crashing down on him. Without hesitation, Xiaoli extends his hand, a gesture of respect and welcome to Chen. Xiaoli warmly greets Chen as a distinguished guest, shaking his hand firmly, while the shopkeeper looks on, utterly flabbergasted by the sudden turn of events. Xiaoli escorts Chen to the exclusive VIP room, inviting him to voice any requests as the female assistant carefully carries the S-grade greatsword and the shopkeeper watches, dumbfounded. Chen, a subtle smirk playing on his lips, thinks to himself that the true opportunity has finally arrived. Xiaoli maintains his composed and professional demeanor, ready to negotiate the terms of this unprecedented transaction. In the opulent VIP room, a steaming cup of tea or coffee awaits, setting the stage for a high-stakes discussion. Seated in lavish comfort, Xiaoli directly addresses Chen, inquiring about his desired selling price for the formidable S-grade equipment. His gaze unwavering, Chen prepares to state his terms for the formidable S-grade equipment. With calm resolve, Chen declares his price, 1 million. A gasp escapes Xiaoli, his eyes widening in disbelief as he questions, "You're only asking for 1 million? Xiaoli gestures emphatically towards the S-rank weapon, explaining that even A-rank equipment fetches millions, while this S-rank item should command tens of millions on the market. Chen clarifies his true intention, stating he wishes to use the S-rank weapon merely as collateral for a 1 million loan, promising to repay it swiftly. Xiaoli's mind races, perplexed by the notion of using such a powerful S-rank weapon to secure a simple loan. He continues to ponder, questioning if such a peculiar thought process is normal for a university student. As Chen calmly sips from his cup, Xiaoli's thoughts shift, wondering if this young man is a prodigy cleverly concealing his true abilities. Chen further details his proposal, offering to repay the principal in just 1 month, followed by a 10% interest payment the subsequent month. Xiaoli turns, requesting someone, presumably an attendant, to step outside, indicating a desire for a more private discussion. Resuming his seated position, Xiaoli leans forward, revealing his knowledge of Chen's attendance at National Awakener University. Xiaoli's voice continues, detailing the university's annual graduation examination, which is scheduled to take place in exactly 1 month. He then drops the crucial piece of information: the first-place prize money for the examination is precisely 1 million, perfectly aligning with Chen's proposed repayment. With a knowing smirk, Xiaoli begins to articulate his deduction, saying, "If I had to take a guess." Xiaoli directly challenges Chen, asserting, "You're confident that you'll take first place in the examination, aren't you?" Chen remains silent, deep in thought. Xiaoli continues his shrewd analysis, pointing out that Chen's urgent need for a loan, despite the impending prize money, signals a desperate situation. He concludes his deduction, suggesting that Chen would only resort to such a risky collateral if he were truly in a desperate, last-resort situation. With a subtle, calculating smile, Xiaoli prepares to reveal his counteroffer, stating, "If that's the case." Xiaoli's smile widens as he announces a surprising term: a loan with 0 interest for the first month. Extending his hand for a handshake, Xiaoli proposes this transaction marks the beginning of a valuable friendship between them. Chen looks on, a silent ellipsis conveying his surprise and contemplation of Xiaoli's unexpected generosity and shrewdness. Xiaoli winks, reassuring Chen of strict confidentiality and promoting his exchange facility as the first option for any future trading needs, promising the best possible deals. Si Chen's internal thoughts acknowledged Xiao Li's shrewdness, noting that instead of exploiting his predicament, he offered better terms for a long-term partnership. A subtle, knowing smile plays on Si Chen's lips, acknowledging the shrewd but ultimately fair deal. As the two men finalize their agreement with a handshake, Si Chen's internal monologue reveals his strategic understanding. To eliminate wrath, he cannot rely solely on his own strength. To truly eliminate the formidable wrath, Si Chen understands he cannot rely solely on his own power. He needs trustworthy allies, a realization solidified as he finalizes an agreement with Xiao Li through a firm handshake. The two men stand in a grand hall, their posture indicating the gravity of their recent transaction, a silent moment hanging in the air. A faint buzz emanates as Si Chen's hand hovers over an ancient scroll, a golden magic circle flaring beneath his palm, signifying the activation of a powerful relic. Xiao Li beams, confirming the transfer to Si Chen's account. A ding resonates as a system notification appears. One abyssal netherbone has been exchanged for a staggering 1,500,000 credits. Xiao Li, with a friendly smile, inquires, since you're using such a great weapon as collateral, what are you going to use for the graduation examination? Would you like me to lend you some equipment? Behind him, racks of various weapons line the walls. Xiao Li explains, we do not have any S-rank equipment currently, implying his offer, though generous, has its limits. Si Chen dismisses the offer with a simple, no need. His hand glows with white energy, a clear indication of his own formidable power, surprising Xiao Li in the background. He reveals his true intent, stating, I've still got another weapon, just like the one I gave up. His arm, wreathed in purple energy, holds a menacing, dark axe-like weapon. Xiao Li's eyes widen in utter shock, his jaw dropping as he exclaims, holy, censored. The revelation of Si Chen's hidden power leaves him speechless. With a newfound respect, Xiao Li waves goodbye, remarking, there really are so many talented youths these days. He bids Si Chen farewell as the protagonist calmly departs. Xiao Li grins, clearly pleased with the outcome. A voice announces, thankfully Xiao Li continued helping such an important client. You're being promoted to supervisor right away. As Si Chen looks out a large window, a thought crosses his mind, oh, that's right. With a determined expression and a slight exhalation, Si Chen realizes, I need to buy something. His red eyes hint at a deeper purpose. Si Chen quickly enters a yellow taxi, heading towards his next destination. He arrives at the Tsangchang County long-distance bus terminal, a large, modern building, looking up at the imposing sign. Si Chen's gaze turns distant, leaves falling around him as he reflects, in my last life, my family struggled financially for a while. A flashback shows a younger Si Chen, sweating and breathless, rushing upstairs with a delivery. He thinks, I'm running out of time on this delivery. He continues his internal monologue, Yunny and I had to live pretty frugally in order to survive. A younger Si Chen laments, we're broke again after paying this month's rent. But his sister's voice reassures him, it's okay, big bro, I just found a tutoring job. The younger Si Chen holds his head in despair, while Si Chen's sister gently pats his shoulder, a silent comfort in their struggle. The scene shifts to an International Central Art Institute admissions acceptance letter addressed to student Sai Yun, revealing his sister's achievement. Si Chen's sister, holding the torn acceptance letter, thinks to herself, I guess I got in after all. As pieces of the acceptance letter flutter around her hand, Si Chen's sister's heartfelt desire is clear, and I want to stay near my big brother. Back in the present, Si Chen checks his phone, a worried expression on his face. He thinks, it's getting pretty late, Yunny should have gotten off the bus by now. Suddenly, a sharp cry pierces the air. Bro! Si Chen's sister's voice rings out, startling him. Si Chen's sister scolds him, Bro, how many times have I told you? If you're gonna pick someone up, you gotta go to the exit, not the entrance. Her yellow backpack is visible as she gestures emphatically. Si Chen's sister stands beside her yellow suitcase, looking slightly flustered, perhaps still irritated from the earlier exchange. A sudden close-up reveals a sharp, red-tinged eye, reflecting a distant light, hinting at a deep internal thought or memory. The thought intensifies, a single phrase echoing, 7 years. Snapping him out of his thoughts, Si Chen's sister calls out, Big Bro, come give me a hand with this luggage. Her expression shifts to confusion and slight annoyance as she questions, Big Bro? Still gesturing, Si Chen's sister continues her chastisement, asking, why are you just standing there like a dummy? Suddenly, Si Chen pulls his sister into a tight embrace, a gentle smile gracing his face as he holds her close. Peeking over his shoulder, Si Chen's sister's eyes widen in surprise, a silent question mark hanging in the air. Si Chen holds her tighter, a serene expression on his face as a thought begins to form, since I've. His sister's voice breaks through, a muffled Bro, as she tries to push away. The furious jab to his back, Si Chen's sister shouts, are you trying to choke me to death? Si Chen's sister continues her questioning, you've been acting really weird the last couple of days. Did you get rejected by a girl or something? Si Chen sheepishly denies, no, I didn't. As they walk hand in hand, Si Chen's sister animatedly recounts her adventures. Oh yeah, the ride to take my exam this time was crazy. Let me tell you about it. Si Chen gazes at his sister, a soft, understanding smile playing on his lips, his red eyes reflecting a deeper resolve. As Si Chen's sister smiles brightly, a silent vow echoes in Si Chen's mind, I won't let you suffer anymore. Meanwhile, a sinister voice confirms a location. This is definitely the way that Peng Kasai Chen takes To get home. Leader, a man with a chilling grin and a cigarette dangling from his lips, commands his masked crew, "Go hide, and the moment he shows up, we'll jump him." His grin widens, a cruel promise in his eyes. "I'll make sure he learns what happens when you mess." One of the thugs, holding a baseball bat, voices a concern to his boss. "By the way, boss, since a bunch of US or student council members, what if things go too far?" The boss scoffs, "PFFT, I was just gonna teach him a little lesson, but that dude's attitude pisses me off. That low-tier E-rank piece of trash actually thinks he's a C-rank now. That trash has no idea who he's messing with." A memory flashes, see Chen's intense gaze burning as he delivers a chilling warning, "Don't bother me ever again." The boss's fury escalates, vowing to his subordinates, "When it's time, you guys better leave me a piece, cause I'm gonna destroy him. He won't be able to take the graduation in 2 weeks when I'm done with him." Changdi, the thug leader, his face contorted in a crazed sneer, brandishes a glowing knife, screaming, "Just wait till I'm done with you, you poser piece of shit." Unaware of the lurking danger, Si Chen and his sister walk side by side, their figures small against the urban landscape. Si Chen's sister, taking a sip from her drink, voices her continued concern, "Hey big bro, you've been acting pretty weird the last couple of days. Are you stressed over the graduation exam?" She then teases him, "I mean, a simpleton like you doesn't normally get caught up in your emotions." With a determined look, Si Chen's sister encourages him, "Big bro, and no matter what happens you gotta pull yourself together. Weren't you always the one telling me that? Life's a long journey, and chances will come to you sooner or later." Si Chen and Si Chen's sister walk together, she sings cheerfully, asking him, "How does that one song go again? Believe in yourself, oh 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 oh." Si Chen reflects, observing how perceptive his sister is, noting, "Yunni's so perceptive, she noticed something about me different the moment we met." He continues his internal monologue, realizing she still doesn't know that I've awakened, so she probably thinks we're still strapped for cash. Si Chen reassures his sister, "I promise I'm okay, Yunni," but Si Chen's sister remains unconvinced, thinking he's still trying to deny it. Is it because of his male pride? Si Chen's sister sighs, recalling a book. Men begin forming emotional walls as they get older. I guess the book was right after all. Looks like you're getting old, big bro. Si Chen and Si Chen's sister continue their journey, walking through what appears to be a station or terminal, their luggage trailing behind them. Suddenly, a masked thug spots them, alerting his boss, "Hey boss, that guy's got a girl with him." The boss thug's eyes gleam with malicious intent, declaring, "This is perfect. Haha, this alley's got no cameras guys, this is our lucky day." Si Chen's eyes narrow, his shark gaze indicating he has registered the looming threat. He internally identifies his pursuers with a cold realization, it's those guys from the student council. A group of menacing thugs, some armed with bats, stand ready to ambush, their silhouettes dark against the red-tinged background. With a quick pop, Si Chen retrieves a wireless earbud from its charging case. He gently places the earbud into Si Chen's sister's ear, a protective gesture. Si Chen smiles at his sister, explaining, "Yunni, I've been really into this song lately and playing it on repeat, here, listen." Si Chen's sister looks up, surprised, asking him, "Big bro, when did you start listening to music?" Closing her eyes, Si Chen's sister quietly reflects, "Well, I guess music can show a person's mental state." With a sudden flip, Si Chen turns, his eyes glowing with an intense blue light, his hair appearing spikier as his power begins to manifest. Approaching thugs are revealed with their system ranks, a D-rank low-tier leader and several E-rank high-tier and mid-tier henchmen, highlighted against a red background. Unaware of the impending danger, Si Chen's sister listens peacefully to the music, the lyrics echoing, "The rust swallows up the bird's reflection." The thugs charge down the alley, their intent clear. As the music plays on, the days on the calendar fade away, counting down to humanity's final civilization. Si Chen's hand crackles with golden lightning as he recalls his past life. The year 2160 in my last life was when I lost my last family member. It wasn't until the year 2167 that I was reborn and able to come back, and I could finally see my little sister again. His face contorts with rage, eyes blazing with golden light and crackling energy, a raw surge of power emanating from him. Now fully transformed into a golden, lightning-infused figure, Si Chen roars at the thugs, "How dare you all come and ruin this moment!" With a devastating slam, Si Chen's fist connects with the thug's face, a burst of blood splattering on impact. The thug is sent flying through the air, completely overwhelmed by Si Chen's raw power. Si Chen's glowing fist remains poised, while Si Chen's sister continues to listen peacefully to the music, the lyrics describing, "Ruins disguised as a problem, crumbling walls split reveal a blue peak." Si Chen's gaze is fierce, his power surging as the song continues, "No one left perform with laughter and scorn or only in my shadow." One of the thugs screams in terror, his face a mask of pure fear as he witnesses Si Chen's overwhelming strength. Si Chen's golden aura flares as he unleashes a flurry of devastating strikes, each impact echoing with brutal force, sending multiple attackers flying. With a swift, airborne kick, Si Chen launches another assailant across the street, the force shattering nearby debris. A massive, glowing fist descends, an overwhelming strike aimed at the cowering thug below with a resounding thwack. With a surge of crackling energy, Si Chen seizes his opponent's arm, a silent declaration of his intent. "I reach my hand out towards fate." Si Chen's glowing fist connects with sickening force, the sound of bone cracking echoing as his opponent's arm gives way. The thug's scream is cut short, his face a mask of utter agony as he barely manages to utter my a dash. Meanwhile, Chen feels a familiar sensation. At last, I can hear that faint echo again. Before he can finish, Chen's relentless assault continues, a powerful blow striking the thug's face, silencing his cry of arm dash. Chen unleashes a devastating shockwave, the explosive force sending 2 more thugs hurtling through the air in a violent boom. One thug stares in utter disbelief, exclaiming, "Holy shit, what the hell is up with that guy?" Chen's golden aura intensifies, crackling with raw power as he gathers his strength, a silent crack of energy surrounding him. Chen continues his relentless assault, a golden-hued punch connecting squarely with a thug's jaw, while another prepares to strike with a bat. His glowing fist smashes into another assailant, sending blood spraying as the thug collapses under the sheer force, the man with the bat still watching. A new challenger, wielding a knife and dressed in a vibrant shirt, stands menacingly over the fallen, glowing form of Chen. Chen's golden, blood-stained hand clenches, a testament to the brutal fight he's endured and the power he still holds. The assassin, now wreathed in a chilling blue aura, grins fiercely, proclaiming, I'm the strongest cloud-type assassin." "You," the enraged assassin roars, gripping his knife tightly. "You motherfucker, you think I can't beat you?" Chen, eyes blazing with golden energy, delivers a brutal downward punch, sending the assassin's head crashing to the ground, his knife now uselessly discarded. The assassin is sent hurtling backward with incredible force, his body a blur as he's launched by Chen's devastating attack in a loud thwomp. Chen, still radiating golden power, follows up with another lightning-fast punch, connecting with the airborne assassin in a sharp snah. The assassin's face contorts in a grimace of pure agony and terror as Chen's golden energy impacts him directly. Standing triumphantly over the bloodied and defeated assassin, Chen prepares to deliver a final, decisive wham with his glowing fist. The assassin is launched far into the distance, a mere speck against the backdrop, propelled by Chen's overwhelming power in a swift swish. With a resounding doom, the assassin crashes violently into the ground, leaving a crater in his wake. Cold voice echoes through the silence, stating, "I clearly told you to never bother me ever again." Chen stands over the unconscious assassin, holding the discarded knife, a silent warning to anyone who dares to cross him. Chen's eyes glow with an ominous red light as he stares down at his defeated foe, a chilling question escaping his lips. "What part of that did you not understand?" Unidentified protagonist, his back to us, grips a knife menacingly as he stands over a defeated foe, reiterating his chilling command, "I clearly told you to never bother me ever again." Close-up reveals unidentified protagonist's eyes, now glowing with an ominous red light as a crackling sound echoes, emphasizing his raw power. He stares down at his defeated foe, repeating the chilling question with deadly intent. "What part of that did you not understand?" The defeated foe, bloodied and broken, whimpers, realizing the true extent of unidentified protagonist's power. His legs are numb, and he internally apologizes, acknowledging unidentified protagonist is far from a deer rank. Unidentified protagonist presses the knife closer to the foe's throat, his eyes burning as he delivers a stark warning, "Shut up, if you make a sound, I'll kill you." The foe's face contorts in pure terror, tears streaming down as he recognizes the genuine killing intent in unidentified protagonist's eyes, knowing this is no empty threat. Unidentified protagonist's silhouette is engulfed in a crimson aura, his glowing red eyes radiating an intense killing intent that makes the foe question how a mere student could possess such a terrifying presence. With a chilling gaze, unidentified protagonist warns his victim to heed his words carefully, emphasizing the gravity of his upcoming statement. He declares that the thugs can rot for all he cares, but if they ever dare to bother him or, more critically, harm his sister, there will be dire consequences. The foe's terrified face is shown again as unidentified protagonist continues his threat, a knife slicing across, demonstrating his willingness to act. Unidentified protagonist's eyes, still glowing red, narrow with absolute resolve as he promises to make them disappear permanently, without a second thought. The defeated foe, covered in blood and tears, can only nod in terrified submission, accepting his fate and unidentified protagonist's chilling ultimatum. Unidentified protagonist's silhouette walks away, leaving the broken foe slumped against a cracked wall, the discarded knife a stark reminder of the brutal encounter. Elsewhere, Chen's sister listens to music, a tear rolling down her cheek as she wonders why the song makes her so sad. She reflects on unidentified protagonist, noting it's only been a few days, yet he seems to have endured so much. She questions his loneliness, reminding him she's always been by his side. Suddenly, Chen's sister cries out, surprised, asking unidentified protagonist if he's taking a joke too far, a tear still clinging to her eye. Unidentified protagonist stands with a gentle smile, holding a small red gift box, ready to present it. Chen's sister stands patiently, looking to the side, perhaps anticipating the surprise. Unidentified protagonist smiles warmly, revealing a shimmering golden pen inside the red box as he presents it to her, calling her Yunny. Chen's sister gasps in delight and surprise, recognizing it as a magic holographic pen, the latest style from Dreg Company. Holding the expensive pen, Chen's sister questions unidentified protagonist, asking where he got the money for an item costing over 10 grand. With a sad expression and a tear in her eye, Chen's sister suggests returning the pen, claiming it's too expensive and she doesn't like it that much despite her earlier excitement. A close-up reveals unidentified protagonist's clenched, blood-stained fist, reflecting a silent vow as he declares, "In this life." The alley scene reappears, with defeated thugs lying injured, one weakly calling for an ambulance. Unidentified protagonist's voice echoes, vowing to protect everything about his sister. A hand deftly wields the holographic pen, drawing vibrant, glowing pink energy in the air, bringing imagination to life. Chen's sister beams with joy, exclaiming in disbelief that the pen truly works, drawing holographic fish in the air. Unidentified protagonist contentedly enjoys a bowl of noodles, telling his sister, "As long as you like it, Yunny." He thinks to himself that Yunny's fried egg noodles are truly the best. Chen's sister looks down, holding a small, wrapped snack, a thoughtful expression on her face, still pondering unidentified protagonist's words. Unidentified protagonist beams contentedly, patting his full stomach after finishing his bowl of noodles. Chen's sister stands beside the table, dropping a bombshell. She's already paid the year's rent in full, leaving unidentified protagonist utterly bewildered. Unidentified protagonist scratches his nose nervously, attempting to explain that he started a small business with a friend and we made some money, so. Chen's sister narrows her eyes, accusing unidentified protagonist of being way too sus and keeping secrets, clearly seeing through his flimsy lie. A sudden shift in her gaze, Chen's sister's red eyes gleam with a silent, introspective but unidentified protagonist's radiant smile fills the frame as Chen's sister's thoughts soften, acknowledging the rare happiness she sees in her brother. Chen's sister's hand gently rests on unidentified protagonist's shoulder, a silent gesture of affection and unwavering support. Leaning into unidentified protagonist, Chen's sister earnestly tells him not to push himself too hard, no matter what challenges arise. Unidentified protagonist simply offers a soft, reassuring his expression conveying understanding and gratitude. The scene shifts dramatically to a serene underwater world as a voice reports that Chen D sustained severe injuries, over 60% of his body was fractured. A lone figure stands before a massive aquarium, listening as the voice continues, stating that even the top doctors wouldn't be able to heal him in just 1 month. Zhang Jian's face fills the screen, his thoughts on the recent conflict. "I can't believe he actually picked a fight with Chen. Still though, to be beaten to this state." Lan Yue, seated calmly, observes that the injured party will have to miss the graduation exam. Zhang Jian dismisses the consequence with a cold, determined profile, declaring it doesn't matter as his team is better off without any deadweights. The distinct sound of step echoes as Zhang Jian walks away, leaving a sense of lingering tension. Gong Xian, the National Awakener University Director of Career Services, observes the situation, a hint of frustration in his voice. "It's that Chen again." The underwater scene returns as a voice confirms the internal ranking assessment results. He is indeed C rank. Gong Xian reveals the shocking truth to Zhang Jian. Chen is the only student in the entire school with a higher rank than yours. Zhang Jian's eyes flash with surprise and intensity, a silent ellipsis indicating his shock at Chen's true ranking. Gong Xian outlines the high stakes of the upcoming graduation examination, with Zhang Jian's father and the vice chairman of the alliance attending, urging him to not allow anyone else to steal your limelight. Gong Xian adds a grim contingency, hinting at a plan should all else fail. Lan Yue reacts, her expression concerned, acknowledging the gravity of the situation if that were to happen. Zhang Jian confidently dismisses Gong Xian's worries, asserting, "Sir, you're overthinking things." With a knowing smirk, Zhang Jian challenges, "Do you really think I used my full abilities during the ranking assessment?" An ominous underwater visual of a small fish being devoured by a shark underscores Zhang Jian's declaration that on the day of the combat examination he will be sure to make everyone know. Zhang Jian's intense gaze pierces through the screen, a shark's head looming in the foreground as he asserts who the strongest is. Unidentified protagonist stands shirtless under a heavy downpour, his muscular back a testament to his rigorous training. Exhausted but resolute, unidentified protagonist reflects on completing his 100-kilometer run with weights, affirming that with the money issue resolved, he can now start my real plan after graduation. The reward for his arduous training was staggering, a grand prize of 1 million, signifying not just wealth but the first step towards his true objective. Xiaoli, a man of shrewd calculations, knew he had to honor his agreement with Qingji, understanding that their alliance would be crucial for his future endeavors. Chen lay in quiet contemplation, the weight of an impending examination pressing down. Less than a month remained to prepare. His thoughts turned to the system, knowing he needed to level up a couple more times to stand a chance. The system responded, a start notification flashing. Finished. Glutton system initiate. A colossal, jagged pillar, wreathed in dark energy, pierced a blood-red sky, hinting at an ancient, malevolent presence. Tendrils of corrupted energy snaked across the crimson expanse, a palpable sense of dread permeating the air. Chen stood at the base of the monstrous spire, its oppressive aura washing over him as he prepared to ascend. A system window materialized, displaying Chen's current status, level 10, class, Gravehound King, his form radiating an eerie blue luminescence. His rank was also revealed, a solid C class, placing him firmly in the mid-tier of awakened beings. Yet another class option appeared, showcasing Chen as a level 10 Abyssal Fiend, his form now wreathed in crackling purple lightning and a monstrous claw. The Abyssal Fiend class offered formidable skills: Mass Skeletal Void to absorb strength from fallen foes, and Triple Calamity to manipulate gravity itself. Lightning Assassin class also presented itself, promising Godspeed for unparalleled movement and Electro Blade for paralyzing critical strikes. A shimmering Time Rift Key of SSS rank materialized, described as the sole artifact capable of unlocking the formidable gates of the Tower of Darkness. With a deep rumble, the SSS rank key slotted into place and the ancient gates began to part, revealing a blinding vortex of purple-pink energy. Chen stood at the threshold of the colossal portal, the swirling purple abyss beckoning him into the unknown depths of the Tower of Darkness. With a violent whoosh, Chen was engulfed by the vortex, his form momentarily distorted by the raw, surging energy of the rift. Chen found himself in an unfamiliar realm, his eyes wide with surprise as he began to process his new surroundings. He had arrived in the fallen star wastes, a desolate cosmic expanse under a dazzling purple nebula where ancient alien flora dotted the stark white landscape. A sudden, crushing force bore down on Chen, his expression twisting in surprise and strain as he struggled against an unseen pressure. With a pained Chen collapsed to his hands and knees, the ground beneath him cracking under an immense, unnatural gravity. Gasping for breath, Chen realized the terrifying truth: the gravity in this realm was insanely exaggerated, pushing his body to its absolute limits. He understood the grim reality: to escape, he had to eliminate this floor's boss. Yet, in this oppressive environment, he could unleash a mere 30% of his full strength. Suddenly, a colossal, glowing purple foot descended from above, shaking the very ground and signaling the arrival of a formidable foe. Ferocious Phantom Lion, a B-rank Star Warrior, roared into existence, its cosmic purple form crackling with energy, ready to pounce. Gasping for air, Chen initiated a class switch, his hand crackling with yellow lightning as the system displayed loading. Switching class. The system confirmed class switch complete, revealing Chen's new specialization, level 10 Lightning Assassin. Empowered as a Lightning Assassin, Chen's stats surged, strength doubled to 300, speed tripled to 450, while stamina, luck, E.power, and M.power all stood at 150. Now fully transformed, Chen, a blur of crackling yellow lightning, lunged forward, his electroblade poised to strike the airborne Phantom Lion, initiating a deadly dance. Chen's electroblade, crackling with yellow lightning, clashes violently with the charging Phantom Lion, initiating a deadly dance. The electroblade glows with lethal intent, ready to deliver a devastating blow as the character prepares to slash. Yet, a sudden, immense pressure crushes Chen, his body feeling impossibly heavy as he grunts, "My body feels so heavy." Despite the direct hit, a system notification flashes: "Miss, vital hit failed, paralysis failed." The Phantom Lion's defenses prove formidable. A surge of shock and realization crosses Chen's glowing eye as he processes the failed attack. The Phantom Lion retaliates, slamming down with immense force, pinning Chen beneath its powerful, purple energy-infused attack. Chen's internal monologue reveals a critical weakness: the assassin class has lost almost all its advantages against such a foe. But then, another thought cuts through the despair, observing his opponent: "But this guy is moving with ease." A sudden surge of raw power erupts as Chen shifts, his body wreathed in crackling pink and blue energy, ready to strike a furious punch. The system confirms his new state, LV Tenisai Chen, Purgatory Rakshasa. His eyes burn with renewed determination as he begins to speak. Declares his intent, his voice resonating with newfound power: "Then I'll switch to Purgatory Rakshasa." His new class, Purgatory Rakshasa, is revealed with the Star Warrior stats: strength at 450 with a x3 multiplier, stamina at 600 with a x4 multiplier, and speed, luck, E.power, and M.power all at 150. His abilities include Myriad Bones to Void, which absorbs stamina and power from corpses, and Triphase Gravity Calamity, allowing manipulation of gravity in light, heavy, and super heavy forms. He thinks close quarters combat must rely on the warrior class with its high strength and stamina bonuses as he unleashes a powerful, energy-infused punch. Chen's transformed arm becomes a blur of motion, carving a blazing arc of pink and blue energy through the air. With a fierce roar, Chen, in his Purgatory Rakshasa form, brings a gravity-infused punch down onto the Phantom Lion, shattering the ground beneath him. Focuses his power, commanding increased downward impact force to the limit. The gravity intensifies to a staggering 200%. The gravity amplifies further, the sheer force now reaching an incredible 400%. And then, with a final surge of power, a staggering 600% gravity is brought to bear. Chen's thoughts race, realizing the full potential of his new environment in this environment that already has. "The power of my punch is amplified by a full 60 times, he roars, unleashing his full, devastating might. The Phantom Lion lets out a pained roar, its face contorted in agony as Chen's amplified attack connects. A focused beam of gravity slams down, utterly crushing the Phantom Lion into the fractured earth. A desperate cry escapes it. A cataclysmic explosion of white and pink energy erupts from the impact point, sending debris flying in all directions. The system confirms the devastating attack: Star Warrior, Triphase Gravity Calamity, Super Heavy Mode activated. In the aftermath, a hand, bruised and weary, rests on the shattered ground, a testament to the brutal battle. Chen lies spent in the massive crater, the Phantom Lion defeated. The system announces, obtained Phantom Lion Bone X1, EXP plus 12,000. He exhales, huff. A triumphant notification flashes, confirming his progress. Level up, LV11 SI Chen. Breathing heavily, Chen's red eyes betray his exhaustion, yet his body now appears more defined and powerful. He lets out another huff. A system prompt clarifies the mechanics of his power. Every star on the card represents a multiplier of the stats. His fully evolved Star Warrior card now displays 5 stars across all stats, signifying an immense power boost amplified by a total of X11. Beyond the initial evolution, the system reveals another potent form, the Lightning Assassin card. This class also boasts 5 stars across all core stats, strength, speed, stamina, luck, and E.power, with its own formidable X9 multiplier. This array of potential classes highlights the diverse paths available, with the Lightning Assassin card prominently displayed alongside other powerful classifications. As Chen processes these revelations, a critical detail surfaces in his mind, prompting a new line of thought. Speaking of which, he questions why the system failed to display the devourable mark on the defeated entity, a crucial indicator for his progression. His gaze sweeps across the desolate, moonlight landscape, contemplating the next objective, the elusive gate to the next floor. A colossal, jagged cliff face dominates the horizon, an imposing natural barrier that seems to stretch endlessly. Chen's eyes widen with a dawning realization, a chilling thought forming in his mind. Could it be? He looks up in shock as a swirling black void portal, wreathed in white energy, tears open in the starry sky above him. Within the dark depths of the void, multiple pairs of glowing white eyes emerge, hinting at unseen terrors lurking within. Chen's face contorts with a grim realization, his eyes glowing with renewed intensity as he questions, could it be that the real Lord hasn't appeared yet? From the swirling abyss, ethereal, cosmic panther-like creatures descend, their forms shimmering with starlight and dark energy. Chen scrambles on a steep incline, looking back at the portal and the descending creatures, an incredulous thought echoing, was just a small mob? Engaging in brutal combat, Chen takes a savage blow from a shadowy panther, blood splattering, yet his fist ignites with potent purple energy for a counterattack. Overwhelmed by multiple shadowy assailants, Chen is viciously slashed and pierced, his body riddled with wounds amidst a chaotic eruption of blood and dark energy. An ominous message reverberates through the crimson-tinged dimension, once the door opens, what welcomes you will be endless pain. Shadowy panther roars with savage fury, its maw glowing with chilling blue energy, a stark visual of the torment that awaits. Chen's face is a mask of blood and raw agony, his wide, bloodshot eyes burning with a desperate, primal rage. A powerful, urgent command echoes, cutting through the pain, you must conquer everything. Chen groans, his body drenched in sweat as he struggles to sit up, the recent ordeal leaving him utterly exhausted. Catches his breath, letting out a weary huff as he takes in the sterile surroundings of a recovery room, another patient blurred in the foreground. With a hardened expression, Chen acknowledges the daunting path ahead, understanding that this lonely and arduous road of purgatory. He concludes his internal resolve, a stark realization that his trials and tribulations has only just begun. The scene shifts to a vast auditorium where students gather for the class of 2157 National Awakener University Graduation Combat Assessment Team Formation Ceremony. At the front, officials oversee the ceremony, including a man with a mustache and ponytail drinking from a cup, his position as Director of Employment Office displayed holographically. Students whisper excitedly, one asking, "Hey, did you guys hear?" Followed by the revelation, they say for this graduation combat assessment, the higher-ups of the Guild Alliance are coming to watch live. The discussion continues as another student exclaims, no wonder the rules for this year's assessment have changed, with a third student affirming, yeah. Chen listens intently as the student elaborates on the new regulations. In previous years, there were no minimum requirements for team size or rank, but this time, every team must have at least 5 members. The official, a stern man with a prominent mustache, clears his throat to command the attention of the entire assembly. He announces that the rank information for all students in this batch has already been dispatched to everyone's wristbands. The official then urges everyone to check their wristbands and complete their team formations as soon as possible. Students immediately activate their wristbands, their faces reflecting a mix of anticipation and anxiety as holographic displays project their individual ranks. The holographic display reveals a comprehensive list of names, ranks, and current team statuses, with D-rank students like Gongting listed as high tier. A student with glasses points at his wristband display, a jolt of surprise evident on his face as he processes the revealed information. List continues, revealing several E-rank students, including Chen, who is notably listed as a low E-rank. Xiaoli exclaims in disbelief, questioning how Chen could possibly be a mere low E-rank, his eyes wide with shock. Whispers ripple through the room as other students recall Chen's previous C-rank, utterly bewildered by his sudden drop to low E-rank. A male student muses, confirming his suspicion that the demon heart incident from before must have truly broken Chen. A mocking thought arises, with such a low rank, no one would dare to team up with Chen now. Yet, his red eyes hold a determined gaze. After echoes as students discuss the critical nature of the graduation assessment, scoffing at the idea of carrying low-level deadweights and recalling Chen's past refusal of Gongting's invitation. The student smugly concludes that Chen must be regretting his past refusal of Gongting's offer to death now. Gongting listens impassively, a subtle smirk playing on his lips as the chatter about Chen's predicament continues around him. The classroom remains abuzz with activity, the official standing prominently at the front as students continue to process the new regulations and ranks. The official's thoughts betray a deeper agenda, lamenting his disappointing nephew and wondering when he will truly grasp the art of leveraging power in human nature. With glowing eyes, the official's internal monologue turns menacing, vowing to teach his nephew a harsh lesson where his opponents won't even qualify to compete. The sound of frantic footsteps fills the air as students clamor, desperately calling out for President Gongting. A desperate student cries out, reaching forward and pleading with Gongting to allow him to join his team. Another student enthusiastically shouts, practically begging Gongting to pick him for his team, hands gesturing wildly. The frantic pleas escalate, with students promising not to be a burden, highlighting their unique classes, and even offering complete subservience to Gongting. A masked student cuts through the noise, sternly ordering the clamoring crowd to quiet down and get back. The masked student clarifies, stating that Gongting's team can only accommodate one more member at most as the crowd continues to push forward. Five fists meet in a determined circle, their glowing wristbands confirming the successful formation of a new team, sealed by the system. The system confirms the successful formation of a new team. A green team formed notification appears above the 5 individuals whose fists meet in a determined circle, their glowing wristbands sealing the pact. However, for another group, the struggle to form a complete team continues. Unidentified protagonist laments that despite repeated attempts, no one is willing to join their ranks. With only 4 members, the group faces a critical dilemma. The thought of being unable to participate in the upcoming graduation assessment hangs heavy, a potential disaster for their future. Unidentified protagonist finds the situation bewildering, questioning how Chen, despite his potential, holds the absolute lowest rank. The strict assessment rules demand a minimum of 5 members, including at least 1 high rank, making their current predicament dire. Zhang Jian, with a stern expression, voices his suspicion that their dorm is being deliberately targeted, implying an unfair disadvantage. Gongting's eye narrows with resolve as he internally acknowledges the critical importance of the graduation combat assessment. It is the sole opportunity for individuals to prove their worth. A stark visual metaphor illustrates the current power dynamic. A scale weighs 5 human figures against 3 menacing red demon masks, suggesting a precarious balance of power. Balance shifts dramatically as the number of demon masks doubles to 6, a larger upward arrow on their side indicating their escalating threat and overwhelming power. The narrator explains the harsh reality. Even if they can't secure a spot in a powerful team like Gongting's, their situation is still dire. The grim truth is laid bare. No one is willing to group up with low-ranked individuals, leaving them isolated and struggling to meet the assessment requirements. A system notification reveals the shocking truth. The 3 lowest E ranks in the entire school, including Chen, Ma Long, and Xiang Yu, are all concentrated within their single dorm. One of the frustrated students, realizing the depth of their predicament, gasps in surprise as the full weight of their low-rank status settles in. A member of a rival team, gesturing confidently, calls out to an unaligned student, inviting them to join their nearly complete team, then mockingly asks if they'd truly consider grouping with the 3 low-rank trash from the struggling dorm. Zhang Jian's eye glows with a fierce red intensity as the weight of the situation and the taunts of their rivals press down on him. He knows that if this goes on, their chances are slim. A mid-year rank student, shoulders slumped, looks down in despair, feeling the crushing burden of their dorm's reputation and the inability to form a viable team. The student, with a solemn expression, softly utters a single word, sorry, indicating his refusal to abandon his current dorm mates despite the tempting offer. Unidentified protagonist, standing firm with his companions, declares their unwavering loyalty. They had long ago made a pact to team up, a bond they would not break. The stout man from the rival group scoffs dismissively, claiming they only wanted the student to fill numbers anyway, and then sneers that rejecting them shows a lack of foresight. A voice from the other side retorts, warning them not to look down on others. A system interface flashes, displaying the rank / team status, revealing that most teams are already formed and consist of high-tier D ranks, with only a few slots remaining open. Unidentified protagonist frantically points at the screen, exclaiming that almost all teams are formed and high E-rank individuals are now scarce. He stresses their desperate situation. They only need one more person, yet no one is willing to join them. Unidentified protagonist stands with a grim expression, his eyes glowing with an intense blue light as he processes the gravity of their predicament. The scene shifts to Gong Xian, the director of the employment office, a C-rank individual. The narrator observes his surname is the same as Gong Ting's, suggesting a familial connection to the powerful Gong family. Chen realizes the sinister truth. Gong Xian deliberately tampered with his true rank to prevent others from teaming up with him. He wonders if Gong Xian views him as a threat to Gong Ting. As crackling yellow lightning erupts around Chen, a system notification appears, indicating a critical process loading. Switching class. With a surge of brilliant yellow lightning, the class switch complete notification flashes. Chen emerges transformed, his hair spiky and eyes glowing yellow, radiating immense power, as unidentified protagonist looks on in stunned disbelief. Enveloped in a furious golden lightning aura, Chen declares with chilling resolve that there is no longer any need for him to hold back or be polite. Bathed in the golden glow emanating from Chen, Gongxian and another individual recoil in shock, their expressions of surprise highlighted by exclamation marks above their heads. Two of Chen's dorm mates stare in utter disbelief, one of them shouting in alarm and questioning what Chen is doing as his power manifests. Chen stands at the center of the room, a beacon of crackling golden lightning, while surrounding students gape in awe and fear. Thoughts race through their minds. What is that guy Chen doing? And don't tell me he's planning to. A system prompt appears, explaining that these assessments are designed to facilitate students' mastery of their classes and combat. Chen's audacious display, while overtly provocative, is undeniably the most direct way to showcase one's true strength to all. Yet, when confronted with such a sudden challenge, many would instinctively recoil, choosing to refuse the invitation. The students around them flinch, their faces etched with a mixture of awe and apprehension as the golden lightning continues to crackle. But one individual, Gong Ting, stands apart. He will most certainly not refuse. Gong Ting's gaze is sharp, his resolve hardening as the golden light reflects in his eyes. A subtle smirk plays on Gong Ting's lips, a silent acceptance of the impending challenge. Chen meets the challenge with an unwavering stare, his golden eyes burning with potent energy as lightning dances around his form. From the front of the room, Xiaoli calls out, asking Chen if his team is still in need of members. The unidentified protagonist, observing the scene, internally declares his own intention to participate in the school's graduation assessment this year. He considers his own strength, recalling that he achieved D rank back in middle school, and muses that joining Chen's team shouldn't prove to be a burden. Suddenly, Lan Yue makes her presence known, stunning the surrounding students. One exclaims in disbelief, wondering when Chen managed to connect with Lan Yue, while another simply shouts awesome. A student, wide-eyed with shock, turns to Jiang Jian, stammering to ask what Lan Yue could possibly be saying. The elderly advisor watches the commotion with a stern expression, his presence adding a layer of gravitas to the chaotic classroom. Lan Yue moves with purposeful steps, her confident stride commanding attention as she navigates the room. As Lan Yue continues her confident walk, an incredulous thought echoes through the room. Is she also planning to participate in the school's graduation assessment? The elderly advisor's brow furrows in deep concern, his thoughts racing as he questions why Lan Yue would choose to assist outsiders in this assessment. Grim determination sets on the elderly advisor's face, his mustache twitching slightly with suppressed emotion. Suddenly, Director Gongxian materializes with a burst of purple energy, startling the two scientists. One cries out in shock, asking the principal when he arrived, while the other affirms Director Gongxian is right. The elderly advisor's eyes widen in disbelief, his mind reeling as he wonders why the principal has also chosen to make an appearance. Director Gongxian addresses Lan Yue directly, reminding her that she is only at their school for a temporary exchange, and questions her reason for joining the assessment. Chen observes the principal, a flicker of confusion in his eyes as he recalls the principal's known warrior class, yet wonders how he could possess teleportation abilities. Director Gongxian continues, asserting that Lan Yue's participation would compromise the fairness of the assessment, emphasizing that the graduation assessment's true meaning lies in the display of genuine strength. A bead of sweat trickles down Chen's temple as his eye glows with an intense cyan light, signaling a moment of profound internal pressure or awakening. Unfolding events leave everyone with a profound question mark hanging in the air, as the true implications of these sudden interventions remain unclear. Amidst the lingering uncertainty, a figure shrouded in static offers a cryptic, knowing smile, hinting at deeper machinations at play. The elderly advisor stands in thoughtful contemplation, his gaze distant, as if weighing the unseen forces that shape their world. An impassioned voice declares the principal's undeniable correctness, asserting that their institution's prestige stems directly from an unwavering adherence to established rules. The grand mission of the National Awakener University is laid bare to forge superclass awakeners, providing them the ultimate stage to showcase their power and guarantee a steady flow of talent into the world. Jiang Jian stresses the profound importance of the graduation combat assessment, a decades-old tradition that serves as a pivotal turning point in every student's journey. The elderly advisor's gaze sharpens, a silent intensity reflecting his deep engagement with the unfolding discussion. With a direct challenge, the elderly advisor questions how the school can truly shoulder such an immense responsibility. A wave of panic washes over the man as he internally questions if the old thing is subtly targeting him, fearing his secret tampering has been exposed. The unidentified protagonist watches, his mind racing as he speculates that the elaborate display involving Lan Yue today is orchestrated for the benefit of a specific individual. With a dismissive humph, the man decides to let it go, concluding there's no point in clashing with the old thing any further. A silent voice assures Gong Ting that the path has been cleared. All high-ranked students have formed their teams, leaving Chen to compete with 3 trash teammates, guaranteeing Gong Ting an easy victory. The man with the mustache quickly agrees with the principal, acknowledging the employment office's oversight in failing to consider how the team formation mode could isolate some individuals. The man announces a crucial amendment. Teams with fewer than 5 members or those lacking a high E-rank member are now also permitted to submit their registration. With a resounding clash, 4 fists meet, signifying a team successfully formed, the green bands on their wrists glowing with renewed purpose. Exultant cheers erupt as the team realizes they can now participate in the assessment, immediately designating Chen as their captain. The elderly advisor observes Lan Yue, remarking that her interest in Chen appears far more intense than he had initially anticipated. Stark contrast is drawn. On one side stands the strongest team in school history, commanded by Gongting, while on the other, Chen leads his 3 lowest-ranked roommates. The elderly advisor regards the scene with a subtle, knowing smile, his expression hinting at deeper understanding. The elderly advisor voices his curiosity, wondering which Devil's Cave the teams will select and what their final scores will ultimately be. The lean scientist, holding a tablet, issues the command to proceed with the crucial cave selection phase. The lean scientist's eye widens in sudden surprise, a silent gasp of shock visible in his expression. Student exclaims in disbelief, realizing Chen's team has already made their selection for a Devil's Cave, a decision that clearly shocks those around him. Another student gasps in utter astonishment, the words "holy shit" escaping him as he struggles to comprehend the shocking choice Chen's team has made. In a wave of desperate panic, students plead for Chen to retract his choice, one even crying out to "my ancestor Chen, oh God," in utter terror. Amidst the chaos, Chen's glowing red eyes remain perfectly calm, his silent resolve a stark contrast to the surrounding panic. The red glow of countless monstrous eyes pierces through the darkness, a horrifying legion emerging from the depths. A grotesque fiend with a long tongue leers directly at the viewer, its gaze filled with malice. System lays out the challenge, points for dungeon completion, bonus for slaying the boss, and a premium for speed, each objective pushing participants to their limits. The stakes are clear. An F-rank dungeon offers a maximum of 75 points, but an E-rank dungeon promises a perfect 100, a tempting reward for higher risk. A visual breakdown confirms the bonus. Achieving all objectives in an E-rank dungeon doubles the potential, applying a 2x score multiplier. Victory means more than just points. The team with the highest score will earn a coveted invitation from the prestigious Imperial Guild, a life-changing opportunity. Beyond guild offers, individual glory awaits. The class MVP, chosen by both peers and instructors, will receive special recognition within the academy. The academic buzz reminds everyone of the graduation exam's formidable 90-point score, a benchmark set by the current Imperial Guild leader. The unidentified protagonist remarks on the E-rank dungeon's toughness, while his peer emphasizes the need for at least 3 D-rank members to even have a prayer. Amidst the competitive atmosphere, Gongting's team stands out. Whispers circulate that they might just be capable of challenging the school's all-time high record score. Suddenly, the unidentified protagonist reacts with surprise, exclaiming, "Huh? A team already picked out their dungeon? That was fast." The unidentified protagonist's eyes widen behind his glasses in utter disbelief, gasping, "Holy crap, it was Chen's team." The screen confirms the shocking truth. Chen has chosen the D-rank dungeon, a difficulty that leaves onlookers stunned, exclaiming, "He actually chose that one?" A collective gasp echoes through the room as the realization sinks in, a D-rank dungeon? The unidentified protagonist stares in disbelief, exclaiming that no one's ever beat a D-rank dungeon before. His companion questions if Chen simply fucked up and pressed the wrong button. The unidentified protagonist, aghast, confronts Chen, demanding, "Chen, have you lost your mind? Do you have any idea what you've just picked?" A tense moment hangs in the air as hands are shown, one equipped with a glowing selection device, symbolizing the irreversible choice. One of Chen's teammates collapses to the floor, utterly distraught, crying out, "You psycho! You psycho! How did I wind up on the same team with a psycho like you?" A system notification flashes, confirming the captain has selected a D-rank dungeon and asking for agreement. One teammate's internal thoughts betray their panic, wondering, is it too late to quit the team? The unidentified protagonist, clearly agitated, presses Chen, demanding, "Dude, have you fully thought this through? This is a D-rank dungeon we're talking about. A D-ranking means..." Chen, with an unyielding gaze, calmly confirms, I've thought this through," his resolve unshaken by the mounting pressure. A system notification blares, "Dying submitted." Chen's D-rank dungeon selection is now confirmed, pending his team members' acceptance. The purple-haired evaluator's profile lights up with a green checkmark, indicating that all team members for his D-rank dungeon selection have confirmed. A new system notification announces, "Dying, all team members have accepted. Team Gongting has submitted successfully." The classroom erupts in renewed shock and excitement as students exclaim, "Holy shit, another D-rank! Another team chose the D-rank dungeon!" Gongting, surrounded by his confident team, smirks, declaring, "This year's going to be entertaining." 2 of Gongting's female teammates exchange smug glances, one commenting, "Hey, what's with that team trying to act all tough?" The other adds, "They're not even thinking about their own abilities." Their laughter fills the air as they scoff at the D-rank challenge, one declaring, "It's a D-rank dungeon. There's no way his teammates will even agree to join. They should just switch teams already while they still have the chance to quit." Another confidently predicts, "The team that was just barely put together is already gonna fall apart." The unidentified protagonist looks on with deep concern, his gaze fixed on Chen, whose silent resolve leaves him pondering the unpredictable path ahead. The unidentified protagonist observes Chen, noting the profound determination in his expression. He wonders when Chen developed such a powerful aura, recalling a time when Chen relied heavily on him throughout their school years. A silent ellipsis hangs in the air, reflecting the unidentified protagonist's deep contemplation over Chen's sudden transformation. With a resolute expression, the unidentified protagonist confirms his participation. He declares his unwavering loyalty, stating that after 4 years together, he will stand by Chen until the very end. Zhang Jian, with a firm stance, also activates his confirmation. He boldly states that the rank of the dungeon, whether D rank or F rank, holds no significance for him, as he's already considered it a last-place scenario. Zhang Jian clenches his jaw, a bead of sweat tracing his temple, revealing the intense resolve beneath his seemingly nonchalant words. Zhang Jian, utterly bewildered, shouts in disbelief. He questions how he could possibly be the last to confirm, asserting his position as the top dog in their dorm. Zhang Jian's hand slams down, confirming his entry as he enthusiastically declares his participation, ready to face whatever comes next. Xiao Li, with a fierce grin, rallies the group, reminding them they are all graduating soon. He urges them to go balls to the wall, embracing the challenge with full intensity. The system interface flashes green, confirming the selection of a D-rank dungeon. All team members have officially confirmed their participation, sealing their fate with a distinct system chime. Chen looks at his assembled teammates, a moment of quiet gratitude passing between them before he addresses them. Chen, with a heavy expression, apologizes to his team. He reveals his true motivation. He chose the D-rank dungeon specifically to secure the MVP title. A confident smirk plays on Chen's lips as he then rallies his team, urging them to aim for the top score together. In a vast, red-lit auditorium, Chen stands on a lower tier, his gaze locked on Gongting, who confidently overlooks him from above, a chilling laugh echoing through the empty space. Chen maintains his serious demeanor, while the unidentified protagonist peeks out from behind him, a hint of worry etched on his face as the tension in the room escalates. Gongting's eyes blaze with an intense orange light, a dark aura crackling around him as he declares with absolute certainty that only one student can hold the title of the strongest in the entire school. Lan Yue observes the scene with a subtle smile, noting that this is the first time she has witnessed such an intense expression from Gongting. The elderly advisor watches as Chen and his team advance, understanding that the brewing rivalry between Chen and Gongting is now finally out in the open. Lean scientist, a faint smile gracing his lips, remarks on the incredible fearlessness of today's youth, observing their bold decisions. Lan Yue expresses her concern, believing Chen's choice of a D-rank dungeon is overly confident, given the inherent dangers. Lan Yue emphasizes her point, stating that even if Chen is a C rank, it would still be impossible for him to solo a D-rank dungeon. System display highlights the risk and reward. D-rank dungeons offer a x3 bonus multiplier, allowing for a maximum score of 150 points, but a stark warning flashes below. The elderly advisor points out the critical flaw: the D-rank dungeon's difficulty is several times higher than an E rank. He concludes that given the team's current capabilities, this choice is far from optimal. The elderly advisor maintains a knowing, subtle smile, his expression unreadable as he observes the unfolding events. Purple-haired evaluator comments that it would be impossible for the students to develop the necessary combat capabilities in such a short period, even within a simulation. The scene shifts to a futuristic combat simulation room where multiple students, including those seen earlier, are connected to advanced systems, engaging in intense virtual combat training, with the timer ticking down at 22:45. Yet, outside the virtual realm, the reality of physical training hits hard. Several students collapse on the track, their bodies racked with exhaustion, some retching from the intense regimen, as Chen observes them. Gasping for air, an exhausted student cries out to Chen, questioning why they're forced through this grueling physical ordeal when everyone else is in the elemental power training room, honing their skills in the monster combat simulator. The exhausted student continues his protest, listing the grueling schedule of dodgeball, shuttle runs, sprints, and long-distance runs, questioning why their graduation exam demands such a triathlon-like regimen. With piercing red eyes, Chen declares that at this stage, endless elemental practice and simulation training is pointless, as it remains nothing more than a simulation. Chen emphasizes that when confronting powerful, unfamiliar monsters in a real dungeon and fear overwhelms them, it won't be rote theories that decide their fate. Instead, he asserts, it will be pure, raw instinct that guides them through the terrifying reality of combat, as he visually demonstrates clashing with a monstrous fiend amidst crackling lightning. He reveals the true purpose of their grueling regimen: to train physical endurance, explosive power, and reaction speed, all specifically designed to heighten their raw physical instincts. Chen sternly states that the school's simulation training offers only marginal benefits. The only truly effective training, he insists, comes from entering actual dungeons for genuine battle experience. His eyes burn with frustration as he points out the stark reality: ordinary people lack access to real dungeons. Only those born with status and privilege, who were never truly ordinary, can afford such vital training. Chen describes how these privileged individuals like Gongting seen wielding a blade within a fiery training dungeon use their exclusive access to maintain their position of power indefinitely. Gongting's profile is shown as Chen explains that since birth these elites have already possessed what others spend their entire lives striving for. He asserts that these individuals are born with inherent advantages, already possessing what the rest of them desperately pursue their entire lives yet can only ever hope to attain, a stark contrast to the monstrous challenges they might face. One of the exhausted students throws his hands up in despair, asking what a group of nobodies like them can possibly do against such insurmountable odds. Chen, with renewed resolve in his crimson eyes, declares their path forward. By entering the Imperial Guild, they will shatter that social barrier directly before the eyes of the privileged. He emphasizes that the upcoming graduation exam is their singular opportunity, everyone's only chance, to finally surpass those who have always held the advantage. This exam, he muses internally, will also be his own best chance, his personal crucible, to finally surpass them and prove his worth. He vows to do his absolute best to pour every ounce of his being into fulfilling this promise, not just for himself but for everyone who believes in this shared ambition. His gaze hardens, his red eyes burning with unshakable resolve, a testament to the fierce determination now driving him. The scene shifts dramatically to the Dream Tower, Starfall Barrens, a cosmic battleground where Chen, crackling with golden lightning, leaps into action against multiple ethereal, panther-like creatures. A blinding yellow energy strike erupts from Chen, slamming into one of the phantom panthers with devastating force. Follows up with a fierce physical blow, his fist wreathed in lightning, as purple blood explodes from the creature upon impact. Another powerful strike connects, a burst of raw energy erupting as he delivers a rapid, decisive blow against the formidable foe. Back on the track, Chen pushes himself, running with a weighted backpack while his classmates struggle. 5 more laps. Keep up, he urges, as one student collapses, gasping that he can't go on. The intense combat simulation resumes, with Chen unleashing another lightning-fast yellow energy attack against a charging panther, his focus absolute. Meanwhile, Gongting, in his own high-stakes training, expertly parries and slashes with his glowing blade, deflecting a monstrous attack with precision and power. Back to the brutal physical regimen, Chen endures weighted push-ups, pushing past 100 reps, while his classmates, equally strained, continue their own counts, struggling to keep pace. All that brutal training forged Chen into a weapon, his eyes now burning with an incandescent power as raw energy crackles around him. Clad in a sharp suit, Chen strides through a blazing inferno, a sword of pure flame manifesting in his grasp, ready to cut down any foe. Chen unleashes the full might of his Volt Assassin class, now at level 16, his lightning-infused blade cleaving through monstrous purple beasts, leaving them lifeless in his wake. Blood streaks Chen's face, yet his gaze remains resolute, declaring that the true battle has only just begun. Small escort drone whirs to life, its digital voice announcing its purpose to guide the examinees through their upcoming trial. A student meticulously adjusts their combat glove, the subtle movement hinting at the rigorous challenges ahead. Within the sleek, metallic corridors of the examination facility, a diverse group of students, including the unidentified protagonist, gathers, a mix of anticipation and tension in the air. The unidentified protagonist meticulously tightens his glove, his expression a mask of focused readiness for the impending exam. As a brilliant blue portal flickers to life, a voice booms, announcing the official start of the graduation combat exam, sending a jolt of energy through the assembled students. Outside the academy, a distinguished figure in a pristine white suit makes his way up a grand staircase, hinting at an important arrival. 2 influential figures meet with a firm handshake, one acknowledging the other with a cordial, "Long time no see, President Gong." The man's calm demeanor and sharp gaze are revealed, hinting at a calculating mind behind the polite greeting. Gong Lin, the formidable co-founder of the Imperial Guild and Gong Ting's father, offers a polite apology to the principal for the delay. From a high balcony, students buzz with excitement, recognizing Gong Lin as the founder of the Imperial Guild, with one remarking on his striking appearance. A sleek limousine arrives, drawing more attention as onlookers realize the immense prestige of the guests, noting that even an Imperial Guild founder and the principal came personally to extend an invitation. A figure with distinguished reddish hair, Carl Cavendish, exits the luxurious vehicle, assisted by a silent attendant. Carl Cavendish, the esteemed vice-chairman of the World Guild Alliance, adjusts his cufflink with an air of refined power, his presence commanding attention. Students gasp in disbelief, their faces contorted in shock at the revelation that the vice-chairman of the World Guild Alliance has graced their school with his presence. A student mutters in awe, realizing the rarity of such an encounter, acknowledging that figures of this caliber are rarely seen in person. The narrator emphasizes the immense power of the Guild Alliance, the world's foremost organization, hinting at the life-altering implications if they were to take notice of an individual. As the esteemed guests, including Carl Cavendish and Gong Lin, are ushered inside for the live broadcast of the graduation exam, the narrator underscores the profound impact even a mere connection with the Guild Alliance could have, capable of changing one's entire life in an instant. The exam details are revealed. 23 teams have opted for the relatively safer F-rank layers, while a daring 3 teams have chosen a different path. A multi-screen display showcases the various student teams engaging in their respective combat exams, each facing unique challenges within their chosen layers. Sigrid, the Secretary General of the Guild Alliance, observes the monitors with a hint of surprise, noting that some teams have boldly chosen the more perilous D-rank lairs. Sigrid expresses her concern, pointing out that D-rank lairs are dangerous even for professional guild parties, and questions if the students were adequately warned about the inherent risks. Meanwhile, another official casually asks if someone isn't having a bite. An official reassures Sigrid that all warnings were provided, then elaborates on the students' general weakness, stating that the majority are low E-rankers who struggle even with F-rank mobs due to their lack of real combat experience. The official's explanation continues, detailing how students, despite their A-rank status, still struggle immensely against lair lords, even those of F-rank, due to their limited combat experience. A massive F-rank creature, a salamander-like monster, is shown unleashing a powerful attack, highlighting the danger. Lair lords possess strength far beyond regular mobs of the same rank, forcing students to exert every ounce of their power just to defeat an F-rank lair lord. The scene depicts two combatants wading through turbulent, glowing water, emphasizing the intense struggle. Inside an E-rank lair, the reality of this challenge becomes stark. A distressed woman, a scared man clutching a broken sword, and another student with a bloody nose huddle, clearly overwhelmed, while a monitoring drone hovers above them. The narrator explains the brutal truth: every single mob within an E-rank lair possesses the equivalent strength of an F-rank lair lord. Multiple E-rank creatures, large beetle-like spiders, are seen crawling menacingly, justifying the students' fear. One of the male students, visibly terrified, clutches his broken sword and expresses his disbelief, overwhelmed by the unexpected difficulty of the E-rank lair, admitting it's far beyond anything they had anticipated. In a separate observation room, an official turns to a man named Gong Ting, inquiring about the safety measures in place should a student encounter danger during the exam. Gong Ting, with a calm and reassuring demeanor, responds to the official, emphasizing that students are their most valuable resource and assuring her that safety protocols are in place. The explanation continues, revealing that outside each lair, armed guild personnel are standing by, ready for any emergency. A lone figure stands guard before a glowing portal, signifying their vigilance. The narrator clarifies that if extreme danger is detected within the lair, these guild forces will intervene immediately. Three figures in white coats stand poised before the swirling portal, ready to act. Further safety measures include the examinee's wristbands, which are equipped with a teleportation function. A menacing beetle-like monster with glowing green eyes is shown, underscoring the threats they face. Overwhelmed by fear, the same male student from before screams, frantically pressing his wristband to withdraw from the exam. A stark withdrawn system message flashes across the screen, confirming his exit. Three students are instantly teleported out of the lair, landing in a heap on the ground, surrounded by a red glow. One of them, still reeling from the terrifying experience, lets out a panicked cry. Back in the observation room, a female official remarks on the school's talent, noting the two teams have chosen the higher difficulty D-rank lairs, expressing her anticipation to see their performance. The elderly advisor, with a thoughtful expression, concurs with the official, also expressing his keen interest in witnessing the capabilities of these ambitious students. Meanwhile, a team of 4 students navigates a treacherous, snowy mountain path, their footsteps leaving clear imprints in the pristine snow, as a live feed indicator confirms the ongoing broadcast. Camera pans out, revealing the perilous D-rank lair known as Cloud Forest Summit. The environment is a frozen, icy expanse, with numerous shadowy monkey-like creatures lurking on the snow-covered branches above. A close-up shot reveals the grotesque face of one of the creatures, a furry, four-eyed monkey-like monster, its expression unsettling and eerie. The creature is identified as a D-rank monster, a ghost bat monkey, appearing with bat-like wings and a menacing form visible in the snowy landscape. One of the students expresses how incredibly creepy the monster is. The unidentified protagonist, with a serious expression, explains that these ghost bat monkey monsters specialize in group attacks and possess extremely fast aerial dash speed, warning his team to constantly watch out for their deadly dive attacks. The 4 students continue their cautious advance across the snowy terrain, unaware of a massive, blurry monster claw looming ominously in the foreground, foreshadowing an imminent attack. Suddenly, a swarm of ghost bat monkeys descends from the sky, their sharp claws and fangs bared, initiating a swift and coordinated aerial assault on the unsuspecting students. The unidentified protagonist, his eyes sharp with urgency, shouts a critical warning as the monsters close in. One of the students is violently thrown backward by a powerful, unseen force, a streak of blue energy indicating the impact, sending him sprawling through the snowy air. Another student is caught in the attack, sliding uncontrollably across the icy ground, his body contorted from the force of the blow, glasses askew in his panic. A third student is seen mid-leap, either attempting to dodge or being flung by the relentless assault, his body a blur against the snowy backdrop. Miraculously, 3 students find themselves on the ground, shaken but alive, one expressing shock and relief at having managed to dodge a D-rank monster's attack, while another declares his survival. A powerful, dark energy impact rips through the snowy ground, sending plumes of snow and ice flying, a testament to the sheer force of the monster's attack, narrowly missed by the students. In a stunning display of power, the unidentified protagonist stands amidst the fallen forms of 3 ghost bat monkeys, blood staining the snow. Yellow lightning crackles around his hands, leaving another student to marvel at his ability to take down 3 D-rank monsters in an instant. The air crackles with untamed power as Chen, his eyes blazing with golden energy, asserts his dominance. Yellow lightning arcs around him as he declares to his stunned classmates that their current strength is insufficient to handle the threats, commanding them to protect themselves. With an explosive burst of speed, Chen surges forward, a pillar of crackling yellow lightning erupting from his path. He confidently tells his classmates to leave the rest to him, charging headlong into the fray. But even as Chen charges, the D-rank Ghostbat monkeys are relentless. One student cries out, "Watch out," as another is violently thrown to the snowy ground, screaming in pain. A sharp impact echoes as a student is brutally slammed against a tree, the force of the blow leaving him crumpled and vulnerable against the snowy backdrop. Zhang Jian, witnessing the brutal assault, has a sudden, grim realization. He understands now that Chen's previous training wasn't to prepare them to fight alongside him, but merely to ensure their own survival. Gong Ting's eyes widen in shock as the full implication hits him. Chen had only ever intended for them to protect themselves, never truly relying on their aid. Gong Ting's face contorts in a mix of frustration and disbelief. He internally rages, remembering his former status as the boss of the storm, a stark contrast to his current helplessness. A D-rank Ghostbat monkey is launched skyward, its head snapping back with a sickening crack, blood misting in the snowy air from a powerful upward strike. Chen descends with a devastating kick, yellow lightning arcing around his leg as he smashes another Ghostbat monkey into the ground with overwhelming force. The brutal assault continues, each strike echoing with raw power as the monstrous forms of the Ghostbat monkeys are torn apart by unseen forces. Yet, more D-rank Ghostbat monkeys swarm forward, their distorted faces screaming in a relentless charge, determined to overwhelm their opponent. Chen retaliates with blinding speed, yellow lightning tearing through the air, striking multiple Ghostbat monkeys simultaneously and sending blood spraying across the snowy battlefield. Zhang Jian watches the carnage unfold, a stunned realization dawning on him. He reflects on his prior disbelief regarding Chen's strength, now utterly convinced by the overwhelming display before his eyes. With a surge of raw power, Chen's arm glows intensely with crackling yellow lightning, poised to unleash another devastating blow, the air vibrating with his might. Zhang Jian's internal monologue continues, marveling at Chen's incredible power, noting that he fights with a skill far beyond that of a mere graduate. The battlefield becomes a maelstrom of light and impact as Chen's lightning strikes shred through the remaining monsters. Zhang Jian concludes that Chen is unequivocally a battle-hardened warrior. Xiaoli watches in awe, his mind racing with questions about when Chen had suddenly become such an incredibly reliable force, his past self completely overshadowed. Xiaoli's introspection deepens into a sense of despair, realizing how far he has truly been left behind by Chen's explosive growth and newfound power. Suddenly, a warning cry erupts, "Careful, another one is coming from behind," as Gong Ting spots a Ghostbat monkey descending from the sky, claws outstretched, threatening the exposed students. The aerial Ghostbat monkey dives, a blur of predatory motion, as two mysterious, fiery orbs are momentarily highlighted in the foreground, seemingly untouched by the chaos. With a resounding crack, a fiery punch connects, unleashing a burst of intense heat and kinetic force against an unseen foe. Student previously overwhelmed now retaliates, his hands engulfed in flames, striking a Ghostbat monkey. He yells out, "Hey, Xiang Yu, Ma Long," rallying his stunned classmates. The student with fiery hands continues his impassioned plea, admonishing his peers, "We can't really just act like deadweights and rely entirely on Chen." As the determined student speaks, his gaze intense, he emphasizes that this isn't merely Chen's graduation assessment, but something far more critical. The determined student's face contorts in a fierce roar, his eyes burning with a fiery resolve as a crimson aura flares around him, ready to join the fray and turn the tide. Another ally, empowered by vibrant green energy, unleashes their own attack, confirming the strategy with a resolute cry, "You're right." The warrior unleashes their technique, activating Flora Chant, Vine Lock. Dark, thorny vines erupt from the frozen ground, snaking towards their target with a fierce declaration, "Have a taste of this." The monstrous wolf-like creature roars in fury as the shadowy vines coil around it, attempting to bind its powerful form. The creature's raw power proves too great. The warrior's eyes widen in disbelief as the vines shatter, exclaiming, "Ah, it broke free instantly." Another ally steps forward, activating Cloud Chant, Frost Breeze. A chilling gale envelopes the monstrous beast, freezing it in place, its form now encased in shimmering ice. The blue energy wielder shouts in triumph, declaring they've slowed the monster down, then urges a comrade, "Xiang Yu, let's attack together." The monster, now both frozen and ensnared by the re-emerging green vines, struggles helplessly as a voice commands, "Xiang Zhua, now." The fire wielder, responding to the call, forms a blazing orb of pure energy in his hand, confirming, "Got it." With a powerful leap, the fire wielder propels himself forward, a trail of flames following his kick as he challenges the monster. "Taste this." Unleashing the full force of his power, the nuclear mage activates Burst Flame Bullet, a colossal projectile of concentrated fire hurtling towards the trapped beast. The Burst Flame Bullet connects with devastating force, erupting in a blinding explosion of fire and light that engulfs the monster. Despite the direct hit, the beast lets out a pained, guttural roar, its form still intact though now wreathed in dark, smoldering energy. A primal, agonizing shriek tears through the air as the monster cries out, "GWAH." Fire wielder, shocked by the monster's endurance, prepares a flurry of smaller fire orbs, exclaiming in frustration, shit, it's this tanky. A barrage of fire blasts slams into the beast, tearing into its flesh and leaving visible wounds as explosions ripple across its body. The green energy wielder strains, his face contorted in agony as his powers begin to waver, crying out, I can't hold it back anymore. Similarly, the blue energy wielder pushes past his breaking point, his body trembling as he shouts, I am at my limit. With a desperate roar, the fire wielder leaps into the air, channeling all his remaining energy into a swirling vortex of fire above him, declaring, fuck it, I'm going all out. His eyes burning with furious resolve, the fire wielder's face contorts in a primal scream, initiating his ultimate attack. This is my dash. Plunging from the sky, the nuclear mage unleashes his final, devastating technique, Converged Burst Flame Bullet, which detonates in a cataclysmic explosion, engulfing the entire battlefield. As the smoke clears, a small, hovering drone confirms the victory, successfully killed a ghost bat monkey. The charred remains of the monster lie still on the frozen ground. 3 exhausted fighters collapse onto the snowy ground, their faces streaked with grime but beaming with triumph. One gasps, we did it, while another adds in disbelief, we actually took down a D-rank monster. A system notification appears, revealing the spoils of their arduous battle, Ghost Bat Monkey Finger Bone ×1, materializing from the monster's remains. The fire wielder, despite his earlier exhaustion, grins smugly, boasting, it was a piece of cake. Suddenly, Chen, with his eyes glowing golden and crackling yellow lightning around him, steps forward, surveying the scene of the defeated monsters with a calm nod, acknowledging their effort. Yeah, good job. Meanwhile, in a hidden observation room, a man with glasses intently watches a screen, his expression unreadable as he takes in the unfolding events. He hums thoughtfully, remarking that the young man's performance is quite excellent. Focus shifts to the unidentified protagonist, a young man with sharp red eyes, as the observer continues his assessment. The purple-haired evaluator chimes in with a subtle smile, noting the young man's striking resemblance to an old acquaintance. The man with glasses remains silent, his gaze unwavering as he processes the intriguing observation. A different observer, a man with a mustache, flinches with a sudden jolt of realization or shock. The elderly advisor clears his throat, drawing the attention of the observing group, including the purple-haired evaluator and the man with glasses. The man with mustache excitedly points, urging everyone to look at the unfolding action. On the live feed, the unidentified protagonist, wielding 2 swords, strikes with incredible agility, showcasing his combat prowess. A woman with glasses observes, remarking on their incredibly smooth coordination, likening it to a professional guild raid team. Purple-haired evaluator finds the performance interesting, commenting that the quality of this year's graduates is quite impressive. The elderly advisor's subtle smile suggests that the true battle has only just begun. The scene shifts to the D-rank Devil's Cave, a high-risk toxic vine cavern teeming with monstrous mushroom-like creatures radiating green energy. A system notification identifies the formidable opponents as D-rank Flora warriors, specifically mushroom types. A female guitarist unleashes a sonic attack, her electric guitar radiating green energy that saps the strength, stamina, and speed of the surrounding Flora warriors. Shaoli shouts gather, concentrating potent purple energy into his fist, preparing a devastating strike. Shaoli unleashes Stellar Attraction, a Star Mage skill, firing a massive purple energy blast upwards as someone urgently calls out Captain Dash. The unidentified protagonist slashes fiercely with his sword, generating a blinding yellow flash upon impact. The attack lands with devastating force, resulting in a brilliant yellow explosion and a spray of red. The unidentified protagonist executes Blazing Sky Sever, a nuclear warrior skill, unleashing a colossal yellow energy slash. Ong Ting, a C-rank nuclear warrior, stands ready, his eyes glowing with fierce determination, sword in hand. Shaoli confidently declares that the assessment monsters are identical to their training opponents, making the fight an absolute breeze. Shaoli smirks, revealing his belief that the graduation assessment was pre-arranged by officials, making life incredibly easy for those with the right connections. A bandaged man confidently declares their victory is guaranteed, then rallies his team, announcing it's time to confront the boss. The environment abruptly shifts to a harsh, snowy wasteland as the unidentified protagonist and his companions trudge forward. The unidentified protagonist fixes an intense gaze forward, his red eyes burning with resolve amidst the falling snow. The chilling winds of the peak of the cloud forest whip around, marking it as a D-rank Devil's Cave, a zone of high risk, a place where the unidentified protagonist's resolve will be truly tested. Amidst the swirling snow, the unidentified protagonist and his team ascend the treacherous slopes, one of them exclaiming in disbelief that they've truly reached the apex of a D-rank Devil's Cave. Before them lies the colossal body of a monstrous white ape, heavily wounded and bleeding onto the pristine snow, while a smaller, defeated creature lies lifeless beside it. The spiky-haired teammate, wide-eyed, questions if this is truly the final lord, fearing that a single blow from it would be fatal many times over. Beside him, Shaoli silently reflects on the creature's fierce appearance. The monstrous ape's eyes glow with an ominous red, its fangs bared, as blood drips from its gaping maw, a terrifying spectacle of raw power and aggression. Shaoli recoils in sheer terror, his voice cracking as he shouts that the monstrous ape is now looking directly at them. With a deafening roar, the colossal ape lunges forward, its massive form shaking the very ground as it charges. As his terrified teammates scatter and scream in panic, the unidentified protagonist stands his ground, a calm, unwavering presence amidst the chaos. Channeling immense power, the unidentified protagonist delivers a devastating kick directly to the monster's head, crackling yellow energy erupting on impact as blood splatters across the snow. The force of the blow sends the gargantuan beast hurtling backward, slamming into a thick ice wall that shatters explosively from the impact. As the massive ape tumbles through the air, the unidentified protagonist moves with blinding speed, closing the distance for his next decisive strike. Another powerful strike lands, contorting the monster's face in agony as more blood erupts amidst a flash of yellow energy. The final blow obliterates the colossal creature, its body exploding into countless fragments amidst a blinding burst of golden energy. The spiky-haired teammate stares in disbelief, muttering how easily the monster was executed yet again, while Xiaoli can only manage a bewildered "huh." Standing triumphantly over the monster's remains, the unidentified protagonist observes his hand as the system notifies him of gaining 200 EXP and obtaining 1 Ice Ape pelt. The unidentified protagonist narrows his red eyes, pondering how strange it is that defeating the lord of a D-rank Devil's Cave yielded such a meager amount of EXP, and the drops are utterly trash. His eyes widen as he spots something incredible, exclaiming in shock at the sheer number of mana stones before them. The spiky-haired teammate urgently calls out to the unidentified protagonist, urging him to hurry and witness the massive crystal formation they've discovered. The massive, sparkling ice crystal formation radiates with power, leading the spiky-haired teammate to exclaim that, given its immense size, these must be at least intermediate-grade mana stones. The team members are overcome with excitement, the spiky-haired teammate exclaiming that if they can just extract and sell these crystals, they'll be set for life. The unidentified protagonist's expression shifts, and he utters a cautious wait. A hand reaches out towards the shimmering crystals, and as it makes contact, a blinding light erupts, engulfing the scene in a brilliant flash. The faces of the team members contort in surprise and shock as they are enveloped by an intense, ethereal blue light. The unidentified protagonist's eyes widen in alarm, his face illuminated by the powerful blue energy as he braces for whatever comes next. A system notification flashes, revealing the activation of a powerful spell, Cloud Mage Ice Burst Bomb. The ground violently erupts, unleashing colossal, jagged ice spikes in formations that glitter ominously under the snowy sky. The spiky-haired teammate is caught in the sudden onslaught, impaled and trapped by the razor-sharp ice spikes, screaming in agony as a mysterious red symbol glows ominously on the ice. The connection suddenly cuts out, a glitching screen displaying a dire message, Chen team, signal lost. As the Chen team's signal is lost, a man with a sinister grin, twirling his mustache, remarks that the high-level monsters have fallen for their trap, confirming their intelligence. He adds with disdain that trash will always be trash, only ever dragging others down. Purple-haired evaluator expresses concern that the students' lives are now threatened. He insists that saving them is the priority and suggests they have no choice but to let the guild raid team intervene, ending the situation there. As the Chen team, signal lost warning blares on a monitor, a figure from behind calmly states they should give the students a little more time. The elderly advisor reveals that the wristbands are still monitoring their physical condition, confirming their vital signs are perfectly normal. He adds that there are no reports of any student considering forfeiture. The elderly advisor firmly states that the right to choose should remain solely with the examinees themselves, while Jiang Jin listens intently, processing the words. In the freezing environment, Gong Ting lets out a loud sneeze, snow particles still falling around him. The frigid landscape is revealed, with several individuals, including Chen, trapped within towering ice pillars. Gong Ting shivers, thinking how incredibly cold it is. Xiaoli, huddled against the biting cold, mentally thanks his good fortune for being a cloud-type class with some resistance to freezing, realizing they would have been completely wiped out otherwise. The unidentified protagonist, battered and kneeling amidst the ice, struggles to utter a sound as he gazes up at a colossal, menacing ice entity. The true form of the monstrous ice entity is revealed, a towering skeletal figure with a glowing blue core and sharp, elongated claws, radiating an overwhelming aura of frost. The unidentified protagonist stares in utter disbelief, a terrifying realization dawning on him. Is he the true lord of this devil's cave? Still kneeling, the unidentified protagonist can only manage a strange sound, overwhelmed by the imposing presence of the ice monster. The colossal Ice Lord stands unmoving, its skeletal form and glowing core dominating the icy wasteland, shimmering with an ethereal, deadly light. The unidentified protagonist's eyes widen in shock, the question echoing in his mind, is he the real lord of this lair? A wave of recognition washes over the unidentified protagonist as he realizes he's seen this monster in the compendium. He recalls it's a sinister and cunning cloud mage, skilled in both crowd control and offensive ice and snow manipulation, known for toying with its prey. A system notification appears, identifying the formidable foe as a C-rank cloud mage, a master of ice and snow magic. The unidentified protagonist desperately thinks, realizing the impossibility of facing a rare C-rank Lord-class monster alone. Surrounded by jagged ice, the unidentified protagonist stands firm, a flicker of resolve in his eyes despite the overwhelming odds. The unidentified protagonist's thoughts race, knowing he has to act quickly before it's too late. Suddenly, an invisible force slams into the unidentified protagonist, sending him flying backward with a cry of alarm. The abyssal fiend lets out a chilling, triumphant laugh, its glowing blue eyes fixed on its struggling prey. A menacing, glowing blue claw emerges from the snowy depths, hinting at the monster's overwhelming power. The unidentified protagonist collapses, clutching his injured leg as a system warning blares, warning, through and through, wound detected in left lower leg, followed by a prompt, "Do you wish to abandon the exam?" Despite the severe injury, the unidentified protagonist defiantly shouts, "I refuse," his hand glowing with energy as he resolves to thaw Chen out, and fast. A new system prompt appears, indicating the activation of Cloud Chant, Source of Transformation, a skill that applies purifying energy to a single target, slowly removing negative status effects. Chen kneels, channeling a brilliant blue light into a crystalline barrier, attempting to purify the negative effects plaguing the unidentified protagonist trapped within. His internal resolve burns. As long as he recovers, there's still hope. A sharp, icy shard pierces the unidentified protagonist's arm, eliciting a guttural scream of agony as blood splatters across the frozen air. The unidentified protagonist collapses onto the frigid ice, a jagged ice shard protruding from his back, a pained groan escaping his lips. A Stark system notification flashes. Purification failed. Skeletal, crown-adorned abyssal fiend cackles, its glowing blue eyes gleaming with malevolence as it observes the failed attempt. Kiki, kiki, kiki. The abyssal fiend stands amidst a swirling vortex of ice shards, its power manifesting as a barrage of cloud mage, icebone thorn attacks, ready to strike. The unidentified protagonist clutches his bleeding right arm, a critical system alert blaring. Danger, danger, heart rate too high, through and through wound detected in right arm. A chilling system prompt echoes. Do you wish to abandon the exam? The unidentified protagonist's eyes blaze with defiance, his teeth clenched as he internally questions, abandon it? Painful memory flashes, the unidentified protagonist in a classroom, cowering as a paper plane strikes him, recalling his past struggles. That's why I was always left behind, he thinks. The memory continues, showing the unidentified protagonist being pulled forward by a supportive hand, his past self reflecting, "We fought with everything we had just to make it this far." The flashback culminates in a moment of shared resolve as the unidentified protagonist and his companions look skyward, declaring, "We finally got a chance to change our fate." Back in the present, the unidentified protagonist's eyes blaze with renewed resolve, a fierce determination etched on his face. "I absolutely won't just give up like this," he vows. Chen, from behind, channels a potent surge of luminous blue energy into the ice, the core of his source of purification skill flaring to life once more. With a surge of raw power, Chen's arm glows intensely, plunging deeper into the icy barrier as he pushes his purifying energy to its limits. Chen grits his teeth, sweat beading on his brow as his eyes burn with blue light, channeling a concentrated beam of purifying energy from his palm. A pained cry escapes him. "You The abyssal fiend reels as swirling torrents of blue purifying energy buffet its form, sending ice shards scattering around the frozen landscape. Chen's hand glows with blinding intensity, cracking the ice around it as a raw scream tears from his throat. With a final, explosive burst, Chen's purifying energy shatters the surrounding ice, sending colossal shards flying outwards from his kneeling form. Chen's face contorts in a primal scream of exertion, his eyes still radiating an ethereal blue light as he pushes past his limits. In a dazzling display, Chen's form shifts, his face now a cracked golden visage with piercing yellow eyes, crackling with raw, golden lightning energy. Colossal blue energy blast erupts skyward from the golden figure of Chen, pulverizing the ground and sending debris flying in its wake. The golden form of Chen rises, radiating immense power as the words flash God shimmer above him, marking his awakened state. The abyssal fiend's skeletal jaw drops, its glowing blue eyes wide with shock and disbelief at the sudden surge of power. The golden form of Chen kneels beside the injured unidentified protagonist, golden energy crackling protectively around them on the snow-covered battlefield. The unidentified protagonist looks up at Chen, a wry smile forming on his face. In the end, you broke the control all on your own, he states. Chen, his form still shrouded in power, humbly replies, "No, you helped a lot." Chen's normal form returns, his red eyes focused as he asks, "Are your injuries okay?" The unidentified protagonist replies, "I'll live." The bleeding stopped. The unidentified protagonist, still recovering, reveals the enemy's true identity. That monster is a rank C cloud-type lord, the Bone King of Frozen remains. He's extremely strong, we absolutely can't let him freeze us again. The unidentified protagonist, still recovering, reveals the enemy's true identity. That monster is a rank C cloud-type lord, the Bone King of Frozen remains. He's extremely strong, we absolutely can't let him freeze us again. As he speaks, Chen stands firm, his gaze sharp and unwavering, while the unidentified protagonist looks on in stunned panic. From above, the Bone King unleashes a devastating attack, the Cloud Mage skill, Ice Burst Bomb. A colossal formation of jagged ice crystals glows with deadly blue energy, ready to descend. The massive ice bomb hurtles towards them, prompting the unidentified protagonist to exclaim WTF as he watches the overwhelming attack plummet from the sky. The Bone King's skeletal face, with glowing blue eyes and a chilling grin, looms large, radiating an aura of absolute menace amidst the falling snow. The unidentified protagonist's eyes widen in terror, question marks filling his gaze as he shouts, he actually fired off a giant ice-burst bomb. Panic-stricken, the unidentified protagonist realizes the futility of evasion, proclaiming, "There's no way we can dodge that." The iceburst bomb detonates with cataclysmic force, engulfing the landscape in a blinding flash of blue energy and shattering ice shards. An overwhelming white-blue light fills the entire frame, the sheer power of the explosion momentarily blinding everything in its path. As the blinding light begins to fade, a pale blue hue remains, with shimmering particles of ice dust slowly settling across the frigid air. Floating triumphantly above the devastation, the Abyssal Fiend, the Bone King of Frozen Remains, lets out a mocking laugh, gaha. The Abyssal Fiend's skeletal visage is etched with smug satisfaction, its glowing blue eyes surveying the scene, confident in its victory. But then, the Abyssal Fiend's gaze snaps to a distant point. Through the rising ice shards, a small figure emerges, enveloped in a radiant blue light, defying the chilling attack. The unidentified protagonist is seen mid-air, a look of profound shock on his face. Below, a system notification reveals LV16 SI Chen Doomflame King. Chen himself, now partially skeletal and glowing with intense blue energy, stands resurrected. Chen floats, emanating a powerful blue aura. As a new system window appears, Cloud Warrior Frostbody. Immune to cold, all resistances increase in low-temperature environments. The Abyssal Fiend's skeletal face contorts in pure disbelief and rage, its glowing blue eyes wide with shock at Chen's unexpected survival and transformation. The unidentified protagonist, utterly bewildered, questions Chen's new abilities, asking, "Aren't you supposed to be a Volt Assassin?" With a dawning realization and a gasp of shock, the unidentified protagonist continues, "Don't tell me you're one of those 1 in 10,000. Chen stands, his face still partially skeletal, surrounded by a crackling blue aura, as the unidentified protagonist finishes his stunned thought, "Dual class awakened?" Chen, now wreathed in vibrant pink and blue lightning, looks determinedly forward and apologizes, "Sorry, I misjudged things before and dragged the three of you into danger." As Chen's power surges, a loading bar appears, displaying the text class switching in progress, indicating a profound change is underway. Chen's eyes blaze with renewed resolve, and his clenched fist glows with crackling pink and blue energy as he declares, "But that ends now." Chen, surrounded by swirling pink and blue energy, reiterates his apology with a determined expression, "I'm sorry, I misjudged the situation and it's my fault the three of you were put in danger." His glowing eyes fixated, Chen's fist clenches, radiating intense pink and blue energy as he firmly states, "But that ends now." A system message flashes across the screen, "Class change complete finish dash," signaling the successful completion of Chen's transformation. Vibrant streaks of pink and blue energy, accompanied by shimmering particles, swirl across a dark purple background, a visual echo of Chen's powerful class change. The unidentified protagonist's face is a mask of wide-eyed astonishment and sweat, his mind reeling from the incredible display of Chen's dual-class awakening. A system text box provides crucial context. Normally, awakeners can only awaken one class, emphasizing the rarity of Chen's unique power. A radiant golden humanoid figure stands at the center of a circular diagram, surrounded by various class icons, with the lightning bolt symbol glowing brightly, signifying Chen's awakened electric power. The awakening doesn't stop there. As the lightning crackles, a second symbol, representing the power of ice and water, ignites with a brilliant blue glow, signifying another dormant ability within Chen. Across the entire world, the number of individuals possessing even two distinct classes, known as dual classers, is astonishingly low, less than 10 people in total. Voice expresses utter shock, unable to complete the thought, as the impossible truth about Chen's powers begins to dawn, his mind reeling from the revelation. First, an electric class, crackling with raw, untamed power, illuminating Chen's form with a fierce, golden glow. Then, a chilling ice affinity, manifesting a monstrous, skeletal visage across his face, surrounded by an ethereal blue aura. And then, the impossible reveal, 3 classes? An unheard-of feat of power, an anomaly that shatters all known limits. Chen's form pulses with an intense purple energy, his strength and stamina stats surging with multiple upward indicators, showcasing an explosive increase in power. Every single one of Chen's classes is freakishly strong, his eyes glowing with fierce determination as the purple and blue energies swirl around him. With a thunderous boom, Chen unleashes a devastating attack, a powerful energy projectile surging upwards amidst swirling purple energy. A massive explosion of blue and purple energy erupts, forcing a nearby figure to desperately evade the destructive force that obliterates the ground. Chen, enveloped in radiant pink energy, leaps into the air, bringing down a brilliant, powerful strike, with the monstrous Rakshasa form appearing below him. An observer recalls the monster's overwhelming aura from moments ago, its crushing presence now a stark contrast to the aftermath of Chen's attack. Under Chen's blade, the formidable power of the monster faces its ultimate demise. Monstrous entity lets out a final, distorted cackle, its skeletal face glowing with eerie pink energy as it succumbs to the overwhelming power. In a blinding flash of white and purple light, the monster's presence has completely vanished, leaving no trace behind. The last remnants of the monster shatter and crumble into countless pieces, dissolving into the air with a series of sharp snaps. Chen stands victorious, now at level 17, his red eyes glowing amidst the golden light and swirling purple energy, marking a decisive triumph. A system notification reveals a new acquisition, 1 unit of frostbone skewers, a valuable item dropped from the defeated foe. An astonished voice acknowledges Chen's incredible power, marveling that he effortlessly one-shot a C-rank monster lord as if it were nothing. Unidentified protagonist casually reminds his distressed companion about the 2 other frozen individuals, asking if Chen still had the energy to defrost them, to which the companion curses in sudden realization. The companion, realizing his oversight, curses his forgetfulness about Xiangzhua and Xiangyu, desperately urging them to hang on as he sprints to their aid. A system banner flashes Devourer as the skull-like remains of the monster are targeted for absorption. Chen, his red eyes glowing intensely, extends his hand, a blinding light emanating from his palm as he prepares to absorb the monster's essence. Devouring loading bar appears, indicating the ongoing process of absorption as Chen's power assimilates the monster's essence. Chen stands over a swirling vortex of blue energy which coalesces into the form of a monstrous skull as he actively devours its power. His fist clenches, crackling with potent blue energy, signifying the successful integration of the absorbed power. The devouring complete notification appears, revealing a new power, the Frostbound Lich King, a cloud mage class with enhanced stats and powerful skills like Frostbone Skewers and Arctic Nova. With the devouring complete notification echoing, Chen's eyes, now a piercing red, gleam with the cold power of his newly acquired Frostbound Lich King class. Snowflakes drift around him, reflecting his chilling transformation. Kneeling amidst the frozen landscape, Chen observes the ice-encased figures of his opponents, realizing his powerful Arctic Nova had frozen the entire dungeon. He muses that his true abilities remain hidden, ensuring a perfect score is still within reach. Sudden, vibrating buzz fills the air as a glitching yellow notification box appears over Chen's chest, his red eyes glowing in the dim light, signaling another system update. The system proudly announces a class level up for his Lightning Assassin class, granting him 1 star to allocate to his already impressive stats like strength, speed, and element. Chen reacts with surprise, questioning the unexpected star allocation from the system. His spiky black hair frames his bewildered expression. His eyes widen, now reflecting a vibrant green glow as the IX notification appears, emphasizing the newly gained stat point, leaving Chen in stunned contemplation. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a different battle. 2 figures are violently thrown through the air by a powerful dark attack, one letting out an agonized URGH as the system identifies the formidable foe, the Lord Giant Man-Eater Deflower Mage. The monstrous red giant man-eater dominates the battlefield, its tentacles lashing out. Below, a determined archer fires glowing yellow energy arrows, while Shaoli, with blue-green hair, unleashes powerful purple energy from his fists, attempting to hold back the beast. Shaoli, gritting his teeth, struggles to contain the D-rank boss, exclaiming in frustration that he can't hold it back much longer and urging his teammates to pummel the thing already. Gongting, the archer, fires another crackling lightning arrow but internally despairs, realizing the boss is way too tanky and his attacks are doing no damage. The giant man-eater roars, its massive maw open as sparks of yellow lightning harmlessly crackle around its formidable body, proving Gongting's assessment of its resilience. With a thunderous BAM, the giant man-eater unleashes a devastating sweep, sending multiple combatants flying through the air as one exclaims in terror, "Wuah! It broke free!" A white-haired combatant, wide-eyed with fear, collapses to the ground, lamenting that they'd never faced anything this strong during our training, and desperately asks, "What should we do?" Another teammate, sweating with anxiety, voices the team's desperate hope, declaring Gongting's our only hope and anxiously wondering about his progress. As the giant man-eater continues its rampage, Gongting stands, channeling immense power. Surrounded by a golden aura, his teammates assist in boosting his stamina, strength, and elemental stats to critical levels, preparing him for a decisive strike. Gongting's face, bathed in a fiery glow, reflects fierce determination. His eyes burn red as he declares, "This is enough," having reached the peak of his channeled strength. The powerful surge, Gongting unleashes a massive, crescent-shaped wave of fire and energy, causing a devastating explosion as it tears across the battlefield. Gongting charges forward in a blur, leaving a fiery trail in his wake, accompanied by a resounding VOM as he closes in on the monstrous boss. With a decisive THWIP, Gongting's fiery attack pierces directly through the giant man-eater, delivering a critical blow to the formidable D-rank boss. Gongting's face contorts in a powerful battle cry, his eyes blazing red as he shouts, "Split!" commanding his attack to cleave the monster apart. The team erupts in cheers, celebrating Gongting's incredible feat. His teammates praise him, calling him our president and a freaking legend, reveling in their victory. Gongting, basking in his success, boasts that they cleared the D-rank dungeon in only half an hour, proclaiming that there's no way anyone will ever be able to beat that. With a satisfied expression, Gongting confirms their perfect score, proudly announcing that they have set a new school record as his jubilant teammates celebrate behind him. In a different setting, Jiang Jian, with his silver hair, remarks that even the lowest-tier F-rank Devil's Cave would typically take others at least an hour to clear, highlighting Gongting's team's exceptional speed. Gong Ting's triumphant team walks confidently through a waiting room filled with injured students, one of them mockingly stating that anyone else leaving the Devil's Cave early must be trash who forfeited. Two bandaged students sit on a bench, one cries out in terror about monsters while the other calmly reassures him that they've already left the Devil's Cave long ago, highlighting the lingering trauma. Female student with red hair weeps, bruised and terrified, confirming that the experience was too terrifying and those monsters were absolutely terrifying. The unidentified protagonist stands observing the traumatized students, confirming his expectation that Si Chen's gang really did chicken out and bail early, a subtle jab at his rival. A mocking voice cuts through the air, directly addressing Si Chen upon his arrival, a clear challenge to his presence. The taunts continue, ridiculing the group of dejected students who failed the assessment, questioning their earlier bravado. The unidentified protagonist observes from the side, silently taking it all in. From off-panel, a voice calls out, instructing Gong Cheng to return, attempting to rein in the provocative behavior. Zhang Jian, with a hand on his companion's shoulder, urges him to greet the arriving vice-chairman, shifting the focus to the esteemed guests. Gong Ting's hands clap together with enthusiasm, exclaiming his admiration for the assessment's performance, deeming it brilliant beyond measure. Gong Ting, radiating an air of importance, addresses the crowd, proclaiming that they have all witnessed an outstanding performance today, his words carrying significant weight. The distinguished figures, including Gong Ting, stride confidently through the spacious hall, their presence commanding attention as they move past the assembled students. Zhang Jian and his companion gaze in awe, realizing that the man approaching them stands at the pinnacle of world power, a figure of immense influence. A sense of urgency and disbelief washes over the students as they realize the powerful figure is directly approaching them, his presence undeniable. The esteemed guests continue their procession, walking past the various students and observers, their path drawing all eyes. Gong Ting turns to Si Chen, his expression one of profound admiration, declaring him to be truly remarkable for his performance. Gong Ting continues his praise, highlighting Si Chen's incredible feat of clearing a D-rank Devil's Cave in a mere 21 minutes, a truly astonishing speed. Si Chen stands calmly, holding a cup, as Gong Ting reiterates that such an achievement would be difficult even for a fully fledged professional guild raid team, labeling it truly brilliant. Spiky-haired student's face contorts in utter shock and disbelief, unable to comprehend that the 4 pieces of trash not only cleared the D-rank cave but did so in an astonishing 21 minutes. Si Chen remains composed while his excited teammates eagerly greet the vice-chairman, their enthusiasm a stark contrast to Si Chen's quiet demeanor. Si Chen's eye narrows in deep thought as he internally identifies Carl Cavendish, the vice-chairman of the World Guild Alliance, and questions the true reason for such a powerful figure's presence. Gong Ting, with a knowing smile, confirms Si Chen's name, expressing his satisfaction that this trip was not a waste of time after all, implying a deeper purpose to his visit. Gong Ting then praises the young master of the Gong family for his impressive performance in clearing a D-rank Devil's Cave at such a young age, crediting Guild Master Gong Lin for his excellent upbringing. The man with glasses, likely the young master of the Gong family, humbly replies to the vice-chairman, stating he is flattered by the praise. The man with glasses maintains a serious, contemplative expression, his thoughts unreadable as he observes the scene. Gong Ting, with a pleasant smile, announces his departure, stating that it is getting late and he should head back. As Gong Ting walks away with another man, the companion remarks to the principal that he has truly hit the jackpot by finding a pair of prodigies rarely seen even in a millennium. The principal clears his throat, preparing to announce the assessment results for both teams, noting that there is a tie for a perfect score. Si Chen's teammates erupt in joyous celebration, shouting with excitement that they have made it into the prestigious Empire Guild, while Si Chen remains calmly composed amidst the frenzy. The teammates continue their ecstatic celebration, proclaiming that they are set for life and have earned a one-way ticket to the top, while the man with glasses observes them with a silent, intense gaze. With intense focus, the principal continues the announcement, revealing that Captains Gong Ting and Si Chen will both be granted core management positions within the Empire Guild and will equally split a 1 million MVP prize. Si Chen's eye widens in clear surprise, his composure momentarily broken by the unexpected news of the prize money. The man with glasses observes the scene with a serious expression, a subtle red glow hinting at his internal thoughts or a deeper reaction to the announcement. Si Chen, hand to his chin, calculates the prize money, realizing he only has 500,000 left after splitting it. He worries about his promise to Qing Ji and resolves to find a way to earn the remaining 500,000 as quickly as possible. Driven by his urgent need for funds, Si Chen finds himself facing a formidable challenger. The other champion declares that there can only be one victor. The challenger, Gong Ting, his eyes burning with resolve, issues a direct demand, a one-on-one tiebreaker to settle their stalemate. The audacious challenge sends a ripple of shock through the observers, their faces contorted in disbelief and surprise. Among the stunned onlookers, the silver-haired Zhang Jian and another distinguished gentleman watch the unfolding drama with keen interest. An older man, visibly agitated, leans in toward Gong Ting, questioning the absurdity of his challenge. Gong Ting, undeterred, continues to lay out the terms of his proposed tiebreaker, setting the stage for a high-stakes confrontation. Si Chen, with eyes glowing red, seizes the opportunity, asking if he will claim the entire 1 million prize if he wins. The older man in the background sputters in disbelief. Gong Ting, meeting Si Chen's intensity, confidently declares that if Si Chen can defeat him, he can indeed take the entire prize. The purple-haired evaluator, observing the escalating tension and the bold challenge, finds the entire situation immensely interesting. Si Chen, his gaze unwavering, demands that Gong Ting reveal the specific terms of their impending battle. Face to face, Si Chen and Gong Ting stand poised, Si Chen pressing for details on how their decisive confrontation will be settled. In a separate, opulent setting, Xiaoli reclines on an ornate sofa, expressing his astonishment at Si Chen's perfect score and record-shattering performance. Xiaoli continues, acknowledging Si Chen's newfound fame and declaring his initial investment a wise decision. He generously offers to waive Si Chen's 1.5 million debt, calling it an angel investment. Si Chen, addressed by Xiaoli, listens intently, his expression unreadable as he considers the unexpected offer. Si Chen's hands gently cradle a cup, a quiet moment before his firm response to Xiaoli's proposition. With a resolute gaze, Si Chen rejects the offer, asserting that a debt is a debt and he intends to repay every single cent. Si Chen then informs Xiaoli that he has two important matters to discuss, prompting Xiaoli's intrigued response. Si Chen requests a one-week extension for his repayment, explaining that the tie in the graduation assessment resulted in him receiving 500,000 less than anticipated. He reveals his plan to settle the debt by participating in a one-on-one tiebreaker with the other champion, scheduled to take place in a wild devil's cave outside the school in 1 week. Xiaoli reacts with utter shock, questioning the perilous decision of two students entering a wild devil's cave, his composure visibly shaken. Xiaoli expresses his grave concern over the danger, but Si Chen calmly reassures him, confident that winning the tiebreaker will secure the remaining 500,000. Si Chen then proposes that the additional 500,000 he earns will serve as interest for the 1-week extension on his debt. Xiaoli, adjusting his glasses, inwardly muses on Si Chen's extraordinary nature, noting his complete lack of fear of the dangerous cave, focusing only on his debt and its interest. Si Chen places his cup down, indicating that he has yet another, even more crucial, reason for his visit today. Si Chen's intense gaze sharpens, building anticipation for the significant revelation he is about to share. Xiaoli leans in, his profile revealing a focused and attentive expression as he awaits Si Chen's next pivotal disclosure. Xiaoli's eye narrows, a bead of sweat forming on his temple as he listens intently, every fiber of his being focused on Si Chen's words. Si Chen's lips part, about to utter the critical information Xiaoli so eagerly anticipates. Xiaoli stands rigid, his expression unreadable, processing the gravity of Si Chen's revelation. New chapter unfolds under the ominous title, The Glutton. It's the afternoon of June 17 at Qingshui Middle School in Songcheng County, a day like any other, yet on the precipice of change. Si Chen's sister stretches exuberantly, her voice echoing with relief as she declares the final exam officially over. With a satisfied smile, Si Chen's sister looks at her phone, proclaiming the start of summer vacation. Sudden thought crosses Si Chen's sister's mind, her eyes widening slightly as she remembers something important. Her phone screen illuminates with a cherished selfie, capturing a joyful moment with Si Chen, a stark contrast to the present reality. For years prior, a younger Si Chen beams with unbridled joy, clutching an admission letter from the National Awakener University, announcing his detected elemental potential to his sister. Si Chen's sister, her eyes sparkling with hope, asks if he'll become an awakener just like their parents. Si Chen, full of youthful ambition, promises to join a top guild, earn immense wealth, and ensure a better life for his sister. His gaze hardens with resolve as he declares his ultimate goal, to uncover the truth behind their parents' mysterious disappearance. Si Chen's sister's face lights up with adoration, praising her brother as the absolute best and predicting his rise to an incredible awakener. Looking up at Si Chen with unwavering faith, his sister reassures him that everything will be fine. A confident smile plays on young Si Chen's lips, affirming that he merely needs to continue his diligent efforts. Yet the narrator reveals the harsh truth: Si Chen was the only one who failed to awaken, watching his peers gain powers one by one. Si Chen's sister gazes at her phone, a somber thought crossing her mind about the burden Si Chen carried alone. Si Chen's sister is startled by a friend who calls out to her with a lively greeting. Her friend, wide-eyed and excited, shares the news of two genius graduates from the National Awakener University. She recounts how the graduates achieved perfect scores, earned praise from the Guild Alliance's vice-chairman, and brought fame to Songcheng County. The friend then innocently asks if Si Chen's sister's brother attends the same prestigious school, prompting an uncomfortable hesitation from her. Suddenly, a pink-haired student greets Si Chen's sister, catching her completely off guard. The pink-haired student confidently invites Si Chen's sister to a private room at the Zifeng building, assuming her availability that evening. Si Chen's sister's friend gasps in surprise, questioning how she knows the school idol, while Si Chen's sister remains silent, her face shadowed with worry. Overwhelmed, Si Chen's sister turns abruptly and flees, leaving her bewildered companions behind. Her friend calls out in confusion, questioning Si Chen's sister's sudden, rapid departure. Si Chen's sister's thoughts are a torrent of pain. Her brother's failure to awaken stands in stark contrast to the success of his peers, who now make headlines. As night falls on June 17, the scene shifts to the exterior of a rented apartment, a quiet backdrop to the day's emotional turmoil. The aroma of a lavish meal featuring a simmering hotpot surrounded by tempting side dishes fills the apartment, a stark contrast to the day's emotional turmoil. A voice exclaims, "Xiao Yun." Unidentified protagonist stares wide-eyed at the incredible spread, his red eyes reflecting genuine shock as he questions, "Xiao Yun, how did you have time to make all this?" Unidentified protagonist eagerly digs into the meal, savoring the fragrant sukiyaki hotpot. Chen's sister, however, sits quietly across from him, her expression hinting at deeper, more somber thoughts. Television flickers to life, broadcasting the evening news. The anchor reports, "Next up is the evening news this morning. The Dongxing National Awakener University successfully concluded its graduation combat assessment." Unidentified protagonist continues to eat, a slight smile playing on his lips as the news details. Vice Chairman Carl Cavendish of the Guild Alliance visited the scene in person and warmly interacted with the students. Chen's sister gazes into the distance, her expression tinged with sadness. She thinks, "Just as I thought, my brother is forcing himself to act tough again. Failing the graduation assessment would be a massive blow to anyone, but he's not showing a single hint of it." News segment shifts to breaking news, announcing that the graduation assessment yielded a highly rare dual champion outcome, with a headline proclaiming the National Awakener University has discovered twin geniuses. The report continues, stating the two genius students each led their teams to perfect scores, with Vice Chairman Carl offering high praise for the assessment in front of the media. Chen's sister's eyes widen in disbelief as the news anchor on the screen announces, "Student Chen." Chen's sister leans forward, her entire body tensing in shock, her eyes still wide with a dawning realization. A bead of sweat trickles down Chen's sister's face as she gasps, "The one with the perfect score is Student Chen?" A single polished shoe stands on a blood-splattered, dark stage next to a menacing, whip-like object. A voice ominously states, "The stage." On a dimly lit stage, a man with a whip addresses another figure whose back is turned and shirt is torn. He states, "The audience, I invited them for you too." The stern-faced man with the whip declares, his voice laced with disdain, "You botched the performance." The man with the whip asserts, "You didn't win." Chen, his chest bleeding from fresh wounds, defiantly counters with a resolute no, his eyes burning with resolve. The man with the whip, his profile stern and unyielding, declares, "From now on, you don't get to make your own decisions. I have already arranged everything for your combat tiebreaker in a week." Chen stands dejectedly, his head bowed, as the man with the whip continues, his voice unwavering, "Since you can't get it done yourself, let me do it for you." The man with the whip's eyes gleam behind his glasses as he finishes with a chilling declaration, "By any means necessary." A lone figure, Chen, floats in a surreal, cosmic landscape. He reflects on his combat strategy, noting, "There are always two lionesses confronting me in close combat, while the other two remain on standby from a distance." Chen observes the ethereal lion-like creatures, noting that the majestic Lion King always maintains the furthest distance from him. Chen's glowing yellow eyes narrow as he thinks, despite being the lord, it never dirties its own hands. Below, two spectral lionesses charge forward, crackling with energy. Chen confronts the Lion King, his hand crackling with lightning. He muses, "The abilities of this Lion King lord are very strange. Whenever I find an opening and attempt to attack it." Chen deftly dodges, a blur of motion as purple energy flashes past him, narrowly missing its target. Chen observes and reappears next to the lioness furthest away from me as the Lion King instantly teleports across the battlefield. Chen continues his analysis, explaining, "They rapidly adjust their positioning based on the situation, but their formation remains eternally unchanged." Chen admits, "I still can't manage to hit the lord of this floor," as the formidable Lion King looms before him, seemingly untouchable. Chen reflects on his progress. "After the graduation assessment battle ended, my Lightning Assassin class gained a star. A system notification confirms class proficiency increased and reveals his Lightning Dragon class stats, along with one attribute point obtained." He concludes, "So frequently using a specific class can actually increase its proficiency." This realization solidifies as a system display confirms the incredible potential, which means his speed stat surges to a staggering 740, quadrupling its base, fueled by the mastery of classes like Purgatory Rakshasa and Lightning Dragon. But even with such raw power, the climb remains arduous. Chen pushes onward, ascending a treacherous, snow-capped peak under a cosmic purple sky, accompanied by spectral panther-like beasts that mirror his relentless progress. Meanwhile, Gong Ting, with a calculating gaze, reflects on the protagonist's astonishing growth. He muses on the sheer extent of Chen's power increase in such a remarkably short period. System overlay flashes, confirming Chen's current status, level 17, wielding the formidable Lightning Assassin class, his eyes glowing with an intense, focused energy. In a different setting, a man with red hair and a relaxed smile offers a casual commendation, instructing someone to eat the meat first. Gong Ting, his expression serious, interrupts the casual meal, stating that there is one more crucial matter to discuss. He reveals to the red-haired man that he has recently noticed a suspicious individual, one who made contact with him not too long ago, prompting a surprised "Oh" from the red-haired man. Gong Ting then discloses the name of this mysterious contact, Kite. He presents a tablet to the red-haired man, explaining that these are all the reports compiled so far regarding the suspicious individual. A top-secret file is laid bare, detailing how, over the past year, the target hasn't left any traces whatsoever, indicating their extreme stealth. The scene shifts to June 17, 2157, the night of the graduation combat assessment. Amidst the tension, the red-haired man calmly savors a piece of meat with chopsticks, a thoughtful escaping his lips. Closes his eyes in satisfaction, confirming that Dongxi Nation's premium Wagyu beef is, as expected, the most delicious. The red-haired man casually inquires about the progress on the other end. Below, Chen's sister, tears welling in her eyes, exclaims with overwhelming pride that her brother truly made it to the top. Chen, with striking red eyes, stares forward with a look of intense focus, seemingly processing a significant event. Chen's sister and Chen sit across from each other at a table, a silent understanding passing between them, or perhaps a moment of stunned contemplation. A tear streams down Chen's sister's face as she affectionately thinks of her silly brother, overwhelmed with emotion. Her red eyes, glistening with tears, betray the depth of her feelings, a mixture of pride and disbelief. Outside, a powerful bolt of lightning strikes a building, illuminating the night sky with a blinding flash, a dramatic visual mirroring the unfolding events. Chen's sister gasps in shock, her eyes wide with realization. She exclaims in disbelief, "Brother, my own brother," as the events of the graduation assessment begin to click into place. Her shock intensifies as she processes the news. Not only did her brother lead his team to a perfect score, but he was also praised by the vice-chairman of the Guild Alliance. On the news, the purple-haired evaluator, Chairman Carl, is seen at a press conference, highly praising the assessment and specifically singling out one of the team leaders who achieved a perfect score. Chen's sister watches the TV intently as the news anchor announces the name of the exceptional student Chen. A startled exclamation escapes her as the full weight of the announcement hits her, her expression shifting from disbelief to stunned comprehension. Her eyes widen further in utter astonishment as she whispers, "The one with the perfect score is student Chen?" Chairman Carl's praise for Chen's impressive performance is reiterated, expressing hopes for Dongxi Nation to cultivate more talents. Meanwhile, a breaking news report highlights the discovery of twin geniuses at the National Awakener University, both leading their teams to perfect scores. Chen's sister turns to Chen, her voice filled with a mix of awe and disbelief, asking, "Hey, bro, that Chen they just mentioned on TV, is that you?" Casually eating, Chen looks up and responds with a calm, "Yeah, what's up?" confirming his identity with surprising nonchalance. Sudden revelation causes Chen's sister to drop her chopsticks, which shatter on the floor, a sharp sound echoing her complete astonishment. The focus shifts back to a top-secret document, a chilling thought emerging. "They might have already noticed us," hinting at the dangerous implications of Chen's newfound public recognition. The chilling thought echoes, "They might have already noticed us." Now, a monstrous, jagged red structure dominates the view, pulsing with an unnatural aura, as if confirming the rising danger. The system itself seems to observe, "It's truly too abnormal." The unidentified protagonist, cloaked in darkness, reflects on his arduous journey. He has spent over half a month on the first floor of the Devil Tower, relentlessly slaughtering almost every single monster in his path. His bare feet stand firm as system screens glow around him. He proudly acknowledges his complete adaptation to fighting in a 10x gravity environment, noting that none of his 4 classes have yet reached their true limits. A detailed system panel highlights his stats. He specifically allocated a star to speed, the most critical stat for an assassin. His current speed stat alone has now ascended to the level of an A-rank assassin. On a desolate, snow-covered landscape under a cosmic purple sky, multiple spectral purple lionesses emerge, their forms crackling with ethereal energy, letting out primal roars. As the spectral lionesses lunge, the unidentified protagonist's eyes blaze with golden lightning. He activates Divine Flash, a core ability of his lightning assassin class, preparing for a devastating counterattack. A blinding flash of golden lightning erupts. The unidentified protagonist observes the situation with a silent, intense gaze, processing the unfolding battle. A colossal, majestic purple lion appears, its presence radiating immense power. The unidentified protagonist wonders, just what exactly is this Lion King's class? From behind, the unidentified protagonist watches as a spectral lioness charges, its form a blur of purple energy, moving with incredible speed. Golden lightning crackles around the unidentified protagonist's hands, his eyes glowing with fierce determination as he prepares to unleash a powerful strike. With a gruesome squelch, the unidentified protagonist's lightning-infused strike connects, crushing the head of one of the spectral lionesses, its form dissipating into shimmering particles. The unidentified protagonist deftly evades a sweeping purple energy attack, a familiar move from his adversaries. He recognizes the pattern, exclaiming, "This move again." He observes the battlefield, realizing a crucial tactic. "Whenever I try to kill a lioness, the lioness will also vanish instantly." His observation continues as a spectral lioness reappears, materializing instantly next to the formidable Lion King, revealing their coordinated defense mechanism. The unidentified protagonist finds himself encircled by charging lionesses. He deduces their strategy: as soon as I stop, a lioness will charge forward to bait me into attacking. He prepares for another assault, his body crackling with raw, golden lightning energy, ready to unleash a torrent of power. The unidentified protagonist moves with incredible speed, leaving golden lightning trails as he weaves through the onslaught, dodging deadly purple energy attacks. From a high vantage point, the unidentified protagonist is seen battling two lionesses. The narrator notes their impeccable teamwork. They strictly maintain their formation, coordinating flawlessly. A spectral lioness delivers a powerful punch, which the unidentified protagonist blocks with a lightning-charged fist. The relentless assault continues, endlessly attacking. A spectral lioness lunges forward, its jaws agape, exhaling a concentrated burst of purple energy, a fierce and deadly attack. The unidentified protagonist, in a low, ready stance, prepares to engage once more, facing the constant barrage. Then attacking again, the cycle of combat persists. He moves with blinding speed, a streak of black and gold against the purple cosmic backdrop, deftly dodging another incoming attack. Exhaustion begins to set in as the unidentified protagonist is surrounded by three lionesses. He realizes the enemy's strategy, looping endlessly, launching an unceasing war of attrition against me. Sweat beads on the unidentified protagonist's face, his expression one of frustration and growing anger. He grunts, "Huff, huff, this guy." The majestic Lion King's face fills the frame, its subtle smirk confirming the unidentified protagonist's realization. He is completely toying with me. A sudden spark of insight ignites in the unidentified protagonist's glowing eyes. He has a breakthrough, exclaiming, "Wait a minute." Keeping away from a charging lioness, the unidentified protagonist questions his own tactics. Why am I trying to match them head-on with speed? Surrounded by a brilliant blue aura, the unidentified protagonist floats midair as a system message flashes, loading. Switching class. A profound change is imminent. His body begins to crystallize, shards of ice forming around him. With a determined resolve, he concludes, "Since you don't want to fight me head-on, then why should I not use a mage class to deal with you?" Chen's eyes glow with cold blue energy, his form encased in shimmering ice, a clear challenge in his gaze. As if answering his own question, a system prompt flashes, loading. Switching class. Chen's silhouette is engulfed in a brilliant burst of blue light, energy shards swirling around him. His icy transformation continues, sharp crystalline structures forming around his hands. He thinks, "If you won't meet me head-on, then I'll just..." Chen's determined expression hardens, his voice filled with resolve. "Pull out my mage class and tear you all apart from range." With a resounding BOM, Chen, in his ice-armored form, launches into the bright blue sky, leaving streaks of energy in his wake. A massive ice explosion erupts across the ground, sending shockwaves through the air. Two glowing purple lion-like creatures are caught in the blast, one recoiling violently. From a high vantage point, the BOM of the explosion echoes as Chen observes the chaos he has unleashed upon the two retreating lion-like beasts. Chen, still in his crystallized form, turns his head, his sharp profile and icy crown reflecting the blue light as he assesses the battlefield. His strategic mind works rapidly. Mages are glass cannons up close, but at range, they own the entire battlefield. A volley of sharp, glowing ice shards rains down from above, forcing one of the purple lion-like creatures to roar in alarm as it faces the aerial assault. The ice shards impact the ground with a zap, creating another explosive burst of energy, highlighted by a striking pink cross-shaped symbol. The two purple lion-like creatures desperately attempt to evade the relentless attacks as a dark, ominous portal opens above them, threatening to ensnare them. Another powerful BAM reverberates as the shimmering blue energy of Chen's attacks continues to dominate the scene. The forceful BAM, the swirling blue energy expands, trapping the multiple purple lion-like creatures within its vortex, the ominous portal still looming. Chen extends his sharp, ice-covered claw, declaring his intent, "The moment I force you all into my kill zone." One of the horned purple lion-like creatures roars in defiance or pain, caught in the relentless assault as another BAM echoes. Chen unleashes a devastating skill, Cloud Mage Frost Blast Bomb. A glowing, spiky orb of pure ice energy materializes, ready to detonate. Repeated bam-bam impacts rock the ground as the Frost Blast Bomb unleashes its fury, striking the trapped purple lion-like creatures. Chen's face, cold and unyielding, declares his victory. There isn't a single corner left to hide in. An extreme close-up reveals the sheer agony of a purple lion-like creature, its face contorted and crackling with residual energy from Chen's relentless assault. With a final, desperate roar, the creature lets out a pained roar, its mouth wide in a futile attempt to resist. A colossal blue energy explosion erupts from the ground, obliterating everything in its path, while Chen, now a dark, formidable figure, floats triumphantly above the devastation. The echoes of the battle continue with a resounding wham, signifying the overwhelming force of Chen's attacks. Another powerful wham resonates as the remnants of the battle fade into streaks of light and energy. Amidst a cosmic backdrop, Chen's ice-covered hand, glowing with power, causes cracks to spiderweb across the icy prison, trapping a purple lion-like creature within. Chen completes his transformation, now in his purgatory Rakshasa form, surrounded by crackling pink and blue lightning. System notifications confirm, class switch complete, finish and 17 ASHS. Intense damage. In his formidable purgatory Rakshasa state, Chen's glowing blue eyes fixate forward as a narrative box declares, "The fight on the first floor of the Dreadspire." Chen's fierce, triumphant expression dominates the frame, his sharp teeth and glowing eyes emphasizing his declaration, "Is over." With the battle concluded, Chen unleashes a final, devastating blow. Stellar Warrior Triple Cataclysm Crushing Mode, a blinding beam of energy obliterating the last of his foes. The Stellar Warrior Triple Cataclysm Crushing Mode unleashes its full might, a blinding, magenta beam of pure energy slicing through the air with a deafening swoosh. The devastating attack obliterates the monstrous foes, their dark forms shattering into ice shards across the desolate, icy landscape under a cosmic, star-filled sky. Another swoosh echoes as they vanish. One of the defeated beasts begins to dissipate, its dark energy trailing off as its form whitens and crumbles amidst the ice, accompanied by a soft fade sound. The creature's essence completely vanishes into the frigid air, leaving only faint energy trails and a lingering whoosh as it becomes nothing more than a memory. Chen stands alone, surveying the now empty battlefield. The last traces of his enemies dissipate into the cosmic expanse, a final whoosh marking their complete annihilation. A system notification flashes. Level up. Chen's level surges to 24, his form enveloped in a golden aura of newfound power. The victory screen confirms his triumph, revealing the spoils of battle. 4 Phantomane Bone and 1 Phantomane Heart are added to his inventory. Defeated Phantomane lies inert on the ground, a system prompt appearing above it. Can be devoured. Chen extends his hand, a radiant light emanating from his palm as he prepares to absorb the essence of the fallen beast. A low buzz fills the air. His eyes glow with an intense crimson as Chen demands answers, the power of the devoured beast surging through him. He commands, "Now talk." A blinding flash of energy erupts as Chen forcefully extracts information, questioning the very nature of his new acquisition. What is your class, exactly? The raw energy of the devoured creature swirls and writhes around Chen, manifesting as ethereal pink and purple wisps against a vibrant red backdrop. Chen channels the mystical energy, his hand drawing forth intricate patterns of dark, swirling power. A continuous buzz resonates from the concentrated force. His clenched fist glows intensely, emitting streams of vibrant pink and white energy, a clear manifestation of the power he has just absorbed and mastered. A detailed system card materializes, revealing the Lion King Phantomane as a Stellar Tamer class. Its stats are displayed: Strength 2 stars, Stamina 2 stars, Elemental 2 stars, Speed 3 stars, Luck 2 stars, Mental 3 stars. Chen pores over the newly acquired class information, musing, Tamer. Never seen a class like this before. He deduces, no wonder it kept refusing to engage me directly. Its own stats just aren't up to scratch, so it's been hiding behind its contracted beasts this whole time. The phantom beasts, including the Lion King, move across the icy terrain, a dark oval portal hovering above them, hinting at their summoned or teleported nature. Chen continues to analyze the Stellar Tamer skills, noting the Tame, Stellar Warp ability, consume mental control to teleport to your contracted beast or summon it to you. He acknowledges that teleportation ability is genuinely good. He further evaluates the Tame, Stellar Pact ability to forcibly contract beasts, concluding, and the forced beast contracting is interesting, though it hinges on intimidation. So getting a contracted beast is going to require going in pretty hard. Suddenly, the cosmic icy realm shifts, replaced by a rocky, barren landscape under a swirling nebula. Chen senses the change, murmuring, something just changed. The environment continues its rapid transformation, the sky itself appearing to ripple and shift with a series of soft whoosh sounds. Chen now stands atop a vast, golden desert dune, observing scattered skeletal remains. He questions, so this is what the first floor of the Dreadspire is actually supposed to look like? He gazes upon the bleached bones half buried in the sand, contemplating the desolate scene. What an absolute wasteland. What on earth happened here? As Chen surveys the endless dunes, a towering pillar of crackling, fiery energy erupts from the sand in the distance, accompanied by a distinct clack-clack sound. The fiery pillar continues to surge upwards, its intense orange flames reaching for the sky, emitting another sharp clack. Pillar stabilizes, revealing a swirling, orange portal within its fiery core. A system message confirms the door to the second floor has finally opened. From the depths of the newly opened portal, 2 menacing, glowing purple eyes stare out from the darkness, accompanied by a guttural grrr from within. Chen's expression hardens, his red eyes fixed on the new threat. A sharp swish indicates his readiness to face whatever awaits him on the second floor. As Chen's resolve solidifies, a guttural grrr echoes from the sand, revealing a skeletal structure with piercing purple eyes. A new, formidable threat emerges on the second floor. Sand shifts, revealing a small, fierce beast bound by glowing purple chains. Its tiny form lets out a defiant roar, despite its captivity, hinting at a hidden power. Chen's eyes ignite with a golden glow, lightning crackling around his head. He observes the creature, a thought forming. Wait, there's one little lion left? With a powerful zap, Chen extends a hand, raw lightning energy surging forth, aimed directly at the chained beast. Chen stands over the creature, a blade of lightning in his hand. He deduces the Lion King is dead, but this one didn't vanish with it, so it wasn't one of the Lion King's contracted beasts. He scrutinizes the beast, noting the peculiar restraints. There are stellar chains wrapped all around it. Did the Phantomane Lion King lock it here? Chen's resolve intensifies, golden lightning flaring around him as he prepares to act. The small creature's eyes widen in shock, its tiny fangs bared as Chen's power washes over it. With a series of powerful zaps, Chen unleashes a flurry of lightning slashes, effortlessly shattering the purple stellar chains that bound the creature. Freed from its shackles, the small creature tumbles to the ground with a soft plop, the remnants of the purple energy dissipating around it. Chen looks down at the now free beast, declaring, "Then let me give you back your freedom." Chen's expression is somber, his red eyes reflecting a deep understanding as he gazes at the creature. He addresses the creature, now standing on its own, with a poignant question, "This was your home, wasn't it?" A slight, pained smile touches Chen's lips as he continues, connecting with the creature's plight, watching everyone you knew die, seeing everything you loved destroyed. The small creature gazes up with wide, innocent pink eyes, seemingly absorbing Chen's words. Chen walks towards the towering red structure, the beast trailing behind. He reflects, "It hurts like nothing else, but stay alive, keep going." His resolve firm, he declares, "Time for me to head down to the next floor." Suddenly, a series of rapid bzzzt sounds fills the air as a vibrant pink energy wave emanates from the beast's direction, signaling an incoming system alert. The system activates, "Beast contract request incoming." It displays a recruitment success rate 100% and unlocked passive skill X2. Passive skill 1, boost contracted beast stats, experience returned. Passive skill 2, access to beast's live field of vision if in danger. Chen's eyes widen in surprise, a bead of sweat forming as he processes the unexpected contract request and its powerful benefits. Turns his head slightly, a questioning sound escaping his lips. "HM?" The system further identifies the creature, CONTRACTABLE, Lion King Leo. The system prompt becomes explicit, "Lion King Leo is requesting to enter a contract with you. Do you accept?" Chen looks down at Lion King Leo, his voice filled with a mix of surprise and curiosity. "You want to follow me?" Lion King Leo responds with an eager AWO, its determination clear in its bright pink eyes. Chen faces the formidable Devil Tower, declaring his unwavering resolve, "From now on, I will conquer every floor of this Devil Tower, one step at a time. With every floor, the monsters will become even more vicious." He looks at Lion King Leo, emphasizing the grave dangers ahead. "You could be injured, or even lose your life. Have you truly thought this through?" Lion King Leo barks back with an even more emphatic AWO, its expression resolute, accepting the perilous journey ahead. With a final powerful surge, Chen's eye glows a brilliant purple as he declares, his voice ringing with absolute authority, "Consent to sign the contract." The contract is sealed. Chen's eye pulses with radiant purple energy, a star-shaped pentagram burning at its core. The system confirms, "Lion King Leo contract established. Status finished." The system interface flashes, revealing the newly acquired Star Beast Master class. Core stats like strength, stamina, speed, and spirit are displayed, alongside powerful abilities: Beast Binding, Astral Spirit Pact for forcible recruitment, Passive Attribute Enhancement, and Beast Binding, Astral Orbit Jump for instant travel. System message, passive skills activated. Status finished. Chen, his eyes still glowing purple, snaps his fingers with a confident smirk. Beside him, the adorable, fluffy Lion King Leo cub bounces with excitement as Chen declares, "All right then, let's head out together." A colossal, swirling vortex of fiery orange energy dominates the landscape as Chen, his back to the viewer, confidently strides towards it. Lion King Leo trots diligently behind him. Chen instructs, "Make sure to protect yourself while I'm fighting." The cub responds with an eager "Owu AWO." Engulfed by the fiery orange maelstrom, Chen descends into the depths of the portal. The intense energy swirls around him, pulling him into the unknown. Chen's face is etched with fierce determination, his red eyes burning with resolve. The fiery background reflects the perilous environment he has entered. A vast, scorching landscape unfolds, filled with jagged, glowing rock formations and molten rivers. Chen stands as a solitary figure on a distant cliff, surveying the hellish new realm. Sweat pours down Chen's face as he looks around, his red eyes wide with discomfort amidst the swirling inferno. He gasps, "HAAH, it's so hot. I feel like I'm going to melt at any moment." Lion King Leo, the small white cub, cautiously peeks over a rocky ledge, its pink eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of trepidation at the sight of the bubbling, molten lava below. Chen walks along a perilous path above the lava, contemplating the challenges ahead. Lion King Leo playfully hops beside him as Chen wonders aloud, "I wonder what we'll encounter on this floor." Chen's red eye snaps open, a sharp glint of focus and urgency. Motion lines streak across the panel, indicating a sudden, intense reaction to an unseen threat. A sudden, powerful impact sends Chen recoiling, a dark, void-like hole appearing on his chest amidst a burst of white energy. His eyes widen in shock and pain as red and white streaks flash across the background. An extreme close-up reveals Chen's red eyes, wide with horror and pain, as splatters of blood mark his face. A jagged red speech bubble with a question mark signifies his utter shock and confusion at the devastating attack. A chilling title card appears, glowing in vibrant pink and orange hues, depicting monstrous characters with sharp teeth and a single blue eye, announcing the name of the terrifying entity, the Glutton. Chen jolts upright in bed, clutching his chest in pain, a lightning bolt graphic highlighting his sudden, agonizing awakening. He gasps, "AH." Still sweating and looking troubled, Chen ponders the recent nightmare. He questions, just what kind of terrifying power was that? A close-up on Si Chen's red eye, a bead of sweat tracing his cheek, reveals his deep concern. He thinks, what exactly is the monster on this second floor? Si Chen, seen from behind, glances towards his closed bedroom door as a voice calls out, "Bro, come out and eat breakfast." An inviting breakfast spread is laid out, a steaming bowl of ramen topped with egg and meat, a vibrant plate of fresh fruit, and a cup of coffee, all sparkling with appetizing allure. Si Chen sits at the table, chopsticks in hand, his eyes wide with delight at the meal. He exclaims, "This breakfast is an absolute feast." In the background, Si Chen's sister puts on her backpack, ready to leave. Si Chen's sister bends down to tie her shoes, her backpack already on. Si Chen looks at her, asking, "Xiaoyun, where are you going in such a rush? Hasn't summer vacation already started?" She replies, "My summer job." Si Chen's face shows surprise as he asks, "Huh? Didn't I tell you that you could leave the money matters to me?" Si Chen's sister, with her yellow backpack, turns to him with a confident smile. She states, "My brother has made it to the top, so his sister can't fall behind." She adds, "Besides, isn't staying home all summer boring?" Si Chen's sister departs through the door, calling out, "I'm OFF. Remember to wash the dishes and hang the clothes." Si Chen, seen from behind, offers a silent ellipsis in response to his new chores. A close-up shows a sink full of dirty dishes, with water pouring into a bowl, signifying the task left for Si Chen. Si Chen looks forward, a calm, reflective expression on his face. He thinks, Xiaoyun has always been like this. A framed photo on a table shows a cheerful Si Chen's sister making peace signs next to a cool-looking Si Chen. He reflects, she lives her life with grit and determination, and no matter the circumstances, she is clearly still just a child. Si Chen, his gaze fixed on a glowing tablet, continues to ponder the immense responsibility that rests upon his shoulders. He resolves to confront the Demon King, Wrath, as soon as his school obligations are complete. A heavy thought weighs on him. He knows he won't be able to stay by Xiaoyun's side for much longer. Si Chen's sister's innocent smile reinforces Si Chen's deepest fear. She remains the sole person he truly worries about. Suddenly, a realization strikes Si Chen, his eye widening in a flash of insight, exclaiming, "Wait!" A new possibility sparks in his mind as Si Chen presses his fingers to his temple, considering, perhaps I could do this. With a surge of power, Si Chen's eyes glow purple as a dark void rips open above him, from which a small, luminous creature tumbles. Si Chen stares in utter disbelief, his glowing purple eyes wide with shock, exclaiming, "I actually can barely believe it." He successfully managed to summon a contracted beast from the Dreamscape Devil Tower. The creature, meanwhile, looks utterly bewildered. The summoned creatures, now revealed to be multiple, immediately begin to wreak playful havoc, scattering papers and tearing at a tissue box in the room. A system screen details the Phantom Spirit Lion King, revealing its impressive stats and unique abilities like Astral Spiritage and Astral Orbit Jump. Si Chen realizes he can have Leo follow Xiaoyun while he's away, ensuring he'll instantly detect any danger and rush to her side. Si Chen, holding the beast's summoning card, recalls how Si Chen's sister has always adored cats and dogs. He muses that if it's a small lion, he's sure she'll accept it. A sudden, jarring clang echoes from the kitchen, startling Si Chen, who turns sharply towards the sound. Si Chen cautiously peers into the kitchen, his expression filled with apprehension as sounds of crunch and clatter emanate from within. Si Chen stands frozen in the doorway, his earlier confidence crumbling as he surveys the chaotic scene. Leo is on the counter, merrily crunching on a plate amidst shattered dishes. He weakly tries to convince himself, "I'm sure she can accept it." As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a warm glow, the urban landscape of power lines and buildings stands silhouetted against the vibrant sky. Suddenly, an electrical insulator on a utility pole shatters, releasing a burst of dark energy and crackling yellow lightning. The wounded man, drenched in his own blood, gasps for air, desperately clutching a glowing blue blade as he warns an unseen threat to stay away. A terrifying, shadowy claw, wreathed in dark red energy, looms over the wounded man, who can only stammer, what are you?" The shadowy entity strikes with lethal force, impaling the wounded man through the back with a crimson, glowing blade, sending blood splattering. The wounded man's face contorts in a mask of pure agony and terror, blood gushing as he barely manages to utter, "Just what?" His bloodshot eye, wide with horror, reflects the monstrous visage of his attacker as he completes his terrified question, "Kind of monster?" The wounded man's body is rapidly consumed by tendrils of white energy, pulled into a dark void as a system notification confirms devouring is in progress. Si Chen's sister, looking exhausted but relieved, finally finishes work. She laments the overwhelming crowds buying milk tea during summer vacation, sighing that standing all day is absolutely exhausting. As she walks, Si Chen's sister glances up, wondering if her brother will like the flavor of the drink she's carrying. Si Chen's sister continues her walk through the quiet, deserted street, the silence punctuated only by the distant hum of the city. She proceeds down the alley, unaware of any lurking danger, her steps echoing softly in the stillness. Si Chen's sister's eyes widen in surprise as a voice declares, "You finally arrived." A vibrant bouquet of red roses, sparkling with an ethereal glow, accompanies a voice that repeats, "You're finally here." The speaker is revealed to be Jean Duoxin, a Clearwater middle school student with pink hair, who greets Si Chen's sister with a charming smile and a bouquet of roses, saying, "I've been waiting for you, Xiaoyun." Jin Duoxin, still holding his bouquet, confidently declares that Si Chen's sister rushed off last time, missing his invitation. He further boasts that he's rented out the entire top floor of the Zifeng building again, assuring her of an exclusive date. Si Chen's sister, her expression unreadable, questions Jin Duoxin, demanding to know how he discovered where she lived. With a smug grin, Jin Duoxin reveals his connections, casually mentioning that his father is the director of the first hospital, making it trivial to locate her. Si Chen's sister firmly rejects him, stating they come from entirely different worlds and ordering him never to seek her out again as she turns to leave. Before she can get far, Jin Duoxin aggressively grabs her arm, a sharp sound effect emphasizing the force of his hold. Jin Duoxin's expression hardens as he clutches her arm, asserting that her failure to show up would be a complete disrespect to him, especially after he invited friends. Si Chen's sister glares back, her pink eyes blazing with fury. She defiantly asks why she should show him any respect and calls out his creepy behavior of staking out her home. Jin Duoxin's face contorts into a snarl, his eyes wide with disbelief and rage as he demands to know who she thinks she is. His anger escalates as he rages, accusing her of throwing his attempts at kindness back in his face. Jin Duoxin's face is now a mask of pure fury, his eyes bulging as he menacingly threatens her, questioning if she truly believes he couldn't have his way with her in mere minutes. In a sudden burst of defiance, Si Chen's sister delivers a powerful, explosive punch directly to Jin Duoxin's face, the impact radiating intense energy. Jin Duoxin collapses to the ground, clutching his injured face as Si Chen's sister stands over him, scornfully telling him to get his brain checked at his father's hospital. With a final, furious glare, Si Chen's sister warns Jin Duoxin to stop bothering her, declaring that he has completely ruined her mood for the day. Suddenly, a pair of large, sparkling pink eyes peer up, belonging to a small, fluffy white creature, immediately shifting the mood. Si Chen's sister cradles the adorable white, lion-like creature, its tiny paws and tail visible, as she gasps in utter delight. Her face now radiates pure joy, her eyes sparkling with heart-shaped pupils as she excitedly asks her brother where he found such an adorable magical beast. Completely enamored, Si Chen's sister hugs the fluffy creature tightly, her smile wide and genuine, all traces of her earlier anger vanished. Si Chen, sitting nearby, informs his sister that the creature's name is Leo and she will be taking care of him from now on. Si Chen's sister, still holding Leo, exclaims in wonder if she can truly raise a little lion. Si Chen's sister observes Leo thoughtfully, noting her surprise that such a tiny creature already has a long mane, as she believed only adult male lions grew them. Leo purrs contentedly in her arms. Overjoyed, Si Chen's sister declares her intention to get a magical beast adoption license and officially register little Leo tomorrow. Si Chen watches her with a subtle smile. A close-up on Si Chen reveals a gentle smile as he muses that his sister, Xiaoyun, has grown quite fond of Leo. The calm is broken by a sudden ding sound, indicating a notification on Si Chen's smartphone. Si Chen immediately checks his phone, his expression turning serious as he reads the new message. A determined glint appears in his eyes as he focuses intently on the screen, hinting at the significance of the message. The screen reveals an email from the Guild Supervisory Bureau addressed to Si Chen, confirming that his submitted application has been rigorously reviewed and approved. Si Chen internally exclaims his excitement, realizing his application was finally accepted. Si Chen's face now holds a confident, almost cunning smirk as he looks up from his phone, declaring next up, hinting at his future plans. The scene transitions, establishing a new location, 1510 outskirts, Greenlight Forest, depicted by a misty, verdant forest landscape. An official-looking man with a mustache and round glasses, glowing with green energy, addresses unseen individuals, announcing the assessment details for the two tiebreaker candidates. The official-looking man, radiating green energy, declares the school board's decision. This critical tiebreaker assessment will be held deep within a wild, deranked Devil's Cave in Greenlight Forest. He further clarifies that both candidates, unidentified protagonist and Gongting, will face their assessment together within the very same Devil's Cave. The official-looking man warns of the unknown internal environment of a wild Devil's Cave, emphasizing the significantly higher risks compared to standard school assessments. To mitigate this, 3 senior guild raid team members from the Dongxin Nation have been dispatched as accompanying examiners. These examiners, including Ivan of the Empire Guild, a C-rank Flora chanter, are tasked not only with providing protection but also with scoring the candidates in real time based on their performance. The other 2 examiners are introduced: Kaiyu of the Divine Eye Guild, a C-rank nuclear shooter, and Yuta Sato of the Infong Guild, a C-rank star warrior. The official-looking man reiterates that the final results of the assessment hinge entirely on the scores awarded by these 3 formidable examiners. From a clandestine observation room, a shadowy figure with sunglasses ominously states that these 3 examiners must perform their duties flawlessly, ensuring everything is handled without leaving a single trace. Another observer questions the purple-haired evaluator, noting that his itinerary in the Dongxin Nation concluded 2 days prior, yet he remains. He asks why, exactly, he is still present. The purple-haired evaluator responds with a sly smirk, musing what could possibly be more interesting than the unfolding events before them. Unidentified protagonist and Gongting stand poised, their profiles sharp against the blue-tinged backdrop, awaiting the final declaration. The purple-haired evaluator, with a subtle smile, admits that it has been many years since he last witnessed a duel between true geniuses, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. With a dramatic flourish, the official-looking man raises his arm, the green energy around him swirling as he prepares to make the grand announcement. His voice booms, declaring the official start of the tiebreaker, Chen vs. Gongting. The assessment officially begins as Chen and Gongting stride forward, stepping into the vibrant green portal, leaving the official-looking man behind. Chen's profile is etched with determination, his gaze fixed ahead as he enters the glowing gateway, ready to face the unknown challenges within. The scene blurs, transitioning from the vibrant green portal to the shadowy, gnarled silhouettes of ancient trees, signaling their entry into the Devil's Cave. A wide shot reveals the eerie, desolate landscape of the Devil's Cave, a twisted forest under a dim, otherworldly sky, with Chen and Gongting now small figures against the vastness. Chen pauses, his expression serious, while Gongting continues to advance deeper into the ominous, green-tinged depths of the Devil's Cave. Caillou observes the environment, noting the abundance of dead trees and concluding it's a flora-type Devil's Cave. Meanwhile, Ivan attempts to light a cigarette, only for Yuta Sato to remind him they are proctoring an exam and the cameras are still rolling. Suddenly, Chen's eyes flash red as a system warning, depicted by jagged red lines and ominous characters, flashes across his chest. The warning intensifies, a large red hexagonal symbol overlaying Chen's chest, indicating a critical alert with urgent, indecipherable characters. Clear system notification blazes into view, a high-risk warning and high-risk monster detected. The narrator notes this is the first time the Devil Heart has ever issued such a warning. The ominous red warning symbols reappear on Chen, his red eyes reflecting the sudden danger. The system alert now clearly states danger, extremely high rank, confirming a highly dangerous threat within the D-rank cave. Chen thinks to himself, bewildered, that this is the first time he has ever seen the Devil Heart send such a potent warning. Just as quickly as it appeared, the alert vanishes, leaving Chen in a state of confusion and unease. As Chen and Gongting continue through the desolate, twisted forest, Chen ponders the unsettling question: can high-rank monsters truly exist within a mere D-rank lair? Twisted, ancient trees of the D-rank lair loom under a heavy, overcast sky, their gnarled branches reaching like skeletal fingers. Gongting strides forward, his hand instinctively on his blade, a silent resolve in his eyes as Chen follows, a slight hesitation in his step. Distant figures observe their progress. From the ridge above, the evaluators note the increasing density of the fog, one remarking on its thickness. Another sternly reminds them to remain vigilant and keep the examinees within sight. Suddenly, the ground erupts before them as a monstrous D-rank creature bursts forth, scattering jagged rock fragments into the air. The creature reveals itself as a toxin cage ant, a D-rank AoE archer, its segmented body and glowing green abdomen indicating its poisonous nature. Without hesitation, Gongting's hand tightens around the hilt of his blade, drawing it with a swift, decisive motion. Gongting explodes into action, lunging forward with incredible speed, his blade gleaming as he charges the monstrous ant. The toxin cage ant unleashes a volley of virulent green projectiles, demonstrating the raw, untamed power of wild lair monsters, far surpassing those found in controlled school environments. Gongting deftly parries the incoming toxic projectiles, his blade glowing with a fierce yellow energy as he weaves through the barrage. Pressing his advantage, Gongting continues his relentless assault, moving beneath the creature as it recoils from his initial strikes, dark green ichor splattering. With a precise strike, Gongting targets the toxin cage ant's vulnerable venom sac, rupturing it and causing dark, corrosive fluids to spill onto the ground. Gongting's eyes burn with focused intensity, his golden-hued blade still shimmering with residual energy from his powerful attack. The toxin cage ant lets out a guttural roar, its red eyes blazing with pain and fury as more green venom streams from its maw. Gongting delivers the decisive blow, his blazing blade piercing through the monster's head, culminating in a powerful burst of energy and dark, viscous fluid. Activating blazing blade penetration, Gongting leaps clear as the monster detonates in a blinding explosion of golden energy, utterly annihilated. From their vantage point, the evaluators watch the lingering golden light dissipate, a testament to the swift and overwhelming power of Gongting's final strike. The female evaluator in the cowboy hat registers the perfect execution, a glowing 10 appearing over her, signifying maximum points. The lean scientist observes, commending Gongting's battle logic for immediately locating and severing the monster's long-range venom organ, effectively neutralizing its combat ability, awarding him a perfect 10 points for strategic thinking. The stout scientist adds his assessment, praising Gongting's decisive execution strike delivered without a moment's hesitation, and awards him a perfect 10 points for finishing intensity. Gongting stands composed, his sword now sheathed, having demonstrated flawless positioning, control, and execution precise as a scalpel. The evaluators acknowledge his outstanding calm and decisiveness, especially against a wild D-rank lair monster. Meanwhile, Chen stands alone, lost in thought, lamenting his own performance. He reflects on his lack of reaction when the monster appeared, merely wandering aimlessly, concluding his efforts were a complete failure. Gongting observes Chen, a thoughtful silence falling over him as he processes the stark contrast in their performances. In a remote observation room, two shadowy figures intently watch Chen's movements displayed on a massive, glowing blue screen. The elderly advisor addresses the man seated before him, identifying him as Yuanlong. He then poses a question, asking what Yuanlong believes Chen is truly searching for. The elderly advisor leans in, beginning to articulate his theory, suggesting Chen is searching for something specific. The elderly advisor concludes his thought, surmising that Chen is seeking a way to achieve a high score in a single, decisive move as Chen stands poised atop a swirling vortex of energy or roots. Chen, his eyes now glowing with an intense yellow light, extends his hand, crackling with raw, golden lightning, declaring that he has found what he was looking for. The raw golden lightning, now fully unleashed, slams into the ground with devastating force, carving a path of destruction through the earth. Unidentified protagonist stands firm amidst the golden lightning that erupts around him, his hand crackling with the same potent energy. Surrounded by blinding golden energy, unidentified protagonist faces a swarm of grotesque rank monsters, their shadowy forms writhing as they emerge from the chaos. A blur of golden light streaks across the battlefield, leaving no trace of the monstrous forms caught in its devastating path. The golden energy continues its relentless assault, tearing through the horde with blinding speed and power. Observer, aghast, shouts that unidentified protagonist is charging straight into the monster's nest, questioning his sanity. Dongting, equally alarmed, stresses that they are dealing with deranged monsters and such recklessness jeopardizes everyone. Chen's gaze is sharp, his yellow eyes reflecting a fierce resolve as he observes the unfolding chaos. A heavy boot slams down, radiating golden lightning and sending shockwaves through the ground, propelling unidentified protagonist forward. Activating his technique, unidentified protagonist transforms into a blur of golden energy, becoming a Volt assassin as he lunges with electrifying speed. Streaks of golden lightning converge, piercing through a D-rank monster with lethal precision, tearing its form apart. Golden lightning continues its deadly dance, striking multiple D-rank monsters simultaneously, their bodies writhing under the potent electrical assault. Another D-rank monster is caught in the golden crossfire, its carapace fracturing under the relentless barrage of lightning. The entire area is engulfed in a chaotic web of golden lightning as unidentified protagonist, moving like a phantom, systematically eradicates the D-rank monster horde. Golden energy carves through the monstrous forms, leaving behind abstract splatters of dark green essence as they are annihilated. With a final, decisive horizontal slash of golden energy, unidentified protagonist sweeps through the last of the D-rank monsters, their forms dissolving into dark green mist. Standing amidst the shattered remnants of the D-rank monsters, unidentified protagonist holds twin blades of crackling golden energy, the storm-laden sky mirroring the intensity of his recent victory. A group of observers watches in stunned silence, one of them barely managing to articulate their shock. What did he just do? As unidentified protagonist surveys the carnage, an incredulous voice questions the reports. Didn't the report say he was only E-rank? How is he killing this many D-rank monsters above his level? Isn't that a bit too strong? Observers struggle to grade the performance, one muttering, what do we even say to grade this? Another laments, there's really no way to give this examinee a low score. The dreadlocked man suggests, we could say he was too reckless? Chen's intense yellow eyes remain fixed, as if contemplating the implications of the display, his name quietly uttered by an unseen observer. The elderly advisor laughs heartily, turning to the purple-haired evaluator and exclaiming, ha ha ha, you really called it, old man. An observer remarks with a grave expression, the exam barely started and we're already seeing such an amazing head-to-head show. Interesting, very interesting. Purple-haired evaluator smirks, musing aloud, I wonder how Gongting will answer that next. The monitoring screen suddenly glitches, distorting the image of unidentified protagonist into a chaotic mess of blue pixels and broken lines. The glitch intensifies, culminating in a stark signal lost warning emblazoned across the screen, leaving the observing figures in uncertainty. One of the observers, clearly frustrated, questions, what's wrong with the signal again? Outside the lair, at 1600 hours, the lean scientist frantically types away at his console, a chorus of beep sounds echoing as swirling green energy pulses behind him, indicating a critical situation. Monitor flashes a critical signal anomaly alert, displaying a corrupted D symbol for the lair scan and an escalating anomaly percentage of 23%. The anomaly worsens, transforming the screen into a chaotic mess of static and a giant, ominous red question mark, signaling an unknown and rapidly escalating risk level. A scientist, his brow furrowed with concern, stares intently at a device, a single bead of sweat tracing a path down his temple as he exclaims in disbelief, HUH. The lean scientist, along with two other researchers, scrambles amidst glowing green monitors, one of them shouting in alarm, demanding to know what is happening with this lair. Within the rocky cavern, a vibrant, swirling green portal pulsates with raw energy, a mesmerizing yet unsettling sight. Suddenly, the luminous green portal vanishes, leaving behind only an empty, dark abyss within the rock face as an unidentified observer in the foreground gasps, the entrance disappeared? Ethereal, glowing pink and green patterns drift across the darkness, accompanied by scattered musical notes, hinting at a mystical influence. The unidentified protagonist stands in profile, his expression serious as the same vibrant, glowing patterns swirl around him, imbued with musical notes. The surreal, glowing pink and green energy continues to ripple across the scene, a single musical note floating prominently in the foreground. A pair of menacing, glowing red eyes pierce through the darkness, radiating an intense, star-like light as a chilling message appears, the voice of Demon King Wrath. The screen displays a critical update, 1600 hours currently outside the Demon's Lair dungeon. Before the now empty dungeon entrance, an unidentified observer throws his hands up in shock, questioning if the entrance truly vanished, while the lean scientist at the console exclaims his confusion, reporting an abnormality signal. Sweat pouring down his face, the lean scientist frantically urges his colleagues to hurry and request immediate backup from their superiors. The unidentified protagonist looks up sharply, his expression startled, as the mysterious pink and green energy patterns swirl above him in the eerie, twisted forest. The unidentified protagonist stands in the foreground, while behind him, Lan Yue, the elderly advisor, and the purple-haired evaluator observe from a rocky incline, their attention drawn by the strange energy. The purple-haired evaluator turns his head, a questioning look on his face, as if sensing the unfolding anomaly. An unidentified man in a cowboy hat asks his companions, Zhang Jian and an unidentified man with dreadlocks, if they heard that strange sound, to which the dreadlocked man begins to respond about a strange presence. The unidentified protagonist's eyes widen, glowing red, as a pounding thump-thump echoes, and he realizes with a jolt, this is the voice of the Demon King Wrath. The ominous red eyes and starlight burst return, accompanied by intense thump sounds, as the unidentified protagonist internally questions why they are hearing Wrath's voice inside this dungeon. The unidentified protagonist is bombarded by multiple red hexagonal warnings, blaring high-risk warning, and a high-risk monster has been detected, as a bzzz sound vibrates around him. With a grim expression and glowing red eyes, the unidentified protagonist acknowledges that his magical core is once again sending him dire warnings. The unidentified protagonist walks across a desolate, root-filled landscape, accompanied by the purple-haired evaluator, as the glowing pink and green patterns continue to drift and soft step sounds mark their progress. Ominous black smoke trails across the desolate terrain, punctuated by eerie ki sounds as the step sound effects continue to echo. The unidentified man with dreadlocks, looking visibly concerned, asks what that mysterious thing is in the distance, while the man in the cowboy hat watches intently. Through the swirling mist, two glowing red eyes emerge, accompanied by the persistent step sounds, signaling an unseen, approaching threat. With a powerful surge, a monstrous insectoid creature, wreathed in purple energy, bursts forth, its imposing form framed by streaks of blue light as the step sounds intensify. A title card appears, dramatically revealing the monster's name, the Glutton. The unidentified man with dreadlocks recoils in shock, a slish sound effect emphasizing his fear, as he points at the monstrous creature and exclaims, "What the heck is this thing talking about?" The monstrous creature lets out an eerie kiki, prompting the purple-haired evaluator to wonder if it can speak human language and declare it must be at least C rank, while the unidentified protagonist questions how such a high-tier monster could exist in a D rank lair. The unidentified man with dreadlocks leaps back with a fwash as a glowing pink energy axe-like projectile flies past him, realizing that monsters of this caliber are far too dangerous for the candidates. As the dreadlocked man brings down his glowing pink energy axe with a powerful thwack, Gong Ting shouts a stern warning, "Get back!" Despite his powerful attack, the dreadlocked man suffers a deep gash on his arm, blood welling from the fresh wound. The monstrous, mantis-like creature, its eyes burning purple, retaliates with a swift, deadly strike, sending the dreadlocked man flying back with a pshhhh as blood erupts from his injury. A man in a cowboy hat watches the brutal exchange, his face etched with shock at the speed and ferocity of the monster's counterattack. The mantis-like monster continues its assault, its deadly blade leaving trails of green energy, while its menacing voice echoes, declaring, "All of you should just..." Before Gong Ting can react, the monster's blade pierces him with a sickening stab, blood gushing from the wound. The monster's chilling voice finishes its deadly intent, proclaiming, "Die here." Mantis-like monster looms over its fallen prey, its glowing purple eyes fixated on Gong Ting's bleeding form. Gong Ting grits his teeth, a pained UGH escaping his lips as he struggles against the agonizing wound. Defying his critical injury, Gong Ting unleashes a desperate counterattack, his glowing sword arcing downward with a fierce slash towards the monster. The mantis-like monster recoils, its glowing purple eyes widening in surprise at Gong Ting's unexpected defiance. With a sudden burst of strength, Gong Ting delivers a powerful kick to the monster, sending it staggering backward with a bright flash of impact. The monster slides rapidly down the rocky incline with a swoosh, temporarily disengaged from the fight. Severely wounded and bleeding, Gong Ting turns his gaze to Chen, explaining, "Chen, the Lord attacked me first." Gong Ting's eyes glow with fierce determination as he declares, "According to the priority, it belongs to me alone. You are not allowed to interfere." Chen meets Gong Ting's gaze, his own red eyes reflecting a silent, intense reaction to the challenge. Chen's eyes suddenly blaze with an intense emerald green light, signaling an awakening of his power. Gong Ting glances back at the retreating monster, a system notification displaying its status as a C-rank mid-tier creature. System updates, revealing the creature's true formidable status, a C-rank high-tier monster. The C-rank high-tier monster stands poised, its sharp, insectoid limbs and menacing blades ready for another devastating attack. Zhang Jian urgently warns the injured Gongting, Master Gongting, you need immediate treatment. I suggest we temporarily suspend the exam and retreat immediately. This lord is far too dangerous even for you. Gongting's hand glows with a searing orange energy as he presses it against his wound, defiantly stating, "No." With a resolute expression, Gongting unleashes a powerful blaze of high-temperature flames from his hand, cauterizing his own grievous wound to stop the bleeding. Chen observes Gongting's brutal self-treatment, wondering, using high-temperature flames to stop his bleeding? His wound still sizzling with residual heat, Gongting firmly declares, "I reject your suggestion." His determination burns as brightly as the flames that sealed his injury. With a fierce roar, Gongting's eyes ablaze with unyielding resolve, he proclaims, "This duel must go on." The C-rank high-tier monster's glowing purple eyes narrow, acknowledging Gongting's renewed challenge. Gongting's sword ignites with furious, dancing flames, ready to unleash a devastating fiery strike. Leaping into the air, Gongting brings his flame-engulfed sword down in a powerful overhead strike, aiming to cleave through the monster. As a massive, shadowy cave entrance looms, the elderly advisor explains, there have been instances before where the entrance to the demon lair disappeared. The elderly advisor continues, explaining that such disappearing entrances are a clear indication that the dungeon houses highly intelligent demons. Lan Yue, the Imperial Guild leader, reveals the demons' cunning strategy. They open the lair's entrance, then seal it to trap humans inside. The elderly advisor, in a panic, questions if there's any other way to reopen the demon's lair, desperate because Gongting is still trapped inside. Lan Yue's gaze hardens as he states with resolve that there is only one definitive method to force the lair open. He declares the only way is to eliminate the demon lair's lord, a chilling solution against a backdrop of swirling, dark energy. The elderly advisor breathes a sigh of relief, reasoning that a D-tier demon lair can only house a C-tier lord at most, making the task seem manageable. But Lan Yue swiftly corrects him, revealing the D-tier ranking is merely a deceptive facade created by the demon lord within, leaving the elderly advisor stunned. Lan Yue's piercing blue eyes convey the gravity of the situation as he shares his observation about the true nature of the demon lair. He concludes that this specific demon lair is highly likely the true cause behind the mysterious, long-standing disappearances of awakeners. The elderly advisor's face contorts in terror, realizing the immense danger this situation poses as a deep, foreboding cave entrance looms below. He finally grasps the true threat, declaring that this isn't a D-tier but an extremely high-risk B-tier dungeon as he and Lan Yue stand before the ominous entrance. Inside the dungeon, a monstrous mantis-like demon with glowing pink eyes unleashes a flurry of sharp green energy blades. Chen, wielding a radiant orange sword, expertly parries the demon's rapid green energy attacks, a fierce battle unfolding in the shadowy depths. Chen holds his glowing sword ready, poised in a low, aggressive stance, his eyes fixed on his monstrous opponent. The mantis demon lets out a piercing screech as a powerful, cross-shaped impact strikes above it, indicating a successful hit. Chen descends from above, his glowing sword aimed for a brutal strike, while the demon attempts to block with its massive, green forelimb. The demon's powerful green blade slams into the ground, shattering the earth and sending debris flying, missing its target. Chen plunges his luminous blade into the demon's prone body, declaring that its opening has finally presented itself for a finishing blow. With a final, decisive strike, Chen's glowing sword pierces through the demon, splattering blood and confirming its defeat. The vanquished mantis demon's body tumbles across the ground, leaving a dark, swirling trail of dissipated energy in its wake. The demon's head lies half buried in the earth while a group of survivors, including the unidentified protagonist, gather under a massive tree, witnessing the aftermath. The unidentified protagonist stares in disbelief, questioning how Gongting could have possibly defeated the formidable demon lord all by himself. Gongting stands tall, his sword at his side, as the narrator reflects on the incredible strength displayed by young Master Gong. A man with blue hair heals another's arm with glowing green energy, asking how he feels now, to which the injured man expresses gratitude for the timely healing. The healed man glances at his wristband, a red X glowing ominously on its display, prompting a confused HM from him. The wristband clearly shows a no-signal icon and a large red X as the man realizes his device has completely lost connection with the outside world. The man in the hat exclaims that his device is also down, while another confirms that all signals are lost and the compass system is malfunctioning, leaving them stranded. The dire situation escalates as a voice cries out, realizing their camera drone has also malfunctioned, cutting off their last link to the outside world. Zhang Jian, his sharp eyes narrowed, questions the escalating failures, a silent query hanging in the air. Yet, the monstrous entity, its body riddled with wounds and oozing green fluid, continues to surge with malevolent pink energy. Even its severed limb twitches with a horrifying, residual power, defying death itself. Zhang Jian watches, his expression grim, as the monster's unnatural vitality becomes horrifyingly clear. Suddenly, a flurry of golden energy slashes through the monster's form, tearing it apart with precise, devastating force. The monster erupts in a shower of golden fragments, yielding a significant experience gain of 2,000 points. Zhang Jian stares in disbelief, exclaiming that he had definitively decapitated the creature, questioning how it could still be moving after such a fatal blow. The unidentified protagonist calmly explains that the creature they just defeated was merely a hypnotized decoy capable of movement even after its apparent demise. He urgently warns the group to evacuate the lair immediately, cautioning that they could be the next victims of the insidious hypnosis. Zhang Jian confronts the unidentified protagonist, demanding to know how he possesses such intimate knowledge of the lair and its dangers. The dreadlock man vehemently dismisses the unidentified protagonist's words as nonsense, insisting that a lair can only contain one C-rank lord and the monster they fought was clearly of upper C-rank. Suddenly, Chen's eyes widen in alarm as multiple system warnings flash, indicating the detection of a high-danger, high-rank monster. A chilling purple vortex of energy manifests, twisting and radiating an ominous power that distorts the very air around it. The man in the hat clutches his head, his eyes glowing a malevolent pink as the insidious purple energy begins to seep into his mind, overwhelming him. The other members of the group are similarly afflicted, their eyes turning pink as the hypnotic energy ensnares them, rendering them helpless. The unidentified protagonist touches his ear, a grim realization dawning upon him as he mutters that it is already too late to stop the pervasive influence. He recognizes the distinct sound wave, a chilling familiarity from his past life, revealing that Wrath employed this very same method of sonic hypnosis. A haunting flashback shows the devastating effects of the sound wave as a victim collapses, blood erupting from their head, a grim testament to its lethal power. Another memory flashes, depicting the unidentified protagonist desperately holding Chen's sister in a downpour, a scene steeped in sorrow and loss. The unidentified protagonist reveals the horrifying objective to hypnotize and slaughter countless ordinary humans across the entire world using this very power. With a resolute gaze, the unidentified protagonist steels his resolve, preparing to confront the looming threat. The group presses forward through the desolate, rocky terrain, purple energy trails swirling around them as they venture deeper into the lair. The unidentified protagonist declares with certainty that the lair's true lord is unequivocally connected to Wrath, stating it's finally time for their inevitable confrontation as they approach the ominous entrance. Their silhouettes are swallowed by the cavern's depths, the pulsating purple energy intensifying as they step into the heart of the enemy's domain. The unidentified protagonist looks up, his face illuminated by the eerie purple glow, his expression a mixture of determination and grim anticipation. Before them lies the true horror, a colossal, multi-headed serpent-like entity coiled atop the cavern, its form crackling with purple energy, surrounded by an army of grotesque green egg-like structures. Path ahead is a grim testament to past failures, strewn with countless skulls and bones, a silent warning to the intruders. The unidentified protagonist reveals his prepared countermeasure, explaining that just like Wrath, this entity uses alpha-band sound waves for hypnosis, which he can nullify with pre-prepared beta-band audio. Despite his preparations, the unidentified protagonist understands the dire situation. These hypnotized individuals, lacking any anti-hypnosis measures, face imminent death. He must eliminate this lord as swiftly as possible. Monstrous entity, the lord, stirs, letting out a low, guttural sound, sensing the presence of fresh prey. It murmurs, thick. The lord's predatory thoughts echo, thick, fresh, as its gaze sweeps over the helpless, hypnotized crowd, including the unidentified protagonist. A chilling whisper fills the air. The unidentified protagonist's eyes briefly glow with a similar red hue, hinting at the struggle against the entity's influence. The scene shifts abruptly to a brutal past as a blood-soaked hand clutches a jagged, splintered wooden club, dripping crimson onto the dusty ground. Young Gong Ting stands over a defeated opponent, his clothes torn and stained with blood, the crude weapon still in his grasp, a testament to his brutal victory. From his opulent seat, an unidentified male, stern and composed, observes the scene. He acknowledges Gong Ting's triumph, stating, "Good, today, you won again." The unidentified male's voice rings out, addressing the victor directly, Gong Ting. His youthful face, marred by cuts and bruises, reflects a hardened resolve at just 8 years old. Gong Ting turns his back on the fallen, walking towards the grand table. The unidentified male's voice invites, "Winners, come up and eat." Left behind, another 8-year-old, Gong Chang, lies defeated and injured on the ground, excluded from the victor's feast. Gong Chang, bruised and battered, swallows hard, his hunger evident as he watches the feast he cannot partake in. A hand extends, offering a simple loaf of bread to the defeated Gong Chang, accompanied by a quiet, compassionate command, "Eat." Gong Ting, with a bandage on his forehead, leans in to share the bread. Gong Chang whispers, "Bro, if Dad finds out, you'll get," his voice trailing off in fear of the consequences. Gong Ting silences his brother with a firm gaze, insisting, "Quit talking, hurry up and eat." His eyes betray a mixture of defiance and care. Brutal impact strikes Gong Ting's face, a sharp, white flash against the sepia tones, as he is punished for his act of kindness. Gong Ting kneels, his back a canvas of fresh wounds and bandages as the shadow of a raised stick looms over him. The unidentified male, Gong Ting's father, stands tall and imposing, stick in hand, questioning him with a cold stare. "Do you know why the Gong family stands where it does today?" With an unwavering gaze, the unidentified male proclaims, "Because I, your father, have always been the winner. Only winners have the right to set the rules." He turns his back on the kneeling Gong Ting, his voice firm and absolute, "And you can only obey my rules." Gong Ting, bruised but defiant, looks up at his father, his voice raw with challenge, "That if I beat you, does that mean I get to set the rules?" The The unidentified male simply scoffs, a dismissive ha escaping his lips, a clear indication of his contempt for Gongting's audacious challenge. The scene shifts again, a heavy sword lies shattered on the ground, its blade broken into pieces, a symbol of another defeat. Gongting lies defeated and coughing on the ground, his body aching. He struggles to speak, demanding PFT. Cough. I clearly challenged you, so why? Gongting's voice rises in a desperate plea, looking past Zhang Jian with his glowing sword to his father. Why did you make the Emperor's squad do the fighting? The unidentified male smirks, his philosophy unwavering. He states, the rules of the human world aren't as simple as you think, but there is one thing that is absolute. With a clenched fist and a resolute expression, the unidentified male delivers his ultimate truth, and that's winning. Methods don't matter, only results. As my son, you must always be first, even if it means sacrificing family, responsibility, or ideals. You must win. The stern, unyielding gaze of a man from the past declares that winning is the only value one possesses in this world. With a bruised face and determined, golden eyes, a younger Gongting internalizes this harsh truth. Winning is his only value. A vast, eerie cavern stretches out, dominated by a serpentine entity coiling around a central peak, surrounded by ominous glowing eggs and several figures observing from below. Unidentified protagonist, with sharp red eyes and an earpiece glowing with blue energy, reveals that the enemy's hypnosis uses alpha band sound waves. He's prepared a beta band audio to counter it. Unidentified protagonist observes the hypnotized individuals, their eyes glowing red, realizing their lives hang by a thread without anti-hypnosis measures. His hand begins to crackle with golden lightning as unidentified protagonist steels himself, declaring that he must finish this lord quickly. The golden lightning intensifies around unidentified protagonist's hand, signifying a surge of power ready to be unleashed. Just as unidentified protagonist's hand glows with power, another hand, belonging to Gongting, firmly grips his wrist, stopping him. Gongting, his suit stained with blood, quietly urges unidentified protagonist to wait, his expression serious. Gongting, bloodied but resolute, asserts that he has maintained his sanity in his own way, despite the dire circumstances. Gongting warns unidentified protagonist that if he makes a move and exposes himself, everyone present will be in grave danger. With a pained expression and sweat dripping down his face, Gongting points out the ominous eggs scattered throughout the cavern. Gongting explains that alarming the eggs would unleash dozens of C-rank monsters, leading to certain death for them all, even without the Lord's direct intervention. Reveals the Lord disguised this place as a low-rank lair, a cunning trap designed to lure awakened individuals and drain them dry. Gongting, his eyes narrowed in thought, suggests they wait for the Lord to approach them, believing it will come on its own. He proposes they stay hidden for now, then strike together when the Lord comes close, maximizing their chances. Unidentified protagonist looks at Gongting, acknowledging his foresight, stating he didn't expect him to think this far. Unidentified protagonist's eyes glow with a red intensity as he dismisses Gongting's plan, explaining that the Lord doesn't even need to lift a finger. The monstrous Lord, wreathed in dark, glowing energy, demonstrates its terrifying power, capable of controlling the hypnotized with a mere thought. One of the hypnotized individuals, with a deranged smile and glowing pink eyes, holds a glowing blade to his own chest, compelled to self-harm. Another hypnotized figure, eyes glowing pink, commits to the Lord's will, aiming a revolver at his own temple, prepared to take his own life. Third hypnotized person, eyes glowing, chokes himself with his own hand, demonstrating the Lord's absolute control over its victims. Suddenly, a golden, lightning-charged figure, Chen, bursts into action, delivering powerful blows that knock down the hypnotized individuals, preventing their self-destruction. The Lord's glowing red eye flares with surprise and anger as its control over the hypnotized is abruptly broken. The guttural command, the Lord's voice echoes, urging its minions to kill them all, revealing its true, malevolent intent. The Lord's command unleashes its monstrous minions, and a colossal mantis-like creature with a glowing pink eye surges forward, its dark energy radiating a deadly intent. A horde of Blade Mantis G-class assassins swarm, their glowing pink eyes fixed on their prey. The Lord's chilling command to kill echoes once more, driving the monstrous insects into a frenzy. The battlefield is overrun as the Blade Mantises close in, their razor-sharp limbs poised to strike the besieged group of survivors. A grim resolve settles on Gongting's face, a fresh wound bleeding on his shoulder as he declares, looks like we'll have to go with the emergency plan. Gongting tightens his grip on his glowing blade, turning to Chen with an urgent plea, Chen, I need to ask you for a favor. Taking a determined stance, Gongting commands Chen, get those three out of the lair, and declares, I'll hold these monsters off. Chen's eyes widen, a jolt of shock running through him as he processes Gongting's selfless decision. Gongting's eyes burn with fierce determination, his sword glowing with inner power. He admits, I might not be able to beat them, but vows, but buying you some time shouldn't be a problem. The Blade Mantis shrieks, lunging forward with a piercing chitter and screch as the battle intensifies. Gongting's glowing blade connects with the monstrous mantis in a brilliant explosion of light and force. Amidst the chaos of battle, Gongting parries a strike, his mind consumed by regret as he thinks, I'm the one who asked for this tiebreaker in the first place and dragged everyone into danger. The Blade Mantis retaliates with a powerful blow, sending Gongting sprawling backward, the impact shaking the very ground. Bloodied and battered, Gong Ting's gaze remains fixed and determined, his voice firm as he declares, "This all started because of me, so it should be ended by me too." Exhausted, Gong Ting kneels, using his sword as a brace. A colossal shadow falls over him, accompanied by a heavy thud, signaling a new presence. See Chen's hand crackles with surging energy as a system notification appears, loading, class switching in progress. He acknowledges Gong Ting, stating, "Seems I misunderstood you before, but I wasn't the only one who agreed to this tiebreaker." Chen stands tall, now level 24, having activated his new Volt Assassin class. Golden lightning crackles around him and Gong Ting, signifying their combined power. A surge of raw power erupts, manifesting as a weapon-like construct of pure golden lightning, ready to strike.